You did it to me again, you guys.
Did what?
They keep telling me they're going to sing with me, you know, we're going to have this synergy,
mate.
this Angels thing, and they leave me hanging every time.
No.
Ozzy would not be happy with his countrymen.
Yeah,
right
but he
now.
doesn't know what's going on.
That's true.
Let's be real.
Doesn't even know what country he's from. All right.
He thought Nico had a good tournament, Ozzy.
I think he calls him Nico. But anyway.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
Yeah.
All right. From Birmingham, isn't he?
So let's get right into
his
it.
favorite player. He misses the point more than Nico.
Ninjas in Pajamas taking on Envyus. 2 top-ranked teams for you. Again, we talked about 3 and 4 in your current rankings as of last week. I think you did them.
Interesting. My top 2 ranked teams made it to the final here. Interesting. And my top-ranked team was ranked as the underdog by James Bardolph. But enough about him.
Yeah. James. Oh, James. He's so silly.
He's so good.
He's so silly.
At talking and saying things that my eyes can see.
Yeah.
So
He's very good at that.
For those that are just tuning in or don't remember, first place taking home $40,000.
Yep.
Second place taking home $20,000. So that is a big jump between winning or losing this one. And then
twice as much.
everybody is getting a little bit of something all the way down to 5th through 8th is going to take home at least $2,500.
But enough about the losers.
So every team gets something, yeah, a little consolation. Yeah. So again, and the best part about this, we've talked about it all weekend, how much we love in best of 5. So this should be a really good best of 5.
Well, this ultimately, as much as we like upsets and we want the underdogs to do well at tournaments, what you really want when it comes to a best of 5 final is 2 teams capable of delivering a competitive series that can be back and forth. You never want one team where you feel the matchup favors them so much they're going to run away with it and have a 3-0. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great for the team that does it because you can absolutely comprehensively say they were the better team. But what makes best of 5 so intriguing is that you don't get to, there's no cop-outs. You can't say, oh, well, we just got done in the veto. You've got your ban and then you play the rest. And so this should make for a great, entertaining series, these 2 teams.
Just think about what happened in the 2 series that we saw before, the semi-finals. We had a map or 2 maps where one of the underdog teams were like magical. They either won a map or they took it really close. But the problem is, even in a best of 3, it can still be hard to keep that momentum going, keep it going and not kind of like come back down to earth, not average out, not regress to the mean, and the better teams show themselves. In a best of 5, I'm trying to think in history. I don't think I've ever seen a Counter-Strike best of 5 where like the worst team, as in the one that was playing worse, won. I don't think it's ever happened.
No.
Like you either have to be, you can be an underdog, but you have to play that much better for a sustained period of time. So you really do. You more than deserve it in that scenario. If you can outplay a better team for 2, 3 maps, maybe have to play another map close that you don't even win. It's an absolute marathon, but as a result, you're only going to get the cream of the crop will win. So whoever wins this best of 5 was the best team here.
And that's what's got to be said. I mean, like, we're talking, I'm pretty sure if you were to ask people honestly, casters, you're going to blow your throat out. But if a best of 5 goes a distance, it's longer. Players, it's absolutely grueling. You've got to be there in the zone, that level of focus for hours and hours and hours at a time with not a lot of breaks in between. And yet, ultimately, for the fans, it's the best spectacle because it makes it absolutely decisive.
And like I always say, it also takes out the whole equation of like, well, if I did just pick this map instead, odds are, if you're a top team, you're going to get to play all the maps if you really were capable of winning it. So that's almost a non-factor there. You're only going to get 1 ban each, basically. So we're going to see a lot of maps, not a whole lot of chance to just avoid the other person's best maps. You also are going to get some maps that should be the best Counter-Strike, should be this team on their best map, showing you what can do. We get to come back with our best map. We have the map we're both good on. In theory, we're going to get at least a few maps of high-level Counter-Strike here.
This will be a roller coaster series.
Yeah, and folks that are just tuning in, we do have a bracket that'll come your way that'll kind of bring you up to speed to how we got here. So as we're talking about that, and then we're going to get to the vetoes and the teams and everything, since it's only 2 vetoes, what maps do you 2 think we're not playing?
Tough. Sorry, I did a Kiyoshima there.
See, what's interesting you have to realize is, in general, I don't see Envy play Overpass. That doesn't tend to happen. But NiP hasn't been playing it at all. So that's one where I wonder if NiPs will be Overpass, actually. For Envyus, I'm trying to think what they would want to get rid of. I mean, in the last series, they banned out Cobblestone, which I would have thought would be one they wouldn't mind playing. Maybe that's one.
Train?
Yeah, the thing is, they've both been playing Train, I think.
They've been letting it through.
That's the problem. That could be a possibility. Train's a possibility for Envyus, maybe.
I mean, NiP probably's looked a little bit more polished on it. I don't know. But anyway, we did have the bracket up there. So.
Yeah, so everyone saw that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had a 2-0 and a 2-1 to get the 2 teams here. And again, we've definitely talked a lot about mouse sports and a lot about Dignitas. But again, a lot of people were even saying online, not going to get out of groups, either of these teams. Certainly not going to get where they got.
Mad credit.
So, maybe ball dropped towards the end of their matches today. But again, solid especially mouse sports, right? Solid, solid.
Believe it or not, it's these tournaments where you come to and you're so close yet so far, and in different ways, they were both sort of tantalizingly close to being contenders. You know, mouse sports should have won train, started slow, came back into it, were tactically the better team, but in the end just couldn't claw back from that slow start. Dignitas, I've never seen a team come that close. Honestly, it's mind-blowing how they should have been in the final after just an amazing display. But these are the events that make you when you're a developing team. We always talk about international experience, big tournament experience. Well, when you're winning, you just know, well, the plan that we came to the tournament with works. You don't take anything from it.
Yeah.
It's the losing. It's getting broken in ways like that. It's how you come back, what you can learn from it, taking those demos home. How did those teams beat us? Now, I know mouse sports are going to do it because God B lives for that. If Dignitas do the same, you will see both of those teams come back stronger. But that's what they have to do. They can't just feel sorry for themselves. They got to take something from the loss.
Yeah, and it's cliche, but the saying is you always learn more from a loss than you do from a win, because you go, well, everything's right if we win, right? So, like you said, they need to go home and do their research and see what went wrong. Did they beat themselves? Did they just get outplayed? All those kind of things, and a combination of both. So this final, again, best of 5. We're going to talk. Let's just talk a little about how NiP got here. We're going to have a graphic that follows it up, but obviously NiP was in Group A. Their first match, let me pull my little sheet out, was SK Gaming. And, just kind of thoughts on their road through the tournament.
Well, you have to remember, NiP's start was really slow. Like, that was the one where it was SK Gaming that were at game point, and it went to overtime. Yeah. Then in overtime, they had game point again for the first map point rather, and they blew it. It was only at the very end, I mean, literally on the round that they won the game, that NiP were finally in position to eliminate SK on that map. So NiP survived the first map, then they got through the series overall. They managed to beat out, who was it they played? Dignitas? Let me think.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Yeah, they played Dignitas. And then in the semi-finals, the Dignitas series, obviously that was the one where Dignitas won. I think it was map 2, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, they got Mirage 16-9.
Yeah, so they got that one, but Dignitas, in theory, has had an unfavorable matchup against NiP, so that NiP was kind of glad that they were seeing them rather than Titan there, where that might have been a closer affair. Then the semi-final, I mean, this will sound harsh, but NiP's had probably the easiest run you could have imagined in terms of stature of the teams here, okay? Actually, it turns out Dignitas were playing much better than Titan here, so they played a stronger team there. But if you'd have told NiP at the beginning of the tournament, you're only going to have to beat SK, Dignitas, and Mouse, you'd be in the final already. They'd be like, wow, that's what happens at this tournament, you know? But amazingly, they got to play Dignitas actually in this semi-final now. No, that wasn't right. It's because I'm looking at the other graphic. Anyway, they played Mouse Sports in the semi-finals, and obviously, unfortunately, that wasn't kind of like a close match. The first map was a bit close, but the second one was very convincing win for NiP on Dust 2. And I actually am wondering, going into the final, like what type of NiP is here now? Because all the other times I've seen NiP make the final, they always kind of knew if it was like a Fnatic or a TSM or Envyus. These sorts of teams, if they're the ones that are getting deep, they kind of know like, oh, those teams probably are better than us. Like our form hasn't been very good recently. But actually, their form has been reasonably strong through this tournament. They've overcome any small problems they had. They're looking pretty good, actually, because both Freiburg and Forest have picked it up overall. There's no obvious weak point in the team at the moment. So this is actually one of the more together NiP sides I've seen. I actually feel like them watching the Envyus team, even though they probably didn't want Envyus to get through, at least they've seen Envyus wounded and a bit kind of like fragile at times. So they probably think they can win this tournament now.
Okay. Richard, why don't you walk us through Envyus' road to the final as well?
Yeah, well, you'll see just straight away the kind of frustrating brilliance of Envyus, and that is that, they are this sort of unpolished diamond in a lot of ways. You go up against Cloud9, a lot of promise from NA that we keep talking about that hasn't really been delivered at tournaments. And they drop a map against them, but they do beat them 2-1. And obviously, Cloud9 sort of bow out of the tournament in joint last place. Then they go up against Mouse Sports. Mouse Sports give them another tough game, and they take a map off them. Envyus managed to eke out that victory, get over the finish line. And of course, the game we just saw against Team Dignitas, where that's the worst they've played all tournament, really. And should have been out. They go to overtime. Obviously, they win the overtime 4-0, and they go into cash, and then they put on that masterclass. Dignitas beleaguered, feeling a bit sorry for themselves, and just aren't able to pick themselves up from what was a huge disappointment. Envyus, like NiP, sort of the last map they played before getting to the final were both very convincing. Now, who's been the most convincing team coming into the final? It's undoubtedly NiP. But then again, Envyus, they are that kind of team. They are a team that are just like, look, when we don't need to try, we just need to buy guns. Like, we'll just force buy. We'll just do this. We'll buy deagles, whatever works. Like, we don't need money. We don't need anything. And we'll just run at you and we'll just kill you. And sometimes when the tactics don't work, the tactics fall apart, or a team is a bit more tactically in the zone, they fall down. Or if they aren't warm or they aren't feeling it, they're not sort of in the zone, they get caught out and they lose a map. But they're struggling and playing bad here, but they've made it to a final. And that, so you decide where you want to put your money, on either of those teams. The one that's been a bit more polished, or the one who's got here without even really hitting their peak form.
And your thoughts on their road?
Yeah, I mean, Envyus, that's the thing. It was never convincing for Envyus. They always had a map where they struggled, or they even just looked totally flat. But within a series, it's like you can't hold this team down. They're eventually going to outshoot you at some point in the game. Now, hey, Dignitas almost withstood that and still almost won the game. And even then, they couldn't really do it. So the problem I see is that to really call Envyus in a slump, it's not even the team concept. They'd have to have a bunch of players not play very well. Yeah. And overall, when you look at the whole stretch of the tournament now, every player pretty much, maybe not Smith so much, almost everyone else, though, has had the games where they've been the best for Envy. So despite all their problems, someone picks up the slack every time. Yeah. Someone does it. And so even though they're not coming into the final in super hot form, I feel like if I'm NiP, I'm actually a bit worried facing this team because you don't even know where it's going to come from on Envy's side.
Well, I definitely think as well with Envyus, they've got this kind of like, it's hard to describe it. Like, they don't strike me as a team that's ever under pressure, even though I know with all the investment from, the Envyus organization, from Hastro, that expectation of being one of the CSGO teams deemed, sort of big enough to come into a premier Call of Duty organization who have this huge reach and they want to get all the support, getting them a team house in the south of France. You would argue they would be under the same level of pressure as a NiP or a Fnatic. That weight of expectation never really seems to be there, though. They kind of turn up into the tournaments. They're a little bit lackadaisical. They do their own thing. They sleep between games. They don't have anybody sort of cracking the whip, so to speak. And lose, win. There's never any questions about, are we going to change a player? Has this been a flop? Has this been a failure? In terms of pressure, I think NiP are underway more. Into this final. They need, like I said, I've said it throughout the tournament, them not making the final here would have been a disaster. Now that they're in the final, they're going to be thinking, we haven't won something in so long that this is as good a chance as we're going to get, and we're up against Envyus. Yeah. So I think NiP are definitely going to be feeling the pressure, going to be really maybe psychologically second-guessing themselves.
And remember, it's only a week ago Envyus lost a best-of-5 final at Star Series 13 finals. Yep. They were playing Na'Vi. The problem is, Na'Vi only narrowly won 3-1. It would have gone to 5 maps. And that's when Na'Vi are playing the best Counter-Strike they've ever played, with some of their players hitting like career peak form. Now with NiP, you can't say they're playing the best CS they've ever played. None of their players are really in like superstar mode right now. So it's hard to see how they can replicate anything from that. Maybe they could have looked at some of those things and taken like blueprints of what you can do, but I feel like actually I feel like stylistically, despite the roads to the final, Envyus actually has big advantages for this final. I'm feeling like I don't think NiP has a chance to win this.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at NiP's roster. Richard, why don't you got to walk us through this character, although everyone knows who they all are.
Yeah. It's the usual suspects, guys and gals. We got Exist on the left there, back to in-game leading duties. Somebody that's, as we saw from the interview that we did with him earlier, a great captain, somebody that sort of helps his teammates out. It takes all the responsibility. Hey, if they want to blame me for a bad call, that's fine. I don't mind. And he's looking a lot happier, a lot less drained, a lot less fatigued. He had a brief period of time off as the caller, which they gave to Get Right. Now he's back. He's fragging well. He's in very good form, actually. Forrest, who had been really struggling, has really stepped up his game this tournament. It's got to be said. Certainly in the last semi-final as well against Mousesports, he was top fragging, I think, in both of those games for his team. But he is a 1.6 legend, lots of experience to draw from. Been under a lot of pressure, a rare part of pressure, because throughout his career, I don't think anybody's been like, wow, Forrest is bad. You've never been able to say that about him. And now even some of the NiP fans have been losing a bit of the faith, but this tournament will have done something to restore that. Get Right in the middle, absolute star. Again, one of the latecomers in 1.6 from that modern era of 1.6, if you like, but just the master lurker, the guy who gets all the kills, really puts the numbers up on the board for Ninjas in Pajamas. Now, next to him was Freiburg. Now, Freiburg, is the guy who, when NiP first burst on the scene, everyone was like, ha, watch these sauce pigs get carried by the 1.6 legends. Then turns out that Freiburg was the MVP, absolutely rocking heads wherever he went. And because of that, built this great reputation as an entry fragger, and rightly so. The last few tournaments, though, he's been statistically weak. But now, this tournament, he's been electric again. This is as good as he's played in ages. So it's good for him, a lot of pressure. Can he do it in a big final? Pay particular attention to that. And then, of course, the new kid on the block, you've got Arlu next to him, the Iceman, you know, the AWPer. He's been inconsistent in this tournament, actually, when it comes to AWPing. But when he explodes, he drops aces, he wins rounds, he gets you through the hard yards, and actually tends to come alive when they need it the most. Overtimes, clutch rounds, that sort of thing. So just a great roster of talent, especially when they're all on point.
Yep. And on the other side of the coin, we're going to have Dignitas. Why don't you walk us through these guys?
Envyus, mate.
Oh, God, I keep doing that. Envyus.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Envyus up there, and bring it up there. Here we go.
Okay, so we'll start on the left here. So Happy, great all-around player. He actually can do pretty much anything in the game, but you're mainly going to see him occupying that lurking role, and he's quite dedicated in that aspect. He's a player he's not going to be. He's one of the only players on the team who's not aggressive. He's not fast in terms of pushing in. He lets other people come to him, and that's where he kind of picks the battleground that the fight's going to happen on his terms. Now the in-game leader again, long-term in-game leader. As they got all these top fours, all these finals, he was kind of the brains behind that to a degree, but obviously they're quite an open style. NBK here, second to the left. Support player, but one of the most skilled support players in the world, and also a player who's played other roles. He used to be the lurker at one point in time. He's even been one of the stars before, so if needs be, he can also transition and he can give you frags as well. On the middle, we've got Shocks. He was actually the in-game leader very briefly for the last few tournaments, but now he's gone back to his role. He's one of the best entry fraggers in the world. He's, at the moment, in the last few months, he's been a real legit star-level talent. He's nearly always got the most kills in the game, and his aim particularly is where he just dominates. And he's a very intimidating kind of presence on the map when people know they're going up 1v1 against Shocks. Also, considering he's an entry fragger, very, very skilled clutch round player, because he used to play on the back end of the map. Like, he was the third, the fourth guy going in. So he's at home wherever he is in the map, you know. Then we've got Kiyashima. Struggling earlier on in this tournament, but came alive very much so on Overpass, the second map of the semi-finals there with 36 kills. The thing about him is he doesn't have to get the most frags, but his entry kills are some of the most high-value entry kills in the whole game. If he gets 1 or 2 entry kills, it opens a whole site up, which then leads to the win, even if he doesn't get more kills there. And then we've got Smiths on the right here. I think he's one of the only players in this lineup I've seen, actually, who in general's had a below-par tournament overall. I haven't really seen many big performances from him. In particular, I haven't seen a lot of AWPing from him. He's best known as someone who actually AWPs every chance he gets. He used to like to be a very aggressive AWPer during the CZ era. Not so much anymore, so I'm wondering in this final, will he kind of be reinvigorated? Because there's an interesting factor, Scoots, that's always behind this, okay, which is, okay, so 3 of the players in this lineup, we have Smiths, Shocks, and NBK, were in very games before. And they used to play against NiP often when these were the 2 best teams. Now, it was before the Shocks era, it was the NBK and Smiths era, when they lost all the finals to NiP. They lost 4 finals in a row to them. They lost 7 best-of-3s in a row to them at the beginning, the first year or so of CSGO. Then Shocks came into the lineup, and they turned it around. They became the #1 team in the world. And since then, Shocks in finals against NiP is something like 5-0 or 6-0 or something. It might even be 7-0. Let me think. It might actually be. He's never lost a final against NiP. Shocks in his career. He's in peak form right now. That will be an interesting stat, because if NiP can do it, they're going to set their own precedent in history, and you'd think there's not many things left that they can do. You'd think how many teams have got a winning record over them. Shocks particularly does. So some of the others, that's why it's interesting. Will someone like Smiths crumble a little bit? Because obviously he's had his problems before. He's actually had difficulties against NiP before, but someone like Shocks, he doesn't know what it's like to lose a final to NiP. He's never experienced this.
Okay, well, vetoes are ready, so let's take a look at that, and we're getting
we're
really close to our finals. Let's just see. Here they come. Well, we'll see. This is what happens. This is what happens upstairs.
Everyone's nervous.
Tell me they're ready. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Walk us through, Richard.
Well, you can see that Ninjas in Pajamas took out Overpass. I mean, we did say that was going to probably be one of the maps that we saw removed. Mirage for Envyus. Yeah, I suppose. You know, it's something and nothing. There's no great significance
That
in
suggests that they're willing to keep training, though. That's the weird part.
Yeah, that's where I thought maybe you would have seen Train removed by Envyus. But Envyus is saying, hey, we'll play you on Train. We don't mind. We think you're weak there. And, of course, we've seen Ninjas in Pajamas recently have games on Train where they have, lost, struggled. They've played a close game against Mouse Sports here on it. First map pick for Ninjas in Pajamas is Dust 2. Now, this shows a real reverse, in an about turn, because they were moving away from Dust 2. They were like, Dust 2's not working. We need to get back to Inferno. We need to get back to basics. And they were actually banning Dust 2 not that long ago. They just absolutely wrecked Mouse Sports on Dust 2. And they're thinking, hang on a minute. Turns out we're good on Dust 2. So Dust 2's back in the mix. Envyus pick Inferno. Envyus believe they're the best team in the world on Inferno. I'm pretty sure Fnatic have got something to say about that. But NiP have been playing really, really good on Inferno lately. So that's a pick that just shows, again, that arrogance of Envyus. We're confident we'll beat you on that map, no problem. Cash, we knew we were going to see that in here. NiP have picked it. NiP fancy themselves on that, but Envyus are very, very good. We just saw them put on a masterclass there against Dignitas, Breaking Hearts. So that's going to be a great map there. Now, Train, that's the interesting one. I would probably say, even though Envyus have picked it, I think that's a bit of a risky pick. NiP have played quite a bit of Train lately, and that for me is the wild card. And if it does go all the way,
and that was the one. Remember that Envyus actually lost to Cloud9.
Yeah, that's right. They lost that map to Cloud9. So they've already lost in this tournament. And then, of course, if it does go all the distance, the decider will be Cobblestone. And again, Envyus have played some great games on that. Ninjas in Pajamas have played some great games on it, but they've had some losses on Cobblestone recently. They lost to Na'Vi at DreamHack on Cobblestone. I think it was 16-13. So
SK took them to overtime
and
here.
SK took them to overtime here. Absolutely right. So there are loads of wide open maps in this series. And this is why best of five is great, because, you've got to just take one map out you've got zero confidence in and play the rest.
Here's the good news if you're a NiP fan. If you're hoping, like, hey, maybe we can get some maps. The first 3 maps are NiP's best maps. They're front-loaded the best of 5. Here's the downside. How did they get the first 3 maps to be the best? Those are the 3 best Envy maps as well. So basically, you really have to hope. If you're a NiP fan, you have to really hope your team is going to play better. That's simply it, because you're not going to win just because, that map's ours, and then this one's theirs, and this one's ours. It's not going to be like that. I'd actually say, that I think the first 3 maps alone will very much decide this one. Like, if it gets to the other 2, I really don't know who would win Train. I don't know who'd win Cobblestone. Those are very, very difficult to see. These 2 teams don't play each other on those maps. They don't even like to play those maps in general. Like, they're not playing Train very much. So I think it's all going to be about this first 3 maps. And on the first 3, I favor actually Envyus on all 3. So I'm thinking this is going to be convincing.
So 3-0 Envyus would
I'm
be your prediction.
I'm going to go 3-0 Envyus.
Okay.
I can't do that. I can't do that at all. I think this is going the distance. Just saw Envyus on Dust 2. Wasn't convinced by that at all. Ninjas in Pajamas, on the other hand, have looked brilliant on it. So I would say NiP probably take that map, even though they have been moving away from it. Inferno, that's going to be a barn burner, as we like to call it, for whatever reason. Probably can see, probably's even, that's too close to call. Okay, so then you've got Cash, right? Probably's give that to Envyus. I could see NiP taking Train. And then you've got Cobblestone on the side. I'd probably just give that to Envyus based on recent form. So I'm going to go. I'm going to say that it's going to be 3-2. An Envyus win, but I think it's going to be 3-2.
Here's the problem I have. Is that when I try to figure, here's actually a little bit into the mind of Thorin here. When I try to decide who's going to win a series, I actually specifically look at each map in isolation, and I say, what would happen just in this one? Like, how would they play? So the problem is, I think it's very unlikely that Envyus of all teams will win a series 3-0 when it's a best of 5, because they're a team who, they'll drop a map. If they're up a map, they don't care if they lose the next one. They'll play very risky. They won't play a conservative style, which is how you grind out maps, So as a result, history would tell you they will lose a map. The problem is, when I look at each of the first 3 maps, if I look at this one, I think they win Dust 2. If I look at Inferno, I think they win Inferno. If I look at Cash, I think they win Cash. So just using that methodology, I have to say they win 3-0, even though I think it is likely that they can lose a map. The problem is, since I can't pick which one it would be, for my analytical style, I'm going to say they're going to win 3-0.
Yeah, I just think as well, that's the last thing you want. That's the last thing you want in a final, but I just can't see NiP allowing that, Like, there's a real argument here. On the one hand, I was coming into this today until I saw the veto thinking, I reckon NiP are going to have this. I reckon they're going to nick it, because Envyus haven't been convincing at all. NiP have looked the stronger team. But just, again, kind of doing Thorin's technique, like looking at the maps in isolation and the way it sort of falls down, you expect Envyus are at least going to step it up for a final, right? And then you expect NiP, it might come down a little bit, right? Might dial it down because they're under a bit of pressure. So when you factor all of that in, I think it's going to be incredibly close. I think it's probably going to be one of the closest finals we've seen at Gfinity. I really do. It's really hard to call. I'm pretty sure Henry G, who was always back in NiP every chance he gets, like, yeah, are they still good? Is it 2013 still? Am I a player? He's always back in NiP. So, even he would have to admit, I think, that this is going to be a close one. So I'm still thinking 3-2 Envyus, but I think we're going to see all the maps.
My big problem is, if I'm trying to figure out how NiP can win, the ways you can beat Envyus is either you can outfrag them. Believe it or not, Na'Vi outfragged them, actually. They actually were able to do that. Fnatic have been able to do that as well. Or you beat them with team play. Fnatic sometimes haven't actually outfragged them. They're just beating them by being a better team play side or having better strategies overall. I can't see which of those two NiP can do. That's why I can't see them being able to win this final. Are they going to outfrag them? Well, there's no one on NiP right now who compares to Shox. Every game Shox is there, and he's outfragging everyone.
Outside of maybe Fnatic and TSM, there's just no one else who compares to Shox, is there really?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why, really, if I wanted this to be the closest final, I would have wished some, but whatever means, VP was on super-duper form, and they were just in God mode, plow mode, and they were on the other side of the bracket, you know? That didn't happen. So, for NiP, sad as it is, I think they've already done fantastic to get this far. Hey, like I'm saying, they could win a map. It's not unrealistic. But at the moment, if I try to imagine them winning, it will take something I can't imagine currently. So I would only assume they'd have to play incredible CS above even the level we've seen so far. Maybe it turns out one map is they're much, much stronger on. Maybe they are much stronger on Dust 2. Envy start a slow start there. The conditions for them to win the best of 5. Remember, that's the problem. It's a best of 5. So if it was a best of 3, hey, maybe you can win one and then you just have to steal another one. Yeah. But to win a best of 5 is going to be very hard.
So you're not feeling that the Forest revival, the Freiburg revival, I mean, you're not feeling...
Not against Envyus.
Why?
Those players aren't as good as anyone on Envyus.
Yeah, but I mean, let's talk about form, though.
That's the problem, though, is that Freiburg's revival has come overall. His overall game has moved up a lot, but he's not a star player. Even at his best, he's a role player. And so he can set you up, but then you need someone else to come through. Now, that was Forrest before. That was Alu in the overtime, the first game we saw. GetRight actually hasn't been as present. I guess if GetRight hits peak form like he has the last few months, that'll get them close there, because he can be in the realm with a Shox type quality. But actually, this tournament's been a bit off for him, despite the fact they're in the final. So some of the features are there, but it's one of those scenarios that I often say, like, okay, an underdog, sometimes the condition for them to win is multiple people play above the level they normally do. So, hey, if GetRight goes absolutely crazy, plays like a god, which he can do, if Alu transports back in time 3 months and is playing very stable, and then you add in Forest, hey, now we're getting somewhere. Hey, now maybe they can win the series. But I can't predict that's going to happen. I have no reason to think so.
But also factoring in that logic, you seem to be overlooking that Envyus have just nearly gone out to Dignitas.
Okay.
So, I mean, we saw some fairly unimpressive performances there on the first 2 maps from these same players that we're now theorizing. I mean, we're both theorizing that they're going to beat NiP. So
even in the games where Envyus wasn't playing very well, against teams playing their best form, they always managed to find a way to win. And some of those maps, each time, there's one map that's a stomp. And that's when they're playing weak. That's when they've got... Hey, Envyus is not ever going to be the best team in the world in the next 2 months, by the way. They're flawed. I actually think some of their styles so risky that if they ever have one misstep, they can blow whole games, like they almost did against Dignitas.
Well, I think they did it against Mouse.
But despite that, they still find a way to win. That's the problem. Just because of the sheer skill level of this team and how they play off each other, it requires a Herculean effort to beat them, especially in a best of 5. That's the problem. You add in that, and now it's going to be very difficult. Because here's the thing. They can start slow. They could start the first map slowly. They could do all these force buys on map 2. At that point, they'd be down 0-2. They're so good, they could still win the next 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's crazy about them. And also, like I was saying, what map do you look to in the 5 and go, that's definitely NiP's map?
Right now, I feel Dust 2 is definitely
Okay, you can say that, but definitely?
Definitely.
So what percentage are they to win Dust 2?
Well, it definitely means, I guess,
getting real up here.
100%.
No, that's what I mean. It must be like that.
Yeah,
it's like 51%. That's not enough, you know. So,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that bold myself, because Envy can lose Dust 2. In general, I'm amazed that Dignitas was that big a result, by the way. Usually it's a narrow loss.
Well, actually, just to give you a statistics, I know you do enjoy them. Apparently, that's the first time that when Envyus have lost Dust 2...
It's been less than 14 rounds or something?
Yeah, they haven't got to double figures.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I mean. It's so hard, even on the maps they lose, to put them away like that. It's very rare they get dumpstered like that. So... That's the problem. I mean, here's the thing. What I'm essentially saying here is it's not that Envyus is this imperious team who can't lose and they're going to beat everyone 3-0 in a best of 3. It's that, unfortunately for NiP, as you've seen in past finals against Envyus and a lot of that offline run they had until CCS, is that it's a bad matchup for them stylistically and in terms of the map pool. Like, the map pool's not great for NiP. If you were certain other teams, like, hey, Dignitas, you can get them onto maps like Overpass that they don't want to play. Now you've got a chance. Now you've got somewhere they're uncomfortable. I don't see, unless it gets to Train and Cobblestone, I think there's nowhere vaguely uncomfortable for Envyus. Even if it turns out NiP wins Dust 2, Envyus are more than happy to play it. Now, I do think Train's the interesting one there because they picked it, and yet that's the one I could see them being weirdly uncomfortable on, you know.
That's a real bizarre pick for me.
But again, the problem is you have to get to Train, and you have to be able to win the series at that point. Because then you get to Cobblestone, and hey, now it's not like NiP are super confident on Cobblestone. So, you know, that's the problem. It's such murky waters. The first 3 maps you want to play if you're NiP, Envyus are more than comfortable on. The last 2, you're not that comfortable on. So it's hard to see how they win.
I think even worst case scenario would definitely go into Train. Worst case scenario for
It could happen in as much as, like I say, Envyus isn't usually the team to clean code 2-0 someone, clean 3-0 someone. That doesn't seem like their style. Again, I'm just trying to figure out which one NiP's going to win. At the moment, I haven't really seen that much strength from NiP.
So, folks, we're kind of wanting to start right now, 6:30-ish for the finals, but we do have a player with a PC issue, so we're swapping out his PC. Yeah. Then he needs a little bit of time to kind of get re-warmed up and all that. So
he's got to get his political correctness up to par.
So exactly. So
I had that problem once.
We're going to keep chatting.
I updated my firmware and stopped giving a crap.
So what I'm hearing from this conversation is basically not only does NiP kind of have to play out of their minds, but in some regards, especially in your mind, Titan's got to not play good at all. I mean, it's kind of that combination, right? Like
probably,
can't bring like their C game on the Envyus side to an A+ game of NiP.
I mean, hey, think about it this way: if NiP plays absolutely lights out and Envyus doesn't play that well, that puts the series heavily in their favor. In as much as the maps that Envyus wants to win is the first 3, they're the ones they're banking on getting at least 2 out of the first 3. So if that goes 2-1 to NiP. Now, actually, hey, NiP's starting to look favored in the rest of the series. Now you throw in Train and Cobblestone, especially with an underperforming Envyus. Now you've got some wiggle room there. I just feel like this is one of the great mismatches. Like, I know recently in online form, NiP have started to get it over Envyus. They look like it's a different team. But I just saw all those times that Envy just dominated NiP. I mean, there was a run of time where it's Gfinity Spring Masters 1, and then it was Star Series 12, where over these 2 tournaments, they played 10 offline maps. And I think it was also, 10 offline maps, and Envy won 9 of them, and the one they didn't win was a 16-14 loss on Inferno. So, I mean, there was a time when they absolutely were the kryptonite to NiP, and NiP couldn't do anything. I don't think it's quite as bad. That's why I say winning 1 map's doable, but I still feel like the elements which created that mismatch are there under the surface. And so, unfortunately for me, like I'm saying, the conditions that would make me think that's not as big a problem is like NiP's in solid form, like Get Right and Alu are just superstars again. That you know what you're going to get from there. At the moment, on the NiP roster, you could almost put the names in a bag, throw them out, and those will be the 2 that will be the good ones this game, you know.
And one of the interesting factors I think that's going to play a part in this is actually going to be the AWPing. Now, Alu has been really inconsistent, actually, when it comes to his AWPing. But the good thing about Alu is he's got a plan B. He can pick up a rifle and still make a contribution. Some AWPers can't. We've definitely talked about those today. But Alu can make that contribution. What's been interesting is what's been happening over on Envyus, where it's like Smiths has kind of been, dropping the AWP, taking a rifle some rounds. I don't know if Happy's doing this to kind of protect him a little bit because he has had some poor performances lately, but Happy's picking up the AWP, and that hasn't been working. He's still getting more kills with a rifle. Now, if Alu can go off and be that AWP star that we've seen at some points, especially on some of the maps here where the AWP has so much impact, now that's going to be a factor because Happy's not going to be able to out-AWP a peak Alu.
Yeah.
And Smith's, he's not that kind of player. He hasn't been for quite a while. He's a conservative AWPer in the sense that he plays the percentages, plays smart, and he can make that work for him. He's really good defensively, not so much offensively. And when you come up against Alu who can do both, that right there is one of those sort of factors in the match that could be something to pay attention to.
Another factor as well that I think goes heavily in the Envyus side is what they're capable of doing when they're on the 4 spies, when they're playing with the pistols. Just look in this tournament. If you count it up, I bet they've lost a significant amount of pistol rounds, but just with my eyes alone, I've seen them win so many second rounds with purely pistols. They don't even go for the scout that often. They just go pure pistols.
Another team that's done that this tournament is NiP.
Yeah, but the thing is, Envyus has a track record of doing this. This is just who they are, So the problem there is, you can't even... it's not like normal teams. You just out-frag them on the gun round, then you get a little bit of respite, you add in another one to yours, and you're like, okay, I can see how the game's going to play out here. As Dignitas unfortunately found out, Envyus can buy almost anything, and they can sometimes, bizarrely, be even more dangerous on that round than they would have been with 5 full guns. Because what's bizarre is sometimes you fight them when they have the AKs, and with the AK, you have to stop to fire. So the other guy has a good opportunity to get you. With the pistols, they just stick and move. They keep moving. And then with their phenomenal aim, they become almost imbalanced just as players. Not just the weapons alone. They make the weapons imbalanced. That's how phenomenal they are. Whereas, actually, what's interesting is NiP's had it at times in this tournament, but that's actually been a trend that NiP didn't have. They were the only team out of the Fnatic, TSM, because TSM, even before they became a dominant team, even had that factor going for them. Yep. They could abuse the OP pistols. NiP in history have never really done that. Like, NiP's not a team. I mean, they're starting a little bit now. They're a team that you almost never see buy 5 Tech 9s. Almost never happens. Someone will go for, like, it'll be Forrest or something. He might go for a CZ, or he might go for a
I actually remember talking to them about that at one event. And do you know what they said? They said, what's the point in abusing it? It'll get nerfed. They actually said that to me.
Yeah, well.
So
see how that worked out.
Yeah, but there's a long-standing history with the players on Envyus that it goes right back to source again. One of the things that was so frustrating whenever you had to play the French teams, the Very Games team that dominated in one form or another for just years and just won everything, was the Deco rounds. Now, the Deagle was ridiculously overpowered in Source. It was just so accurate, and of course, it's a one headshot kill pistol that you can pick up for $800. It was ridiculously OP. And now so they used to abuse that all the time anyway. When MBK was a kid and came through as the Very Game's star teenager that they'd found, he was abusing that back then. Guys like Shox were abusing it back then. Like they've been abusing, the strong pistols for a long, long time. They made a career out of it. You just couldn't do anything. You would lose full buys, And it's good to see the Deagle sort of working its way back into CSGO and giving people that extra option. And we saw that ridiculous round, which turned the game in their head just against Dignitas there. But throughout, Shox with the Deagle's been insane. One bullet headshots.
With all his pistols. That's another thing to watch out if you're a newer fan. Shox with pistols is incredible. I mean, he might be the best P250 player ever. He's absolutely incredible. And that's a $300 gun. Like, if you're Shox, there's no reason not to buy that on CT every round that you don't have a weapon, basically. And actually, I just did it in my head. I did the calculation. It is 7-0 in finals for Shox against NiP in history. Now, some of those with Fiflar and then Makalele, then Alu now, but 7-0. And against this lineup, I think he's 2-0 in finals. So when you add in that he's really, really good right now, he's one of the best players in the world, he's someone to keep your eye on because the Shox factor is real in this particular matchup.
It's real whenever he plays. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, because, people forget this because it's probably been a while since NiP have been, really super successful. But the kind of team that really set the tone for like buying these other guns, everyone came in with the preconceptions. If you were a 1.6er, you played a certain way. Sure. If you were a Source player, you played a certain way. Went to Eco, went to buy, what guns to buy. Actually, NiP were like, hang on a minute, we get all this money for buying a shotgun. Let's just buy one of them in the second round. Just buy one, get 2 kills, it's paid for itself, money up, right? And they started really getting to grips with the economy in CSGO before anyone else did. They were a pioneering team in that regard. Now, as a result, because they did it for so long, had that pedigree, and they were using, the Mag 7 when it was ridiculous, Novas, whatever it was, they actually... I'm not saying they're...
my favorite was when GetRight used to spam the auto sniper.
Yeah.
And then now they're like, oh, these weapons are overpowered. Nerf, please, Valve. Like, like all those guys in silver when they get their heads banged off. So, love you, GetRight. Love you.
But they picked up unconventional weapons, and now here we are talking about a new team. We're talking about Envyus doing this same thing, and there's an echo there. There's an echo of what NiP used to do. It wasn't that they abused it. They just understood the fundamental benefits of how it can help your economy. They never abused any guns that were considered OP. They just kind of introduced people. That CSGO, in terms of gun balance, probably is one of the most balanced Counter-Strikes we've ever had.
That's also why when Envy does those force buys that don't even make sense. It's one thing if you do a force buy where you get like 3 rifles, then one guy has like just the Tech 9 but armor, and he thinks I'll pick up one of their guns. They'll do these force buys where it's like 1 AK, 1 Galil, 3 pistols. It's like, here's the thing. For other teams, I would actually just say that's a stupid buy. Like, that's not going to get you wins. It's not going to work. You notice I never say that about Envyus. What I say is that's ludicrous that it works. I don't know how you're making that work. It's ridiculous, but the sheer amount of times they can make it work, I've never seen there's no other team in the game can make those work as often. It's like predictable that they can do that. And what's funny is when you saw that interview with Shox, after their game, and I asked DDK specifically, ask him about that round where they bought the 4 Deagles. Because in that scenario, even if you buy weapons, you're going to buy like a nade and a P250. A 5.7's a very good weapon. Yeah. They bought 4 Deagles, which is a very inefficient gun. I was asking him, like, who made the call for that? Why did you buy them? He tried to ask him, and Shocks was sort of like, no one asks us. Like, why wouldn't we buy the 2 Deagles? And, and if we don't win that round, then how will we win the game? It's like, he was almost like spinning it back at him, like, well, what else can you do? It's like, everyone else in the world plays differently to you, man. I realize you're not aware because you're like a genius, but that's not normal to the rest of us.
The Zoolander, man.
Well, we've got your predictions.
I don't want to talk about this section.
No, need to. So we've already talked about what you predicted just now, but we actually asked all our casters
there?
and our analysts how they thought the tournament would turn out. So we asked all these guys their champions and who they thought their dark horse might be. So as you can see, couple people are still in it.
It's all right. That guy at the top's still on track to have all the
Richard Lewis and James.
I just want to say, by the way,
so
right after the first Gfinity we did, where Virtus Pro did that ridiculous comeback, and when they were down on Nuke, when that was still in the competitive pool, I actually said I'm never gonna not back Virtus Pro at a Gfinity ever again. And then after this, that's done, mate. Taz, me and you were done.
Well, but on paper, it was a good choice because again, they haven't had a hard travel schedule. They've been home.
Yeah. They've been amazing
online. They've been rested, all those kind of things. Yeah, great online. So
in many ways, Gfinity is one of their second home, Scoots.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the dark horses. So again, most of us in the world know that a dark horse means like a very, very, very outside chance of winning, like super underdog. So let's just look right there in the middle.
Oh,
shall we?
Can I just make a point here? So essentially, fans of the world, great esports fans around the world, James Bardolph told you Virtus Pro would win the event and Envyus were the dark horse. That's interesting, isn't it?
I hear he's very good
at speaking about things.
He's so posh. That's the term. Is that a good term?
Yeah, he gets away with it. He gets away with
posh.
it, I think, because he sounds
Very
so
posh.
eloquent. But yeah, we actually made, me and Duncan did make the same mistake of back in Titan. You know, I was kind of saying dark horse purely on the basis that you feel that the free fall have been in for so long, it's just got to end. Like, when do you hit the bottom? You know, when you just falling and falling, when do you hit the bottom and bounce back? And Titan didn't do that at all.
This all sounds strange, but I actually still back the choice of Titan there because my problem was, to me, the 2 choices for Dark Horse was Titan or Dignitas.
Yeah.
Depends which flavor you wanted, okay. Yeah. Now, maybe if you're really out your mind, you pick Cloud9 and like, hey, they haven't been to an event, maybe they turn out to actually be super duper amazing. That would have been like an outside one, okay. But the reason between Titan and Dignitas I picked Titan is because if Titan plays phenomenally, I realize now it sounds ridiculous, but their absolute peak game, they could have won the tournament. Now, the difference is, I think Dignitas almost did play their peak game, and you saw they didn't win the tournament. They didn't even get to the final. So that was my problem, is that Dignitas might be a more stable team, but I couldn't have seen them winning, and I still can't. So it might sound strange, because obviously Titan now actually bombed out, and they were fairly unconvincing overall. But that's why I think the rationale were there.
Okay.
Thanks, Dunk.
Well, let's start it off. We're going to find out who is the Summer Masters champion here at the Gfinity Arena. Best of 5 coming your way. Envyus, number 3 in the world, taking on Ninja Zimba. Yeah, crowd, let's hear it.
Let's get up. Raise that roof.
Taking on Ninjas in Pajamas, the number 4 team in the world, a best of 5. We're loving it. And to bring you all the action, he's finally showed up in the building. I think he had a GQ shoot. Henry G, DDK, take it away.
All right, thank you so much, Scoots. Okay, we're going to a best of 5.
Yes.
So I want to hear your thoughts first of all, because you did predict NiP, right? And I'm actually with Thorin. Dust2 Inferno Cash, I just see them taking this 3-0, but what are your thoughts here?
I think like it's difficult to go against Envyus here. Like we've heard the statistics that they've beaten them in the final, like Shocks especially, is what, like 7-0. So like it's gonna, like the maps, like we said before, like it works for both teams, Dust2 Inferno and Cash. I do think this is gonna go to a best of 5 though. I think it's gonna be quite interesting to see how it goes backwards and forwards. But I actually favour NiP on Dust2. I agree with Richard there. I think they're very strong. I love their playstyle on it. It's very dynamic. They stick together and go frag for frag. Their CT side's very good as well. I think Alu's a very important factor there. He has a lot of different roles he can do on the CT side of Dust2. We can see him boosted up onto short. And Forrest as well is one of the strongest players in the world in middle. I think he's just got a great individual skill set there. And it's going to be a really, really good final. Like this couldn't be better. For me, the maps are amazing. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, the maps are actually very good. Again, they mentioned on the analyst desk, these are basically the 3 best maps we could see these teams on. I feel like if it does, as it's very, very possible for either of these teams to take one of these maps and for us to go to the 4th and 5th map. I do feel like if it does go to Cobble though, that that I feel like Envyus, despite not being super prepared there, I actually feel like they have the edge on that map, because we saw that NiP have a lot of trouble with their T-sides on that early in the tournament, and as far as train goes, that's a huge toss-up right there.
Well, that's the thing. So Envyus actually lost to Cloud9 on train. So like you can see they're probably not feeling 100% confident on that. So if it does come to that, that's the moment NiP might be able to get the edge. That'll be really interesting. Like,
I agree.
I think NiP it's not one of their best maps, but that's definitely formidable on train. So that's going to be really exciting. I'll say again, I really do think this is going to go the distance. We will see it get to train at least. I don't see this being a 3-0 whatsoever.
Yeah, it's actually a really awesome 5 maps that we have, and just the order of them is actually really awesome as well. I think the order is perfect.
Dust 2 is amazing opener. It's like it's the great deathmatch playground, especially for the AWPers. If we can see Alu find some form on here, it's going to be a really exciting, explosive game. So yeah, I think we're ready to jump into the knife round. But we said before, the knife round and Dust 2 is kind of a formality really. A lot of teams will favour CT these days, but essentially it doesn't really matter what team you start.
Yeah, I think, happy both sides. I've even seen Envyus and NiP in the past just picking T side after winning the knife, so really a big toss-up. NiP might, as they haven't played for a while, of course, it's just Envyus that we're just playing. They might even want to start T side. It's a big best of 5.
Yep.
They want to make sure they can get warm. T side is perfect to do that. Play the T side, get warm, go into the slightly more difficult side where it's a little bit more fragile, and whilst you actually know what you have to do, and you already can get a feel for if you're hitting your shots or not. So yeah, I feel like this is a win for either way. So again, it goes back to your point. It's a great way to open the series because you're going to have a really even start.
It's the perfect warm-up, isn't it? Like it's the map you can kind of. It's not in terms of tactics. There's not so many set pieces or solid executions you can do. We know NiP have a few of those in their bank as well, but normally they will just focus on kind of grouping up, going out together, using their teamwork and utilizing rounds that way. But here we go. The pistol round is underway.
All right, Envyus and NiP, the start of this best of 5 here for the Gfinity Summer Masters. Kicking it off here, Envyus on that CT side. They've got 3 members towards long. Very simple setup, actually, very standard from Envyus, not taking any risks at the beginning of this Dust 2 so far. And they're just seeing what NiP are going to do. NiP, though, they're also a team that they do play sometimes a very slow pistol round just to feel it out.
Yep.
Use that time, and they are making them up short at the moment. And so far, that short control, it can really mean anything. They can just harass, they can show some presence, see if they can get a reaction from Envyus here, even some grenades.
You can see it looks like it's going to be an A-split here. You can see Getright's playing the classic lurking role. He'll probably be coming up the long entrance there as they execute onto the air bomb site.
All right, Smith is going to be the one ready to go for the defense here as we see the Molotovs and the grenades coming in from NiP onto the bomb site. Smith now turning his attention towards crossover. He's got a nice bit of team play with MBK there. He's helping him out from long, and Happy by Goose will take down 2. Good stuff here so far from Envyus. Really nice start. Getright now has to do it against all 5 players. He's going to get the first one, just trying to get the jump burst onto Kiyoshima, but it's not going to happen. And the pistol round will be won by Envyus 1-0. So you get the CT economy going right at the start. That's always comfortable. I
actually really like that from NiP. Like the approach they had to that round was really cool. Like the fact they jumped down into CT spawn area and came out away that way, kind of tried to split the guys on A ramp. The thing was the CT player on Goose there just completely ripped them apart there, but had to set up a perfect crossfire, USB headshots all over the place, and that's going to be a really, really clean round for Envyus coming in here. And it's going to force NiP. They have got a sort of a force by here. P250s and some armor. Getright will be picking up the scout, and it's going to be quite a fast round. You see all 5 players executing up short pretty quickly here.
Yeah, we've got lots of SMGs here as well from Envyus. Now, can they get the frags with them? Smith is going to be tested very close range now, these players from the T side of NiP. Going for the spray down, and he gets one. The trades coming in from NiP. They're looking not too shabby into this A bomb site as MBK now finds himself at a really dodgy predicament as the bomb is about to go down on the A site. Kiyoshima comes in to help him out. He's going for the jump shots. Very risky, though, with those 2 pistols roaming up on the bomb site, but MBK is going to find one on the outskirts, and now he's going to try to finish off Ali, the last player. Can Ali pick up a weapon here? It looks like he's going for that MP9. Quickly steals it away. But in comes MBK with the M4, going for the jump. This is very, very, very scary for Ali right now. Where is MBK going to go? Oh, we get the pixel just on the side there, up the ramp, and it's going to be the defuse. Good damage and a bomb plant from NiP. They'll be pleased.
Yeah, excellent stuff from them. That's what we're talking about in Dust 2. Like, in terms of tactics, you can kind of almost get away with everything. If you can get up short without losing a man and execute onto the bomb side, the plant you can get down for short is absolutely excellent. It came down to a one-on-one situation there. Could have gone either way towards the end. Exist unluckily gets taken down with the M4 there, but there we go, 2-0 now. But NiP got the bomb down, got some decent economy on their side. You can see Ali's actually favoured for the P250 and armor. Interesting, considering he's the AWPer of the team.
Yeah, and on Envy's side of things, they actually have Happy kind of saving for the AWP, it would seem. He's just got a 5-7, so that's an interesting choice. And Envyus always mixing it up how they want to play, but we'll have the long take coming in from NiP. They're going to get sprayed down a little bit here. Good engagements for Envyus found. Nice spray down from MBK as well. In comes Smith, the third player, and you can really see that 3-man setup at the start of the round to deal with the long rush timing is going to be very effective here for Envyus.
And here we go then. The game really starts at this point. Quite a clean start for Envyus, 3-0. NiP have picked up the AWP on Ali though, but he won't have any utility whatsoever. Be interesting to see what kind of approach they do for this. Like, we know they like to favour middle. B splits are a common tactic they will inflict upon their enemies, but here we go then. The round opens up, 2-1-2 set up for NiP.
And a long take coming in from NiP straight away as the smoke goes down, and they try to see if they can get any sneaky frags through the smoke. However, oh, that's a nice bit of damage, and then the nade finish from MBK. That is going to send NiP straight back out of long. So they've reclaimed control of long there, so NiP losing a man and not getting anything for it in the end.
Yeah, it's an interesting take when you send one person out. Like, Exist was like really stuck in behind the blue container there. Like, normally when you take long, you take 2 or 3 men out there to kind of secure it and back each other up. Exist was left for dead, and it's going to be a very difficult situation for NiP now. 5-on-4 situation, time ticking away, and CTs have complete control of middle as well. As I say that, Get Right picks up a huge frag onto Kiyashima, and it looks like they're going to be executed towards B now.
So Shox, the power man here from Envyus, is going straight in with the double flash, and he's going to get himself a position by the car. In they come though, trying to assault the site all together, and in goes Smiths as well, able to help out Shox. He's going to dodge out for that spray, but it's not going to happen. Forrest and Freiberg going to entry into the site with 2 clean kills, and it's going to be a 2-on-3 retake situation. Although Forrest and Freiberg are critically low on the HP, and that's going to be an easy frag there for NBK. And he's going to try to find a good position here to see what he can do. And they know where both players are, do NiP, but Alu, the strongest player on the health, has to go for the peaks. Oh no, he's not going to get the shot off, and Happy's going to just headshot him straight away. Comes in with the 5-7 to finish it off, and that's a very anticlimactic end of the round there for NiP, as they will lose to the defuse there.
We see NiP do a lot. Like, when they decide to go to B, they don't care if there's a smoke down. They don't really have any sort of tactical approach with it. They all go through together, and 9 times out of 10, they will make the entry frag. And they got the bomb down, got in there, but the retake was too strong from Envyus. And this could be a fantastic start for them. 4-0 in the grand final, the first map. It's a great momentum start, and we can see Kiyashima picking up the auto sniper here. A gun we don't see too often on this map, actually. It's more favoured to have an AWP, but this will be interesting to see how it works out for him.
Yeah, and we have a push from Happy. He does this a lot on this map, straight into lower dark. What is he going to find here? Oh, they'll line up, but Exist gets the headshot straight away. And now it's going to be a little bit annoying for Envyus. But Smith actually returns the frag very quickly. I think he got boosted on Shox's head there for the angle, so that's a nice way to return. But just some basic map control plays here from NiP. They want to see if they can get some info as well. Freiberg, I'm sure he wants to try to entry a little bit into middle to see what's going on, but he's not going to get the opportunity. They'll go for short instead. They'll force Smith back. Freiberg wants to get the finish before he can get to safety, but Smith barely makes it. He goes for the peak, and Freiberg is going to eliminate him straight away and just power his way through onto the bomb site now as Shox is going for the rotation, and this could get a little bit awkward, but MBK is still holding on to long here, so the retake is definitely very possible for Envyus in this 3-on-4. Shox goes up on the creep here, seeing what he can find, looking for the pixels. Forrest is just waiting there at the top of short, seeing if he can keep it short safe for his team. And they are picking up the frags here. Freiberg with another 3 kills from Freiberg in this one. Very, very well done by Freiberg.
Yeah, it was all about him that round, right? So they had an AWP on short, and as soon as you make him drop down from the short area, if he misses his shot, it's so important you kind of track him down and don't allow him to set up the turret onto the A ramp there. Freiberg got straight on the corner, took him down, and took up 2 or 3 frags after that as well. So fantastic stuff from him. That round was all about Freiberg, and now it's going to be Envyus, Kiyashima with the auto sniper in T-spawn. Like I said before, very interesting buy from him. I haven't seen that much on Dust 2 actually, but here we go. So he's going to be able to save that. He will indeed. And it's going to leave Envyus in quite a strong position in terms of money still. They have won 4 in a row. They will get a full buy out of this. Smith's considering his buy at the moment. He's going to go for the M4. And Shox is going to be the man left there with not a whole lot of nothing in terms of a gun. He's going to stick with a 5-7 by the looks of it.
Yeah, you can see them using the HE there at the start of the round to kind of throw up the dust so they can cross safely instead of a smoke, so that they can actually get info and peek there. And the smoke is more valuable to delay, so you don't ever throw it straight away at the start of the round. But it's actually going to be NiP that smoke off middle, and this is going to allow them to have a fast take on short. And will they challenge Shox straight up? Usually we see a pop flash, which should annihilate Shox in that position, but they're actually going to go for short first.
Bomb's still down at T-spawn at this point, which is interesting considering they're getting so much short control. I think they're just feeding the map out, seeing what's available, ascertaining what the CTs are up to, what their buy is like. They won't know they're on an almost full buy here at the moment, so just trying to use their time effectively.
We'll see another smoke there from NiP into middle, into the double doors. So that would, of course, hurt them if they wanted to move out to middle. Might be a bit of an opportunity here for Envyus, though. Nice pop flash. Smith with the double. Falls back safely behind the smoke. And that is 2 frags for free. Forest needs to get something done here. Looking for some way to equalize, but Happy's going to spray him down. Very nice. Just popping out there from his position on the site. And Alu needs to do something now as well. But it's just getting worse and worse here. Happy with another peak, another success, and Shock's winning with a flank.
Wow. That was such clever play from Envyus there. Like Smith's smoking off short. He can tell the terrorists are there waiting for him. Nice little pop flash. NiP can't see that coming through. Runs through, picks up 2 very important frags and completely shuts him down at that point. So fantastic stuff from him. Reactive play. And that's what we need to see. The surprising the terrorists, not allowing them to execute onto the bomb site.
I wonder if almost as we go into Seco that NiP smoking the double doors in mid was a big tell that they're not going to go for that B split, that they're going to be on short still.
I guess so, yeah. So they put their smoke down in mid with double doors, but you wouldn't ever run through a smoke in that situation. But at the same time, it's good to mention that NiP won one round and then lost the one after. So they're on a full Glock by now, almost a throwaway round. They'll be trying to get the bomb down in any way they can, but I just don't see it happening. They'll just be thinking about next round and what they can do to get back into this.
Just cleaning up right now, just getting out the vacuum cleaners and hoovering them all up. So Envyus with a really nice start on the CT side. This is always like so nice on this map because that often feels like the struggle. But Kiyoshima's been holding on to that auto sniper for ages, which is kind of nuts.
We haven't really seen it do anything yet,
Yeah.
though. I'd be interested to see where he takes it, what he can do with it, whether he can surprise NiP with it. But I always favour the AWP in this battle, especially on Dust 2. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, especially now that NiP have full Galils and AKs and have nothing to counter with. This is his time to shine with it. He can get away with some murder.
Yeah, 3 Galils here, and not all the grenades that they would perhaps like for NiP. So I'm curious what kind of play they're going to go for.
Well, they've been trying to go up short every single round here. They haven't tried their classic walkout middle together and work frag for frag. I think that's probably the next port of call for them, see what they can do. Forrest very good at this position when he gets out there and kind of always gets their opening frag somehow. But here we go, the long take again. This didn't work out for them last time.
Yeah, MBK's there and he's not in the pit, so will they suspect this? They were looking at pit, they're wondering where he is. The silencer really coming into play. Could have been a double, but Exist will shut MBK down as they take over long. They have player on the bomb side as well, so Envyus, they got to retake this now, and Gerai's going to take down Shock straight away. He's going to be a huge obstacle to get this this retake to actually happen, and it's probably too big of an obstacle as we see Envyus looking to save those weapons. Very expensive weapons considering that the Scar is still out there, but are they actually going for this? We're going to have Gerai straight up there again from top mid, just tapping him down. Kiyoshima will get the return though, but he's going to try to keep himself alive again. As you said, this auto sniper really hasn't done much because there's so much A focus on B instead of B focus from NiP. Oh, wow.
Well, just to point out that, like, we saw NiP try to take long on the first gun round, and they only sent 1 player out here. Sending 3 players out was so much more effective. You can go frag for frag, and that's what they did. Got the long control, and then the CT rotations fell into them, and they managed to pick up the frags there. 6-2 currently. Like, they should be picking up more rounds. They want to be winning the half as terrorists, especially, and they're going to keep the 5 rifles set up. And we can see that actually coming in from Envyus as well. It's quite interesting. Normally, you'd see like an AWP as almost default. We haven't seen much AWP play here at all. We can see this classic stack coming in from Envyus. This works very well, especially for teams that go up short a lot, and I think this might pay off for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a really nice play, isn't it? Because NiP have been showing that fast short control too, so this is like the perfect counter play. Freiberg is looking for it though, and this is really smart. I'm so happy he's pre-firing. Oh, he's going to get both kills as well with the help of Exist. Lovely stuff there from NiP. They read the play, they were prepared, and now it's a 3-on-4 in favor of NiP into this one. Now, if Envyus actually win this round, I think they're going to money screw NiP as well, so yeah, they don't have much money at all. Well,
at this point, they need to gain some map control. Like, they don't know where the terrorists are. They need someone to push out, work out where the teams are doing, and then they can kind of work out where the rotations need to be. We can see NiP going towards B here. This next kill will be very important. Kiyoshima 2-on-1 here in this situation.
Throwing the flash in, trying to get something done. It keeps peeking, but in comes Smith now to try to finish one of them off. Forrest will win the duel though, and that's going to be a huge difference as MBK rotates from A. But now he's got to stop and see if he can stop this rotation back from NiP, which they've been telegraphing, and it's going to be Freiberg who wins the duel. This should be a 1 round right now. 26 HP on Kiyoshima. Looks like NiP have done it in this round as he's again forced into this save situation, and NiP will avoid that economically crippling situation which would have resulted if they had lost this round and only gotten $1,400. in addition to what they have now.
We can see Envyus economy is sort of healthy. I think they will be like pushed onto a force buy. We see them last game doing so many questionable buys as last time, like burning Deagles, and so we wouldn't put it past them to actually force this one with the Famises. If NiP will be hunting them down. They know how important this frag is. If Kirishima, he seems to be the last man in every situation so far, staying alive. I'd say saving that auto sniper over and over again. Again, I think he will save it this time. He's going to hold that lower B area, and the guys aren't going to be hunting for him. And like you said, their economy is very fragile as well.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw him actually trying to survive with the auto sniper, he did a pretty good job in doing some extra damage because they've always been keeping NiP's money low, and as you just mentioned, like just continually doing that is really important to allow them to get back into the game as soon as they can string together a good buy. But of course, now they're definitely going to be on a bit of a stretched situation on the money, so they're going to actually force stuff indeed.
Yeah, I knew they would.
There are a lot of teams that would argue that you should just try to get the best possible buyout on a map like this on CT side.
But like
it's Envyus.
This is why Envyus, like, they're the best aimers in the world. Like, they can get away with this. A lot of teams couldn't, but they can.
Yep.
And Shock's picking up the AWP here, and this is going to be very important. He has got vision of the middle. He knows they keep going short, so he'll be very instrumental to this round.
And MBK is playing that jump mag from the short boost position. We saw Getright doing that earlier in the tournament.
Monster stuff there, wasn't he? Picking out 1 or 2 frags almost every single round of that. It was great stuff.
Alright, so MBK will have to time that jump on short perfectly. He's not got a teammate to call for him either, so it's going to be Smiths here, along with Happy holding down long. There goes the peek from Smiths. Oh, it gets dropped straight down there, but Happy comes in with a double on the FAMAS, and it's going to be Getright now who tries to do something to save this round, but this is super clean right now for Envyus. The priority for MBK should just be to call and survive, and oh, there it is. Shox picks it up with the AWP, and they've got 2 AWPs in hand now, Envyus.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a kind of forced A split there from NiP, getting themselves into difficult situations. When a jumping Mag 7 is taking you out that easily, like, you've got to question what approach you took to that round. I really feel like they need to start doing something else apart from the slow pushes onto A. Like something like the mid to B split would be great at this situation. You can see now, after winning a round and losing one, they're back to the full Glock situation. And this is the point where they can't let Envyus get back the momentum in their field, because it's going to run away from them.
Yeah, and it's going to be another money building round indeed. So how clean will it be is the question. Shock's already going to pick up 1 onto Getright with the AWP. And this half is going so well right now for Envyus. I mean, what would you like to see NiP do?
Well, right now, like, obviously you can't really do much with the Glock egos, but they just need to start doing either getting the long control, locking off parts of them out, pushing the CTs back, not allowing them to control both. Like, right now, Envyus are getting fragged at long and short. There's no control before an execution happens. So if NiP can get that long take, even if they're not getting the kills, just getting the control of long and then making sure they have to fall back to the bomb site, then going back to short and then taking the bomb site like that, that's probably the perfect play at this point. Like, instead of just trying to take both at the same time, making it 2-on-2 situations, and then right now they're not out aiming them. They're losing almost every single gun battle. So it's interesting that MBK's actually kept the Mag 7. It's like he's obviously feeling it, and that's great for him. He's going to be able to build up a massive bankroll of that as long as they keep winning these rounds.
On my Christmas wish list, I want to see NiP do the B split with someone jumping into spawn. That's what I want to see.
That's like Freiberg's specialty, right? Like jumping down the city spawn and like causing absolute chaos down there.
With the B split, it's super fun. It's pretty strong, but so far NiP they've been showing a lot of presence towards A and just generally just going for those A plays. And we haven't seen them move out into middle very much. You mentioned it earlier, like the walkout middle things, just confirm what they're doing and try to get a pick. It's
a very reactive play. It's one of those things where they can kind of sense and know the CTs haven't got control of middle. That's the time to do it. We can see right now the information that Envyus are gathering. They've only got 1 person along. He knows that no one's there, and the CTs are starting to push and get the control. This is what NiP needs to be doing, and this looks like they're going to do the walkout middle now. Yeah, this is the classic NiP play. Get control of middle and try and face together and go frag for frag. They should lead a value here. He should be the one facing the AWP.
And we got the pick from Forest onto Kirishima, who's at the back box on the plateau at B, and that's going to really be horrendous right now. Envyus getting picked to pieces. There's only one left. Is Shox on the bomb site. And they just got completely wrecked in the one-on-ones there. That was well done by NiP. And that's one of the reasons why they're such a strong team. They are very good at those aim duels.
Yeah, well, that was much better from them. Like, instead of going for the A take, like forcing it almost, they actually worked their picks for picks, got them the map control they needed in middle, and that's what they should need to keep doing. That was really nice to see from them. Really nice clinical round. And you can see Smiths here finally picking up the AWP. Whether he'll be able to challenge Alu at the moment, or we'll yet to be seeing.
And we've got a fast move here from Forest. He snuck out behind the blue container on A long. Not sure if this was actually spotted by Smiths, who is AWPing on that angle. He's going to spot Getright though. And flash over, maybe he goes for a peek. This is perfect from Forest. So well read there, that situation. Oh, he gets the second headshot as well. This guy is absolutely wrecking them on long, and it's going to be another kill for Forest. That triple kill completely annihilates Envyus' defense. Shox needs a huge result, gets the perfect pop flash. Only gets one though, and that's again going to leave Kiyoshima in the cold. This guy is basically on the bench right now, not able to have any impact in these rounds because they keep hitting A and they keep hitting it hard.
Well, what can you say about that? Like, from a tactical point of view, Forest came out and absolutely wrecked them along. Complete amazing headshots from him, and that was fantastic. We say Shox is the big finals player, but Forest really is pulling out all the stops right now. Amazing stuff from him. Kiyoshima will be taken down as well, and I think that's the first time we've actually been able to lock him down when he's been saving. So this might be the moment they get back into it.
Gero's getting out the tea bags again.
He's doing it again.
They're coming out to play. All right, there it is. Beautiful stuff there from Forest. And the AWP didn't see him cross, and I think he realized this. And he's like, okay, if I get my teammate to peek and make him fire a shot, I'm going to be right next to him. I'll peek out, and then boom. But he got the extra 2 kills as well. That's just Forest for you. Oh, that position from Smith. If you sit behind the car there, the smoke actually makes, like, completely obscures you from the T. And especially if you have a silencer, it's super weird to kill someone there. Okay, so the not really going for a force up here are Envyus. They're actually saving, basically.
For once, yeah.
Full save, yeah.
They're actually allowing it. I think they're focusing on the last round here. They know that's going to be very important. If they're forced there and lost the one after, like, it's going to be devastating for them. There's no chance to get back into it. So, very wise decision from them. I like that they've saved. And this should be quite an easy round here. NiP not dropping any focus whatsoever. Keo, again, being the last man alive, he will be taken down. This last one's going to be very important. I wouldn't be surprised if Envyus went for a very aggressive tactic. They're allowing NiP to, like, have the upper hand at the moment and make the calls. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Envyus pushing into lower B tunnels, getting some control and short, and doing something a bit more explosive rather than sitting back.
Problem is, though, is that we're going to see the double AWP come in. Alu and Exist actually holding an AWP, but he might drop that to Forest. We see them play double AWP quite a lot, especially NiP, especially against Fnatic. And it's really effective. So it's the first time we're really going to see it, and actually Exist is holding on to one still. It's going to swap that out, I think, with Forest potentially. As Exist not really a common AWPer for his team. Actually, they're just going to stay on the AK. So one AWP just on Ali, which makes a lot of sense. And Envyus not with a lot of resources here. Happy setting up for a good defense if they go for that walkout mid, but will they do it? Right now, it's all a huge question, because NiP themselves don't necessarily know. They're still gathering information on the map. This is really a very default round from NiP here. But Kiyoshima's going in. Oh, he catches Forest at the perfect timing. He could never have known that. But he is going to get that luck, and it's going to be the kill for Kiyoshima. That's actually going to force NiP to make a move right now, having lost the upper dark area, with Kiyoshima rotating back around with his teammates. Envyus are coming in fast. NiP have to be faster onto the bomb site, but it's going to be Smith with a quick double on the M4. Beautiful stuff here coming in from Envyus' defense. Alu looking for the save with the... Oh, he's missing too many shots right now, and Happy and Smith will clean it up. Envyus take that last round of the first half. 9-6 for them. They'll be pleased with that.
What an audacious push from Kiyoshima there. Like anyone else would have, like, he caught him with the Molotov out in his hand, and, like, amazing stuff from him to actually catch him out. Forced NiP to go up and away there, and they got absolutely wrecked as they got onto the site. 9-6 in favour of Envyus. How do you feel about that half? Do you feel like Envyus will be happy?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with Kiyoshima in that spot, I think it's a timing thing. Like, so much time in the round of pass, he's thinking, either there is someone here or there's somebody not. Yeah. Better to just find out and maybe get lucky if there is somebody there, and if there's not, then we know it's an A. Perhaps. Well,
that's the thing, but NiP are famous for almost just running in B, waiting in the tunnels and getting in straight away. So that was such a risky play from him just to go in. But I guess when you're on those rounds, when you have the Famises, you kind of haven't got much to play with. You need to pull something out to surprise him and get that early frag. And that's exactly what he did. And it worked out for him. And it forced NiP to go up to onto way very fast, as they knew they've lost control of the tunnels at that point. Yeah,
we saw that immediate sprint from the B players from Envyus, and they were there super fast. But this is still a really hard match. Called 9-6 on CT. That's pretty standard stuff. I mean, if you get the economy rolling at the start, win the pistol round as they did, then that's going to happen. So NiP, they just have to, do the same thing. They just have to win that pistol round, get the economy rolling in on the CT side, and we'll start to see, hopefully, Alu just, working that AWP, hitting those shots.
Well, this is what I was saying before. He's a really, really good hybrid AWPer. So he can do the offensive stuff, he can do the defensive stuff. So we'll see him going on short a lot of the time, getting that information, calling off, dropping down. And he's also like a monster on the A ramp. Like, you can see him, he won't miss a shot. He's very consistent at hitting the ones that matter. And that's been something for him, the NiP, that their CT setup is so strong. And I think we're about to start here. Like, we had a short break here, but the players are getting back in. And we're going to see Envyus on the T side of Dust 2. They're sat on 9 rounds against Ninjas and pajamas on CT with 6.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting, actually. We have a kit and smoke on Freiburg, which is very standard. Go for those smoke defusers, but here it is, actually, the boost from NiP. They showed aggression in their previous pistol rounds on Dust 2. It's so nice. It's such a big map. You really want to get that info very fast. Moving up Catwalk. I don't think they've been spotted by Shox just yet. Getro's moving in close. And what's he going to find here? Shox still has no idea. Getro can get behind all of them. But his team has to hold right now. Get right playing the sound. He's going in. He's going to snap onto Smith. Forrest wins the duel against Shox, and there it is. Get right coming in with that strong flank, but he himself is about to be flanked by Happy, the lurker of Envyus, oftentimes. And it's a nice 5-on-2 here for NiP. Looks fairly comfortable. They know the bomb is down. Happy goes in on short. He will discard Get right. And it's Exist who will try to spot what's going on here. He's going to spot them moving up to Catwalk so he can make that call to his team. They're all playing together. I like this from NiP, making sure that they can always trade.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, they will get the bomb down in this situation. After getting those opening frags, you'd like to think they wouldn't allow the bomb to go down, but it will at this situation. He should get it done in time. As I say that, though, he's going to be forced off it, and it's going to be a big bloodbath on the A-bomb site. But there, just a note, Get Right's push on the CT pistol. One of the main things is for CTs, like if you just step back and wait for the Ts to rush your Glocks, like 90% of the time you're going to lose that battle, just simply because there's 5 of them. They did such a good play, pushing up middle and getting that information so early on, allowed Get Right to pick up 2 frags at the top of middle, and that was just such great work from him and a classic CT setup for them.
The funny thing there is that Kiyoshima went to face them instead of just planting the bomb.
Yeah, I don't know why. He was never going to win that.
Yeah,
so
he has to win a 1-on-4
down?
or guaranteed to get $800 for everybody. And they can do like a nicer force with an AK and a Galil or something. And more Tech 9s.
Yeah, it's really weird from him.
So
I don't know why he didn't go for the plant, but there we go.
Yeah.
Of course, they have force here. They have got the Tech 9s and some smokes to play with. It looks like the players will be bossing out a middle here. Let's see how this goes down. Forrest very strong in this position.
Yeah, he's got that FAMAS there. He's putting it to work. Only gets a single kill, though. We do have, of course, Freiburg with the FAMAS. He's going to move into the smoke. This is so smart. Just taking Dark, making sure he's safe. He can just take it with his team instead of going in individually. And just holding down that position. There's nowhere that Envyus can go right now. They've got the bomb down, but they have to go in face. And it's the spray down from Alu. Triple kill there. That's a lot of money in the bank. That's $1,800 for Alu, which will contribute to that AWP.
That was really cool from Freiburg. So if your teammate dies who's holding the mid area, like you've got 2 options there. You kind of sit in and wait to get wrecked by the Tech 9s coming in, and you've only got a FAMAS, but he knew he had to get some control of another area of the map. But once he got into the tunnels there, he can stay alive, he can wait for teammates, and they can pincer the site together. So really, really clever play from him. You can see this big play here from the CTs. Just holding up, working together, making sure they get the spray down. Alu picking up 3 nice big frags there. But the Ts did get the bomb down, so they will be fine for a buy next round. But this one, they'll be doing the P250s, and Alu will actually pick up the AWP at this point as well.
Yeah, he can even afford head armor. This is actually kind of nice, all that money that he got. And you can see the head armor is really going to help there. Getting dinged immediately by a P250. But Forrest has his back. He's going to be able to hold down the double doors close range, as Ali can deal with the long ranges. So, again, these dings coming in from Envyus. And this is exactly what was talked about in the analyst stats. These guys with these pistols are so incredibly deadly. Already picking up 3 kills. This is a massive disaster here. Freiburg looking for a cleanup of some sort. Smith has found himself an AWP, misses the first shot, goes to the reload, but can't get the kill. It's Freiburg who's going to hold it down and reclaim that AWP for his team. But he will keep that FAMAS for the dynamic play. And Kiyoshima able to take down Get Right. This is a disaster here for NiP. Freiburg with a mountain to climb, and he's going to get eliminated by Kiyoshima. I have no idea how they pulled that off. Just dinks with his pistols all over the shop.
I consider that round to be almost a throwaway. I thought, okay, some P250s, a 1D, where you just don't think much is going to come of it. They might get the bomb down, but how they do that every single time, it feels like it's just amazing. And
honestly, Thorin's face right now.
Yeah.
I just want to see the cringe.
Well, they're managing to get the AWP down now. Freiburg will be taking that risky scout. I don't think he's going to be able to do much of it. He can do the jumping shots through the smoke here, but Forrest has already been tagged at this point, and it's just going to be a round. As long as Envyus play this smart and just make sure they go together frag for frag, they should be pretty healthy at this point.
But they almost couldn't be more split up at this point across the map, so yeah, the way you lose this round, as you say, is to split up and maybe you get like 3-on-1 or something, but it's actually working out for Envyus so far, despite not playing 2-2 together. And there you go, Happy's going to go down and his weapon's going to be stolen, and now it's Getray's who's got a FAMAS. He's got no armor, of course, but he could just try to save it if he wanted. He's got a smoke that he picked up too, so he's actually going to go for some frags though, but on those ranges with no Kevlar against an AK, that's not going to happen. Freiburg looking to test his luck with the scout. He's going to find something with it. Gets the head of Shox, and now it's a 2-on-2 all of a sudden. So this round is looking somewhat alive here for NiP. The clutch save, but the bomb is ticking away. They don't have a kit, so they have to act fast. As Freiburg looks for the jump shots, goes in. Oh, the no-scope there. Does tag. but doesn't get the kill, and it's Alu now who's got to save the day. And this is not happening, it would seem. MBK is going to lock it down, and they lost 3 players, but they will win the round.
Yeah, really, really good stuff from Envyus there. NiP actually looked to get into an eco round of their own, actually making it down to a 2-on-2 situation, so it's pretty impressive for them. Freiburg, we didn't really see him with a scout that often, and actually managed to work, and we can see Get Right, again, picking up his trademark Mag 7. We know how strong he can be in the short area, seems to find a frag out of nowhere with that thing, so although it's almost a force buy from them, like, he is really strong on that. We see that boost coming in from NiP this time.
Yeah, really fast mid-play coming in from NiP. They want that pressure, they're trying to get it from all sides, but Shox goes straight through the smoke, takes down 2 players, and now it's just, in a matter of seconds, only 2 who remain for the Swedish side. As far as he's stuck on the B-bomb site, he's got a hell of a job to do right now. Oh, wow, how on earth did he pick that one up? Spins around, eliminates Kiyoshima, and now he's got 2 more players facing him. It's just too much to handle, and Alu's getting shot through the smoke. MBK finishes him off, and it's going to be another round there for Envyus. That push through the smoke was genius.
How can you predict that though? Like, you're setting up, looking for the people walking up short, and all of a sudden you're fully flashed, and like Shox even like got behind them before they even realized he was there. Really exciting stuff from him, and that's exactly what they need to do though. Instead of doing the predictive map control stuff, they run out into areas where the CTs will be set up for that kind of play, and that's completely shut them down. And you can see in terms of their money now, they're completely destroyed. They got the CZs in hand, but it looks like a B rush coming in pretty quickly, and as long as they don't lose their 2-man to begin with, they should get a lot of time pretty easily.
Yeah, it's going well on the entry so far. We're seeing Envyus making frags across the map. Exist will claim a weapon actually, and with that frag onto Happy, so that'll be nice. Maybe he can even save that one. And at this point, NiP, they're starting to look a little bit,
it's a bit shaky.
A little bit worse for wear.
This is the point where Alu needs to step up. He needs to get the AWP and go for the initial pick, get them into the round before it begins, so to say. He needs to be one, locking them down, stopping their approach to the maps almost instantaneously. They can boost him up onto short, go for the lower B pick, or let's look up middle straight away. But he is the one who needs to kind of change the pace of this and get the ball in their park.
And the funny thing is that's actually really unlucky for NiP in the previous round, because they decided to go for the bigger pressure towards mid and A. You got the boost, you got the guys pushing catwalk. It like looks really nice. You can maybe get someone into lower dark or something, get that pressure going. But that's the exact same route, and that's really good because you can trade against, you can get like maybe a 3-on-2, a 3-on-1 or something, which is nice for the CTs. But instead, Envyus, no, they actually wanted a super fast round themselves, so they actually kind of did a counter strat to that. So that's actually kind of unlucky. NiP just rolled the wrong play there, and 13-8. This looks like Envyus are just rolling away with this, but Alu's on the AWP, as you said. Can he deliver? That is the question. And what kind of round is Envyus going to open with? Shox very fast again, really fast. First 10 seconds, he's already up short.
Oh, he's on fire right now. They've got so many rounds to play with. They can get away with this audacious play, just facing the CTs and seeing what's available to them.
Honestly, I'm really afraid of Shox right now.
Yeah.
NiP must be as well, because this guy is just going to start just going ham, just by himself. Doesn't care if his teammates are around to support him. He's just going to make it happen. He's going to drop and see if he can make something go it around short, but it's not happening just yet. But Kiyoshima does find a quick entry. Shox now coming into play. Kiyoshima with another one. And NiP, they're getting completely routed away from the B-bomb site. It's just Get Right and Ali who are left, and they got to save. It's like they couldn't compete at all there. They got surrounded in all spots towards B.
Yeah, this is just a complete deathmatch right now. Like, Envyus just look like they're just choosing areas, going out one by one. They're not even going out in like a formation as such. They're just going in all the areas together, and when they're going out middle and B and short all at the same time, it pulls the CTs apart, and they lost every single gun battle on the map. It's going to leave Alu, the player I said, needs to step up and do something a little bit different. He should get taken down this situation. He finds the no-scope, of course, but there we go. It'll be very difficult to save his gun. The T's are hunting him down now.
And that was actually the exact round I wanted NiP to do. We saw like Shox actually jumping down into CT whilst his team was splitting on B, and that's really nice as well, because it looks like the guys on A, their rotation delayed, because they're like, oh my god, what's going on in catwalk? In reality, Shox is long gone, and he's helping out the
getting the distraction in
the offense. Yeah.
There we go, then obviously a force bind required from NiP, where like they're looking down the barrel, a match point for Envyus. When they're on this much form, it's going to be really scary. And this one talking about boosting up short, they need to bring the round in their favour early on. So they need to get the first pick and slow it down, like look into lower bid, is what I mentioned before. There
nice.
That's what they need to be doing early on. This is why they need to shut down the big players, especially players like Shox, at the start of the round.
And that's exactly what is going to happen. So now Smoke is tossed down as well, so they're going to try to keep cat control, just keep their ear open and see what's going on information-wise. Get Right playing a close position with the Mag 7 on long. And at the moment we have 4 players left for Envyus, just assessing the situation. And they are going to have to figure out how to get the advantage back into this one. So Exist, really nice position. He can get flash from a teammate and just go in for the peek, or he can just go for the raw peek if he hears something, but this is very dangerous without a flash. In comes Envyus right now. Oh, there's the flash, and there is the frag from assist. But the instant trade from MBK is going to be good. Oh, but Alu's there. He's setting up the defense. He snaps the first player. Smokes go down. Molotovs go in. And Alu's still in position here to do more damage. Oh, goes for the flick. We'll miss it. But Forest has got them from the back. And it's going to be another round for NiP. It's looking very stressed for them, though.
Yeah, like I said, that's what they needed to do, but they needed to do it earlier before they got themselves in the position. Like, they can keep doing this now, the reactive playing, kind of surprising the teams, but there's such a mountain to climb. They're only on 9 rounds. One more from Envyus puts them in match point position, and you can see a little change of pace for them now. They've opted to get the AWP out themselves. Alu will be going middle, so he is changing his position every round, and that is good, but he won't be able to find the frag here. This is the setup I like most from NiP when they do the double AWP setup. It means players like Forest can hold B by themselves and allow them to stop that mid takes happening so much. They can just have one player holding down that position really strongly.
And Kiyoshima just harassing B a little bit there by himself. Just Envy's providing presence all across the map at the moment. So NiP really can't know what's going on just yet. So we'll have to see if those double AWPs can get working at some point. But Envyus, what is the grand plan? What is the scheme that they are concocting at the moment? They're just sitting on short. So again, a standard opening. No one in dark though. This kind of looks like they're going for that A split. And Alu is going to be tested. Will they smoke him off? Yes, they're going to smoke him off. And there's nobody on the site here for NiP. It's actually going to jump up onto the car. There's no smokes on the bomb site, so he's able to get a quick kill. But Shock so fast onto crossover will eliminate him straight away for the trade. And MBK with another entry of his own. So again, things swing into the favor of Envyus as NiP scramble to try and retake the bomb site. But right now, Envyus looking way too strong. 14-9 is the score. It could very quickly be 15-9 as NiP have only 2 players left. And they likely want to keep the AWP on Forest, to be honest. And he's going to pick up an exit there from Shox. But Happy surely is soon to try and find them, get that flank going. Friberg in a bit of trouble here, just getting tagged here and there. And he's going to walk out to his death. And Forest will try to save his AWP.
I really like that from Envyus. That's a tactic they used to, the French especially used to run in CS Source. You set yourself up the walls of smoke onto a bomb site, and instead of going up short and giving the Yorkers what they want, you do one flash over, jump down to the CT spawn area, then run through the smoke. They have no way of countering that. It's so close range, the terrorists will always find the kill. And then once Envyus had ascertained that the CTs had the AWP set up, that's all they knew they needed to do. And it's put them in such a fantastic position now. After winning a round for NiP and now losing one, the money's going to be absolutely obliterated. You can see a UMP's out, a FAMAS is out, the Mag 7 is out, and this is the point Envyus want to lock this one down and close it out nice and early.
Yeah, we have all the stops trying to be pulled out here from NiP. We see the we see the Mag, we see the FAMAS. It's a jumbo sail by coming in from them. As Smith gets tagged actually, so some good damage done at the start of the round for NiP, but they need much more than that. Now, are they going to try to get ahead of things, or are they just going to try to be reactive? Alu is in position with the Mag. He's got a teammate that might spot this. Will he go for the jump here? I think Shox is trying to spot that position, trying to play it super safe.
They know he's there. They're not going to fall for that one after watching him before.
And get right, he could provide the distraction that Alu needs with the Mag. And there it is, they're going to drop into the spawn, and there it is. Shox finds that entry. Get right does get a trade back into the favor of NiP, but right now, Envyus are just pushing the map all over the place, moving out into middle. Smith picks up a kill on Forest there, as Getright is trying to hold down the A bomb site. But doesn't matter at this point, the bomb is going to be picked up towards shore, as Getright gets another kill. Oh, he's just going in right now. Getright wants to take down the entire team by himself. He got that triple kill, but that's where he's going to be stopped now by Kiyoshima as they go in for the finish on that A bomb site. But Exist is locking it down, but not for long enough. Friberg must save this here for NiP. This is a map point for Envyus as Kiyoshima gets that bomb planted. Friberg's going in with an AWP, the most unlikely of choices on Friberg, and looks like he is going to be able to swap that out potentially. No, this is not just another AWP on the ground. This is not ideal, and he's going to start spotting the first play. Kiyoshima, oh, he gets the headshot. Great stuff there from Friberg. He'll keep them in it for one round more at least.
Wow, fantastic stuff from him. That was all about Getright though. The fact he managed to pick up those 2 huge frags that they're executing on the site. Looked like a lot of the Hail Mary play from Envyus there. Kind of trying to close it out as quickly as possible. Getright got a little bit greedy at the end there. He could have just fallen back and kept in the situation in their favour. But fair play to Friberg. Like, I didn't see him winning that one, especially when he couldn't find a rifle. Blew his head off through the box, and great work from him. That's amazing. 15-10 now in favour of Team Envyus.
And now he's going to go for that pick. He's not going to spot anybody, so he's going to be like, hey, let's just go in and see if we can get something done a little bit closer. But no, he's just going to back away straight up, actually. And Kiyoshima, I'm not sure if Ali would have... Actually, I think Ali should have heard him. But oh my god, what was that? MBK picking up a headshot through the smoke. That really adds insult to injury here for NiP, who are already struggling. It's all on this one, and the quick mid-push coming in from Envyus looks quite scary, but in goes Alu for the first peek. Takes down Smiths, and the trade comes in from Kiyoshima. Freiberg can't get it done in the B bomb site. Again, Getright has to try to do the impossible. Picks up 2 frags, he's down to 1 HP. But he does have Exist and the bomb nearby, so bit of an interesting situation now for Envyus. They got to get that bomb, they got a minute to do it, and looks like it should be easy enough there. The cover is there. They even get the flash in just to make it safe. And then NiP have to go in for the B retake. This is going to be difficult.
Especially with Getright on 1 HP here. You can see Exist trying to change his position and see if he can get some more information, ascertain what the terrorists are doing. But now, smoked off choke points now. I have no idea how they're going to win this one. It's going to be so difficult.
Getright has to be so on point for the first bullet. He might not get another opportunity. He might have just heard some stepping. I think he indeed did. He's expecting a player. Oh, the snap from Shox straight onto Getright. And 19 HP now for Exist. He can't get Shox dead, and it's going to be 16 to 10. NiP are actually going to go down in the first map there, 16 to 10. That looks really convincing for Envyus. They look so strong.
You have to feel for NiP at that last round. MBK picking up that shot through the smoke, and I was just thinking, oh, not like this. They're doing so well to claw back into it, and he got that shot through the smoke, and that kind of summed it up for them. But yeah, like I said, that's why Dust 2 is such a great opening map. It's a complete deathmatch, and for players like Shoxy, that's a great chance for them to warm up. And well, boy, did he warm up. That was really, really convincing from him. And what a great spectacle. This scoreline doesn't do it justice, I feel. I think Envyus really were in the driving seat the whole time.
Absolutely, yeah. They just looked so on point, and they always had the right plays going into all the situations. They knew when to play it a little bit more slow and go for the map control. They knew when to hit like really fast rounds, and they like that round where we saw them. Well, we saw NiP saying, okay, we want to take the pressure on mid. And that's a really good play to just mix in. But they got so unlucky that we saw a super fast round from Envyus. And that's basically the complete counter, because they can just go in. And, of course, if you've got Shox leading the charge, then your odds look significantly better in a spot like that.
Well, that's what I was talking about. When I said Alu had to react and start putting the plays in his favour, he had to start going in different positions, getting the opening frags, and we saw him doing that. That worked out for them. When they boosted into lower B, got that initial frag, that's what they needed to do to shut down Shox very early in the round. Unfortunately, it only happened once, and I think if they'd been doing that from the start, having that dual AWP setup, I think they would have had a better CT campaign.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they can bounce back here, because that definitely looked really hard to deal with. Like you said, the kill for the smoke on the when they were at 10 rounds and they're staring down the barrel of defeat.
That's why I said it's not like this. Like, it's the worst way to lose it.
You can't do anything. It's just how demoralizing is that?
I'm dead for a smoke. Brilliant. Like, what can I even do about that?
I mean, on the bright side there for NiP, Getright really looks like he's stepping up there. He looked like he was looking on great form.
He was digging really deep there, especially on Famous as well. Like, he seemed to just know what he had to do. Like, when he 2 or 3 frags required, he got them quite convincingly, especially when he was on short there, just holding them off, and then just fantastic work from him. So hopefully he can find that form, and we have the Inferno coming up next. But before that, I think we're going to take a quick break, but don't go away, we'll be right back.
I'm on it.
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 Welcome, ladies and gents. We're back here. We are live here from Gfinity. It's Summer Masters, and already we have one map one in this grand final. This best of 5 between Envyus and NiP, and just as the wise Thorin predicted, and me, it's going to be the map 1 to Envyus, Dust 2. It's a really good start for them. The unfortunate thing is that NiP could never get anything going. They always seem to just be a bit down on their luck. Envyus were just always connecting the right shots, and
they seemed like they were constantly adapting to what Envyus were doing to us. But as soon as they adapted, they changed it up completely. So you saw them doing the boost in the middle and Dust 2, and then as soon as they thought they were going to do a slow A split, Shox just ran out of middle with the flashbang, and it was just complete carnage around there. But players like Shox going big in finals, that's the last thing you want. And as soon as he gets the ball rolling, like, it's impossible to stop him. He's just so explosive and such a great player. I've played against him in a lot of line finals actually in the CS Source days, and I've been wrecked so many times. So I know how it feels, to be honest.
The funny thing about it is that, like, I mean, again, with Shox, you're saying, okay, we have a little bit less structure here and there. I have more freedom, and that's one of the reasons why he's playing better, because he can just use his skill a lot more, just assert himself on the map a lot more. So when I actually see him like running away from the pack, like splitting up from the pack and just going for it, I'm like, oh my god,
yeah, but normally,
what are we about to just witness?
Essentially, in CS terms, that's like the wrong thing to do. Like,
exactly.
You want to be the one. Every time you go into a position, especially choke points like middle, you want to have teammates with you, like flashing for you at least, or coming out with you, going frag for frag. But with players like Shox, you can take that risk, and like it normally pays off because he is the man who is very unlikely he won't go to a situation without getting a kill.
Yeah, he's looking really good so far, and also in the grand finals against Na'Vi in Star Series, he's looking super good. And well, I think Envyus are geared quite well for an Inferno, and I'm not really sure what to expect here. I would love to see NiP start on the CT side, just to get their CT side going, because that's where they're always the most comfortable.
I think that's the whole thing. Like, they need to find their footing in this final. They need to get some rounds in their favour. Like you said, they never got any momentum. They never got comfortable. It was always like they felt like they were constantly adapting, constantly having to outsmart Envyus, and when they're hitting all their shots and just doing almost random stuff every time. Like, the only real set piece I saw from Envyus there was when they did the kind of wall of smokes there, and you thought that was the play for when they were going to block a Valu's AWP. But the thing is, like, they kind of tricked him into some sort of sense of comfort, as he thought he had that advantage looking over to short. All of a sudden, all the French players run out through the smoke, get through onto him, and that was just so difficult to read, and such clever play from them. But that's the thing. Inferno is a different pace. Like, it's not a map you can really get away with so much stuff like that, with running around in the pack doing the deathmatch stuff. You do need map control in Inferno. Although NiP favour the kind of walking out middle and going for one pick or so, you can't just run up and just hope for the best. You have to flush the areas out, push the CTs back. So this will be a change of pace, and this is like you said, if NiP get the CT side, they managed to win the pistol. We saw, like, just a note, their CT pistol was really clever. I love that play, like pushing players up short, but without even getting noticed, and getting the get right lurks in the back there. It was really, really cool. And I think they're going to have to do that again. Like, the CT pistols are so difficult to win in the current meta, because most players are just Glock armoring up, choosing a position and going in together. It's very difficult to hold that off as a CT.
Yeah, I mean, usually you try to see them play the ranges on a map like this, but actually there are a lot of T sides that even will just toss the smoke into middle, which is like the first easy pick you can get. And then you got a smoke in middle, you can't do anything. You have no idea where they're actually going. Are they going second mid to apartments, or into middle, or are they going up banana? And if you actually try to peek down banana, you'll get caught basically, because you can't really fall back quickly enough. So it is really hard to get that CT pistol going. So it's going to be interesting to see what will happen there. And a quick note about that push when Ali was kind of faked out a little bit, where the smoke goes down. He's like, oh, I can actually see short. But to do that, he actually has to back into like the corner by the car as well. So he actually can't
isolated
escape
himself, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He's just stuck there. He thought, I've got such great vision on short.
Smart,
when they come up here, I'm going to get such that's the shots he's famous for, is hitting those shots across short. He hits every single time, but then they run through the smoke. And I said before, that's a classic French strat. They did that in CS Source a lot. Like, that was dropping down and running through the smoke with one flashbang. It's really strong, especially when they read that the AWPers were being played. Like, when they ascertained that they had 2 AWPers on the field, you can just lock them down by running through smoke and just isolating them.
I would actually expect Envyus to be targeting mid a lot on their T sides as well, if we see that CT start from NiP, because I mean, firstly, Get Right's playing really well. Fragment's been having a good tournament, and of course those are the B players for NiP. So Ali's the one who's been a little bit shaky. I think mid is going to be something that's going to be very easy for Envyus to take, and if they're easily taking mid early into the round, and NiP aren't able to do much about it, then I'm going to be quite afraid for NiP's ability to hold some of the pushes on A, and just the fake potential as well is going to be pretty strong for Envyus on their T side.
NiP normally rely on their fragging ability on the T side, especially of Inferno. Like, you'll see them taking banana with 2 players and normally getting the entry frags. Freiburg has that freedom because most teams he outskills and get in there. But when you're against players like Envyus, I think they have to take a more tactical approach. You're going to have to utilize the flashbangs and the smoke grenades a lot more effectively. As I feel like if he tries to face these players, straight up in one-on-ones, he's going to get locked down completely. So it's going to be interesting to see what NiP choose to go, or what methodology they choose to approach it. I think it's going to be a slower game for them. They can't just run up into positions and hope they outfrag them.
Yeah, and if you guys are wondering, we are experiencing a delay just swapping out PC, so shouldn't be too much longer. We hope we can see all the players are actually pretty ready to go, so we just need to get that PC swapped. But to continue the point, actually, another thing about NiP's Inferno game on the CT side is that usually they start to try to go aggressive on Banana when they're feeling good. You see Freiburg,
that's absolutely right, yeah.
But it relies also on them thinking we can outskill these opponents. So I want to see if Envyus can be just hold up the middle finger and be like, actually guys, we're way better than you. We will just straight up go for the trades.
That's it, because NiP rely on a heavy fragging game. So if they could have been rattled after that performance in Dust 2, it could be feeling like our aims aren't on their level right now. So that could be the downfall for NiP, thinking they're not playing their normal game, they're not pushing down and getting that confidence. That's why, as we said, I'd love to see them start CT here, get some momentum, get their feet dug in, and kind of a chance to get into it instead of constantly adapting, losing rounds, a lot of ecos. It'd be good to see them get some momentum on the board.
Yeah, it'd be really nice indeed. And I'm going to be looking towards Freiburg in this one, and Forest. I think, of course, those are always going to be very key players. Of course, Garrett's been playing really well, but I just love seeing Freiburg work Banana. And when he's going to be the guy that will run down Banana first, and we'll see him, pre-firing all the spots when he go for the deep smokes. He's going to try to get in there, just so have that razor focus, and Garrett can kind of back him up a little bit. And then Forest towards the classic, Forest, like NiP just. Their roles are so classic, like you Forest, the truck, exists, the quad and stuff like this. It's just such a classic setup that you can always think of so many moments where grand finals were played, like in these tense moments were made at all these different positions. But for me, Forest and Freiburg are the two to focus on for NiP's defense.
Well, Forest did find some form of the T side of Dust 2. We saw him have that amazing round coming out of long doors, good at finding 3 1-bullet headshots there, and that shows his aim is ready. He's ready to fight, but that's his main role on T side of Inferno. He's the one walking up middle when the smokes died down, and he looks for those picks. He's not scared to face AWPers, and most of the time he will hit it, and that's what an NiP rely on. They either push the CTs back by making them so scared of Forest, or they go for that initial kill. And like against most teams in the around this sort of skill level, they will win. But Envyus, in my opinion, out-aim them completely, almost across the board. So, like we said, it'll be very interesting to see how that goes down. I think we'll see a very adaptive and fast game from Envyus. They'll be the ones pushing all over the place. There'll be no love lost there at all. They'll be pushing Banana almost every single round. They'll be doing random faces with the AWP. It'll be very difficult for NiP to kind of adapt to that thing. And I think if they start getting that pit they did last time of getting pushed all over the place and losing the rounds like the Deagles and the Mag 7s and stuff like that, could be very interesting indeed.
I mean, one thing with just like to talk about Envyus, we see this combination of MBK and Happy often playing the B side. I'm not sure if they've switched it up because they have been messing around the positions a lot, but the classic was always MBK Happy on B, and we would actually usually see them playing it quite defensively. They would never really go for that deep banana control like a lot of teams were actually doing in the meta when that was very popular, but they would always just rely on maybe like pop flashing over like more defensive kind of TSM style, just making sure it's very tight defense, very small, simple kind of team play setups you can't really mess up. Because the other thing as well is that all these T sides nowadays, they know how to like aggressively double Molotov the car and then the sandbag. So if you actually play forwards, you can get caught out. So they try to avoid that situation entirely, but still they find ways to get aggressive from behind the smokes. Like the classic Happy just creeping through the smoke on the little wagon there on Banana is always very dangerous. So I'm curious how will they just be really passive and just see what NiP are going to do at the start, or will they just go firing on all the cylinders straight away?
It's such an interesting approach. What you can do now is I think everyone knows that most CT teams will push down Banana, but for me, like, it's such a tannoy saying, oh, we're going to use all our utility here, and like once all those smokes are gone, you can only hold it for about 45 seconds tops if you have 3 smokes maybe, and then you've got nothing left. You have to kind of fall back. That's why I prefer the more passive playing, and when you can you work out what the T's are doing, they have to work to get up there, and you flash push over, and you can kind of look for one frag. You're just getting information essentially, but if you can catch a T out at the car, kind of fully flash and just fall back, I feel that's more powerful, because the thing is, if you're pushing CTs down to the bottom of Banana and the T's read that and just rush up middle fast together and you're stuck behind that smoke, the T's know they're in a 5-on-3 situation, and that's what NiP did so well. We cast them the other day, and like they just knew when the CTs pushed down, they would run up middle together and just go frag for frag. That's what they're so good at. Their team chemistry is amazing. So if they can read that they have that advantage and they have the player advantage, especially on the A bomb side, they can do some massive work there. So it'd be interesting to see how it plays. Well, what approach both teams go to CT. I don't really know how it's going to go down.
Yeah, I'm also wondering like how is Smith's going to be doing? Because usually, Smith's actually plays the arch side really, really well, and they have been going back to their more default stuff. So we should expect him to be AWPing from arch side as their default play. Sometimes you'll see the AWP on a good spawn go to banana, or he'll go to defend against a boiler peak on quad side. But generally speaking, it can be a really good point for NiP to be able to take that. I know that they have all the smokes there, that they can throw the smoke for arch side and library, which isolates that entire position, forces the CTs right back onto the site, allows them to maybe split into B, which is something that NiP love to do sometimes, or just keep the control and go for the fakes. They can do so much off of it. So usually that means that Smith is like a really important player because he's got to actually deal with all these situations, not die, and get the information and hopefully some frags as well with the AWP usually. So very curious to see how that dynamic will actually work out for them. And I mean, yeah, it should be a really close one. Actually, I just want to get this started. Of course, it shouldn't be too much longer now. I think they are close to sorting out the PCs, and like a couple minutes maybe, and we should be into the match. So.
What do you expect to see from the pistol rounds here? We know a lot of teams will be pushing down as CT. Like, do you see it being a very passive game, or do you see it like what we saw in Dust 2, where the CT team's pushing up middle, doing what they can? That's what I was saying before. Like when a terrorist team allows the CTs to gain map control and give information to their players, that's when it almost goes in favour of the CTs. Like traditionally, now we see teams buying up armor, going in together, and it's a big explosion onto a site. So do you have any indication as to what Envyus especially will do on their CT pistols?
As far as Envyus go, I actually think that Envyus will probably play it pretty passively. I think actually both teams are going to play it passively because trying to go for the rush is really hard, I think, on this map because you kind of just have middle, and if you actually get caught there, you're kind of screwed straight away. Whereas on Dust 2, at least you can kind of be like, okay, we're going to take catwalk and got middle a little bit, but you can kind of beat the timings, and you can kind of always kind of have cover or some kind of, you can have something that you can work out that can help save you. But in middle here, you're just kind of exposed. There's like nowhere you can really go. So, and once you're caught in front of those the choke points that are deeper behind into quad and arch, then that's a super fast push into a bomb plant, and it's kind of game over from there. So I'm expecting super passive play. I feel like this map is one of the hardest CT pistols in the game.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm trying to make, is you either sit back and get completely wrecked by the Glocks just coming out of one position, or that's gaining map control and at least being able to rotate your CTs into smarter positions based on an educated guess once you've pushed a certain position. That's my favorite thing to do as CT. Like if you can just get even one bit of information just by pushing banana and seeing if you can lock them down.
Banana, I think if there is going to be a push, I'd expect it probably to be there, but it's still so risky. But I mean, Counter-Strike, it's a game of risk, it's a game of gambles. You're always playing against the odds, and what you think the other team are going to do. It's very similar in poker in that sense. You don't know what they actually are holding, what they're going to go for, but you've got to throw out a play.
Well, that's the thing. I'll be interested to see how the Tech-9s go down this game. We've seen a lot of force buys this tournament. Envyus especially pulling out the PT. Like, they were so strong with the PT-50s at last Dust 2 game as well. Like, they were treating it like a rifle. It seemed like they were facing angles, getting one bullet headshots somehow, and it was really, really exciting play. So I hope that although I almost hate those rounds when you see the pistols being so strong, it makes for a very exciting game, and it pushes the defensive team on the back foot. And I hope we see some crazy stuff go down. Envyus definitely bring that to the game.
I mean, there's another pistol round that's popular, I know, that where you leave like 2 or 3 players on the T steps and like with the bomb, and you let 2 players just run around to see what they can do to get boiler control, see if you can just get some frags, and then you cause like a rotation, then push those guys up banana. That's one thing that some teams like to do, but it's can be a pretty awkward pistol round for both sides, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not sure how to even make a prediction with this one. I feel like Envyus are going to have the edge after that first game, though.
Well, yes, it is. In LAN finals, it's so difficult to say, like, oh, this team does this, so therefore they're going to win. Like, based on the form we saw in Dust 2, you have to put it in Envyus' favour. Their aim right now is just completely on point. Like I said before, Dust 2 is a deathmatch map, and if you can find form on that and you can kill everyone and you're making the shots, like, you are the better team, unfortunately. And if they can carry that form onto this one, and especially if they get the CT side as well, I feel like this might be a game over for NiP. But I'd like to see this one go the distance. I really, like I said before, I predict it's going to go the 5 maps. We just need to get NiP some momentum and get their filly in.
I think we're all with you there. Seeing it go the distance would be awesome. Actually, thinking about it, in Kiev last time, I'm not sure if that's the last time. I think that might be the last time that they actually had finals together, like NiP and Envyus. I think there was the not the last Star Series, but the Star Series finals before that. Envy actually rolled over NiP really convincingly, and one of the reasons they did that was because on Inferno, NiP were really good, but there was this one round that NiP kept running. Every time they would lose a round on the T side, or the buy round, they would just force it up, and they would get the Tech-9 armor and grenades. But what they would do is they would run up middle, but they would smoke off middle, and then just flash through the smokes and just run through the smokes.
That's
Because
the
they're
thing.
Tech 9s, and you can't really spray down the smoke because it's such a wide choke point that they will just come at you once, and then they just take over archway, and it's just chaos.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. CT has to stop and shoot his M4. He has to,
Exactly,
he has to
yeah.
stop a moving turret, like a static turret, sorry. And the terrorists, they can run and shoot the Tech 9, and that's why it's such a crazy gun right now. Like, if you can just, like you said, put the smoke down, do a flashbang that lands in the smoke the CTs can't see, and run through it, it's almost impossible to hold off. It's like, I'd rather face AKs in that situation. Like, it's such a difficult hold, and that's a thing that needs to be like a point of concern for CSGO, especially. Like, if a lot of people don't like it, I'm one of those people. I'm more of a vanilla CS player. I prefer like the eco rounds being treated as they have to really work hard for them. But right now, like, seems like, especially teams like Envyus, if you have the skill to use those Tech 9s, it's almost like a 50-50 still. They can still get into it quite easily.
Yeah, and a map like this, you need to get that CT economy because you want the incendiaries. So this map is all about the CT grenades, being able to delay consistently. And actually, the one thing that's actually cool as well with the incendiaries, and this is something that Guardian does really well from Na'Vi, is on the CT side, it can be hard sometimes to get information because there's so many tight choke points on the map. So it's hard for the Ts to get in, but it's also hard for the CTs to peek out. So usually you see the pop flashes and stuff. But what I see Guardian do sometimes is he gets an incendiary, and he'll be on quad side with the AWP.
Yeah.
And what he'll do is he'll throw the incendiary into middle, and then he'll peek out down middle and look for a shot.
Sure.
So if he shoots a guy and he back away, he can't be traded because the incendiary is down. So it's like really cute things you can do with the incendiary, because not only is it a tool for delay, but also a tool for the CTs to peak. So
that's what's good about being CT and getting the momentum in your favor, because you not only do you have the smokes to hold them off at the beginning of the round, you know, gain yourself that 1 minute of control. When the Ts finally do execute, you have the Molotov to kind of assist you, and like, although it doesn't like lose the Ts any vision, it's doing damage and forcing them to face you as well. So that's why it's very important to get momentum with CT and get that cash rolling, because if you don't, like, it's just very difficult to hold the bomb sites without that additional utility in your favor.
Yeah, and we can see how many different ways you can use it on this map. There's lots of executes, for example. Like there's always an anti-eco that I love. We don't really see enough of it these days, where I actually saw it from NiP first, but then they stopped doing it. It's like, but it worked so well, why would you stop doing it? Which was basically, it's anti-eco, and you're always scared about running to stacks. And on this map, it's kind of hard to actually get through. Again, you got to get through all the choke points because it's so tight and close. You got to just go out there with some right flashes, and there's so many hidey holes in this map. So I saw a round from them where they were like, okay, we'll just get some SMGs. We'll have 5 Molotovs, a bunch of smokes. We'll walk up banana, so you can't kill us there. We'll just trade you easily. And then they just throw all the Molotovs in. So you got a Molotov in dark, you got Molotov in coils, you got Molotov.
Like, they're flushing them out.
First boxes, second boxes, new box, like Molotovs everywhere. And so they can't stand anywhere. And you just walk into the site, the SMG's running, and you just kill them as they're running with their pistols. And it's like, that's awesome, because it's just quick, it's clean. You only invest, it's like $400 for the Molotov, so it's super cheap as well.
Molotov play is always really fun, especially on a map like Inferno, when the holding points are so isolated. So you've got the new boxes in the back right, a big bomb site, for example. Like, there's Molotov in those positions. If you can have an effective strategy when you can execute and get into the site while those Molotovs are going out, obviously it flushes out the CTs. And that's the best tactical teams you'll see you do that. Teams like Envyus and NiP don't really resort to that sort of stuff. They rely heavily on the aims and getting up together. But as we say that, I think the knife round is going live, and I think we did an amazing job of filling this, so congratulations to yourself.
Yeah, that was awesome. Into the game, I'm so excited. Let's do this. So knife round to kick things off. And again, I mean, it would be nice, I think, for NiP to just get that comfort of starting CT, and then hopefully get the comfort of winning the pistol round, which is the next stressful thing.
But yeah, like, if they can have the CT start, it's going to be amazing for them. They'll get their confidence back, and they know they can get some rounds on the board and not be having to chase the Envyus team.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You got to feel for them in that last match. Nothing quite going their way. However, it looks like they're not going to win the pistol here. We got Private.
It's fine. They wanted T anyway. That's what they wanted.
He's trying. But he's going to get mobbed. He's going to get knifed by the mob. And exist. Well, yeah, that's not going to work. So, going to have CT start there for Envyus instead of NiP. But that's cool as well. We get to see what Envyus have to show. And as you say, it's always very interesting, the pistol rounds. What are the teams going to go for? How are they going to approach the pistol? As far as what would you want to see? What do you think is going to be a good opener?
Like you said, like if you can just get you gain map control at the start of the round, you see whether the CTs are pushing you, and at that point you kind of, there shouldn't be a set strategy there. You need to read the map and then the caller needs to base his call on that. So they work out what's going on middle. If potentially they have one smoke grenade, which is a lot of teams will do, you can see they get right. Has got the smoke and Molotov there, so that suggests they will go somewhere towards banana like that. They'll smoke off CT spawn, Molotov the oranges, and then go in together. So you can see 5 men actually going in pretty hard here on the B-bomb side.
Yeah, we have 2 players close here. Happy behind the sandbags. They have not spotted him. He gets one quick headshot from the back, but it's going to be NiP that pick up the kills. Oh no, Forrest killing Freiburg. Someone has paid him off, and it's going to be a 3 versus 3 now with a smoke down indeed. And looking pretty decent. Oh, Forest with a jump block, able to take down a quick kill onto Smith, but they will regain control, these CTs, of that construction area, which will allow a quick entrance into the site. Oh, that pop from Get Right.
He's ready.
Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. Shock's now coming in. He's going to have to do a couple quick taps here to make this one work. Get Right just toying with him, making him just go for those shots here. And oh, Get Right just does it by himself. 2 quick kills. And NiP with a simple pistol will pick up that T side. The good economy for the T side opener.
It was a really crazy round. The fact they didn't even check the sandbags area is really surprising for a team of NiP's caliber. That could have been a lot messier for them. And they had lost the round in that fashion, and they would have been very disappointed and angry with themselves. But Get Right just finding pixel perfect form there. Great shots with the silent USP. And you can see now they've got the 2 AKs there and the 3 SMGs. This will be really good for them. Now they can just get up, use the SMGs to scout, have the AKs backing them up. And as long as they don't do anything too silly here, we know how strong Envyus are with these pistols. They have got the armor as well, and we can see this classic play from NiP. 2 players getting the control of Banana, 2 players getting the mid control, and just working out what the CTs are doing. And this is the next round to be very important for them. They don't want to overcommit to this, especially when the CTs have the armor.
And this is the first kill coming in from Smith there for the CT side. Envyus are going for the full force, so when they actually can buy, they're not going to have the incendiaries. They're not going to have a lot of money. They won't have an AWP. So they're investing a lot into this. This has to work out into significant damage.
God.
And oh, Smith gets a second one as well, the CZ. That gun is still really dangerous, and he is still putting in all those bullets, really getting every last drop out of that weapon. But it's just two players left now for Envyus. The French side with the 5-7, the Banana 5-7, and the P250. Bomb is ticking away now, so NiP need to make sure they don't take any more additional damage. That would really suck for them, as Envyus have invested so much here. And there is the peek from MBK. He's going to pick that one up there. Did grab himself an MP7. And they actually are able to save a couple SMGs here. And MBK picking up that Fragger Force gives him a lot more money. So this now creates an interesting situation on the CT economy.
Interesting position from Forest there, standing out in the open. I'd like to see a bit more defensive, especially how he knows how fragile this round is currently. With that in mind, I was about to say they're going to save the AKs, but MBK will take down Exist. And that's a very expensive round for NiP. They wanted to save more than that, I think. But yeah, great work from Envyus. Like, I'm unable to convert it to a victory, but they have saved a couple of guns there. I don't think they managed to save the AK. I think it's going to be a couple of a MAC-10, an SMG, and yeah, NiP getting the full AKs now. I'd expect them to see something a lot slower, methodical, get the headshots, go together frag for frag. That's what they're so good for.
I'm surprised the MAC-10's not finding its way to Happy, who has the armor. Instead, it's going to be staying with Kiyoshima. But that's okay. We'll have to see if they can do some additional work in this round. Envyus with that so much damage there, that's going to set them up very well for their buy round. But NiP, if they can get a clean one here, that could really repair all that damage that was just done. They are trying again the similar approach on the anti-eco, this time not so far at mid. Afraid of the weapons that they know have been saved by Envyus. And just toying with them now, trying to get rid of some of those grenades. However, Envyus are going to play it very, very slow, very safe. And they're going to try to force NiP into those close engagements. And that's where NiP have to start making some action here, because they are not going to get Envyus to just duck out into the open.
So they've gained the map control here. They seem to get the CTs happy and push back. This is the point they need to go together and make sure they just, any frags that do get dropped, they've got teammates there backing them up and getting the frag back. And you see this is exactly what they're doing. Going up that art position, they can see Forrest being the entry man here at this point. He's going to be looking for the frag. He's going to have a CT waiting for him, and that's going to be Shox. And he's going to have the 5-7. We know how deadly he can be with his rifle. This next frag will be very important. Great smoke there from NiP, locking the CT out.
Okay, Forrest making his way up here, looking for a path. Just clearing some areas here. Oh, nice headshot there onto Happy. Shox lurking in library, though. Will he be able to pick up one? Oh, gets a nice off angle onto Forrest and the frag. But not just that, the AK comes into play as well now for Shox in library. And it's a 3-on-3. Make that a 3-on-2. We've got Shox picking up that kill onto Exist, and both players for NiP are stuck on the bomb site. Kiyoshima coming in from apartments. Oh no, this is a disaster here. Freiberg back against the wall. He's going to get sprayed down from behind the smoke. How on earth did they survive with 3 players?
I have no idea, but just as I was saying how good NiP are going together and going frag for frag, you see Forrest there got the kill into Arch and has run off, left his team, and the team got isolated on the bomb site. And yeah, that's really crazy. I'm not really sure Envyus do it, but yet again, they win a round on a force buy, and this is going to be disappointing for NiP. The moment we said they need to get some momentum and some rounds on the board, I'd like to see them go to the 5-0 sort of stage, but now they're going to find themselves in a very tricky situation. They're going to be the ones on the pistols. I don't think they're going to get armor. They'll be smart just to get normal pistols here and they have the AKs next round.
I can't believe they managed to pick up 3 AKs there. That's like insane. That's such an insane swing on the value. That straight away gives them a ridiculous advantage on the economy. That's nuts. And NiP have to be feeling so gutted after that, but this is a real test of champions, just being able to maintain mental composure when everything's going wrong, and that's when the real players step up. Now, NiP moving for a fast take into the A site. Up quad now. Can they find some quick headshots with those pistols? Already we got the taps coming in. Very dangerous combo. Shocks and Kiyoshima. How on earth do you deal with this? Especially bearing down on you with those AKs. Oh, perfect grenade. Shocks going to find that straight onto Alu. There is the 3-pointer. And now it's just get right and exist. And this looks incredibly clean. Not even a single tag onto a player from Envyus. So we will see if exist and get right can change that. We got some defensive grenades coming in here just to make NiP's life just that little bit extra hard into this situation.
I think this will be a moment where NiP can just work out how they're going to approach the next round. They can see Envyus has got the AWP. It'll be interesting to see where Alu decides to pick one up himself. I know he can be a dangerous T-side AWPer, but normally NiP will just run the 5 rifle setup and try to stick together and make sure they work as a unit.
It's kind of nice having the AKs as well, because on a map like this, where you can have a lot of pixel angles, it actually allows them to get a little bit more aggressive. Because with the M4, you get the dink, but that won't necessarily kill them. But with the AK, of course, one shot, it can be a kill if it's connected to the head. So it actually gives them more aggressive potential into some of these rounds with these tight choke points. So Envyus could not ask for a better start than that, to be honest.
Yeah, the fact they shut them down so early on is going to be a great moral high ground as well. Like emotionally, NiP are going to be feeling a little bit frustrated after giving away a full AK round to some SMGs. But here we go then. This is where the game really starts. 2 full buys for both teams. And the classic approach from NiP I'm predicting here. We can see Smiths has got a great spawn in the AWP. He'll be going some action here. Will he be able to find anything at the start?
Ooh, that nade straight to the face. 40 HP left on Smiths, and he won't get the shot. But this is actually something I wasn't sure whether or not Envyus would go for, and that's that banana play. MBK's going in there by himself pretty much. He's kind of middle in the middle area of banana. Not going all the way down just yet, despite the smoke being there. Maybe a bit afraid of them just flashing through. He wants to keep himself safe.
This is the thing. Now he's been left there alone. Like, as long as he's comfortable to do it and he thinks NiP won't push him, like, the CTs can play almost 4 people on the A-bomb side. And this is going to be really important if NiP don't go towards B. They don't get that classic control we see Freiburg normally get. And
MBK's actually saved his smoke as well. He's still got a smoke on banana, but here goes the middle take coming in from NiP as they make their way into a play. Oh, great Molotov there from Forest, and Happy has to peek. He's trying to do it at the last second, so they turn away, but he still gets a kill on the Forest. I don't believe my eyes, but Ali will at least get the trade. And Smith, again on the arch position, he's fallen all the way back, he gets smoked away. This is what we're talking about here, NiP using those grenades. Freiburg finds the one-on-one though. Oh, he baits out the shot, but he can't get the kill. And Smith gets another opportunity, and he's not going to mess it up the second time. So we're going to have the smoke, the flash into the B bomb site as the last-ditch attempt, as the Hail Mary here for NiP. And it's going well though. Alu gets the entry onto Smith. That's going to open up the split, but it's all on to Get right now. He's been delivering on Dust too, but he's got the 1-on-3 clutch to play with, and he's getting sprayed down from the side. Oh, Get right. Cut off by Shocks, and Envyus making that one really hard for NiP.
Yeah, it's really cool from Happy. Actually, you saw the Molotov land on his feet, but instead of like jumping out like most players would, he gave himself an opportunity to wait, and then he got flashed in by his teammate, and the best he could have hoped for there was 1 kill before he went down, and that's exactly what he got, and he opened the round up for Envyus, and NiP were forced to go into that B split situation, and MBK doing some fantastic work with the AK. They're locking them down completely, and it's going to put NiP. This is what we saw in Dust 2. They just got themselves, their economy completely wrecked in the beginning of the game, and they never quite got back into it. So it'll be interesting to see how they approach this round. They have got some armor on Alu, so they do fancy this one. Maybe going in for a B control here. You can see the bomb is towards there, but 3 players are currently still at A as well.
Yeah, we're seeing just a slightly aggressive angle towards banana, but then they fall back. They know they're up against pistol armor here, potentially, so they are just keeping it real, just changing up the position, so they're very passive all the way at the back, longest range as possible for them to play with. And we can see Smith here trying to, again, just figure out what's going on. And you can see why, talking about this position earlier from Smith, it's like quite a difficult one to deal with. You often can get grenaded out of the position, or they'll charge through the smoke, and there it is. Shock's going to take down Get right towards apartments, and Envyus looking really strong right now. Nobody dead for them just yet. Alu's the last man standing with his Tech 9, but he's not going to get a single frag, so that's a really clean round. Look how much money Envyus have. That's really crazy.
This puts them in the position now they can kind of do the more audacious plays. They've got so much bankroll. They can kind of do the more aggressive stuff, get down there, get in the T's faces, push into the bedroom, face down second middle perhaps. Like, they've got so much to play with. NiP now, they really are a low economy. Everyone on $0 after that buy, and it'll be interesting to see what approaches they go for now. Was walking out middle together doesn't seem to be working for them.
Yeah, they're going to actually have, I think, a re-smoke there from Smith towards CT spawn, just before he goes back into position towards Arch side. So helping each other out, trying to get a bit of pressure once again. We've got MBK, who's just pushed a little bit down Banana, not all the way though, but just playing it safe, which is really cool actually, because usually you would see that they would only rotate one guy back when okay, that guy can throw the smoke, then that can leave his teammate really deep, and then he goes to the car when the smoke goes away. But they're actually kind of cutting corners here to have a fourth player there for less resources. So I like that from Envyus.
Well, they seem like NiP don't seem to react. They don't push through the smoke. They allow it to go down, and it runs the clock down, and it allows MBK to get back onto the bomb site and call in for the teammates then. But NiP famously going up middle quite a lot. You see that Freiburg is going to be going over to Banana now, trying to get the control, but MBK still has that position where he can get early information and call for the rotations quite early.
He's still got a smoke as well, so this is pretty nice. Again, it's going to slow down the play a lot for NiP. They're trying to work their way in, trying to get rid of those grenades, and we have a 3-man setup there towards the quad side that boosts up onto the quad roof as well. Forrest is the only one there. Oh, he does spot it, gets the spray down. The headshot found onto Kiyoshima, and Forrest wants to push his luck here as he keeps causing havoc towards delaying that rotation. But we have Happy who actually moved through CT spawn immediately. In comes the play. What can MBK find here from Corals? Looks for the first player. Get right, shuts him down straight away. Now Happy comes in from CT. Oh my god, he gets both kills. I don't think even he expected to find that one. 3-on-2 now in favor of Envyus. They go for this retake. NiP looking to get positions on the site, but they're getting surrounded. Oh, and the shot from the side there from Shox coming up Banana at pace. And it's just Alu left at the back of the bomb site. And Shox gets another one. This guy cannot be stopped as it's Envyus with another round on the CT side. That's going to bring them to 5 rounds now to the 2 of NiP, but at least they got the bomb down.
That was almost a perfect round for NiP, right? The fact that Forrest walked up middle, got the first kill, there's some attention towards them, and they went in, and look at this from Happy. Like, those 2 frags were so important. NiP going in a little bit too early, like the fact that the smoke hadn't bloomed yet, really let them down. Like, they got the opening frag on Banana as well. That round should have been theirs, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. After the round loss bonus going in their favor, they get the 5 AKs out, but right now Envyus are carrying this, and they've found some real form.
And here it is. We have the 3 smokes set up from using the guys on Arch side as well. So again, it allows MBK to play pretty much alone, and they haven't been punished. They haven't really punished Envyus for doing this play early into the round just yet. My goodness, they are trying to go for the picks, but right now, Envyus are just too hot. Shox gets another one. This guy is so on fire at the moment, but finally, Get Right is going to come in and stop Shox once and for all in this round, as it's just Get Right left now. He's got those 2 kills, but 3 more players to find, and he's going to get wrecked by the Tech 9 of Smiths. And another round by Envyus. So just a fast play there for NiP. It feels like they're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks.
A little bit of a last resort. I felt like they were doing that against teams like Dignitas, and it was working really well. Like, they could go up and out-aim most players. But I said before on Dust 2, like, that kind of play isn't going to work against teams like Envyus. You will just get out-fragged every single time. They are essentially better players here. They're better aimers. And they need to do a more tactical approach. They need to be locking off the choke points before they enter them. And that was the mistake they made when they went into Banana as well. They didn't even allow the smoke to bloom in CT spawn, and they got completely punished for it. So I'd like to see them slow the game down a bit, utilise the smokes better, and you can see now they're on another force buy here. This is a force buy. Armor and Tech 9 happening.
Oh, they actually dropped the smoke behind Happy there, but he does peek before he can really get an advantage from it. And they only have pistols right now. It's MBK who's just stuck on the bomb site. He's only got an M4. He's not got many bullets left. 7 in the chamber right now. He's going to have to fall back. Gets the first kill there as he gets challenged. The Molotov goes down, but he will fall as well. But Smith straight through the smoke. Gets the first kill there. 2 more left on the bomb site for him to deal with directly. And it's going to be him falling back right now as he cannot get it done. Get Right comes in again. And rifles found for all players of NiP now as Kiyoshima is the last one standing. He'll pop flash himself through. What can he find on the other side? Well, he finds Get Right, and that is not a very welcoming way to be greeted into the B bomb site.
Finally, NiP making the Tech 9s work for them. We see teams like Envyus be so scary of them, and like so far NiP haven't been able to do a lot of them, but now they got themselves back into the game with that nice force buy, and it's going to be a change of pace now. I think that NiP realised this fast play can work for them as long as they utilise it properly. They actually smoked off the CT player there, isolated him at the top, and that's when they took him down. And they realised that Envyus are actually playing one player at the top there. They can use that to their advantage.
Oh, Shox, look at this. Bold wants to go for those peaks and really assert himself on middle with that AWP, and it's really scary to see Alu actually gets tagged as well, and MBK is going to take down his one-on-one towards Freiburg, who's supposed to be the king of Banana for NiP, the one that can inspire and instill hope into that area of the map, but for NiP, but it's not going to happen this time around. And NiP, what do they do here? They lost a man.
This is
Ali's down to 17 HP.
such a difficult position. This is the moment where like teams like Envyus can just flash over. At this point, they know NiP have to execute, and when there's nothing going on the map, you smoke them out for as long as you can and just wait for them. You can see they've got Molotovs and incendiaries in the economy. There we go. That guy's dropped. And it's going to be very difficult for NiP to even get into the bomb site right now.
They're going to try to force it to happen, though, and we'll have to see if they can pull it off here. As actually, they're not going straight away, waiting a little bit. They have got a few nades left over as well, quite a few, in fact. So they've pulled 2 players onto the bomb site. And Envyus have Smith, who's kind of just playing very defensively on Arch, just so he can float around, rotate faster, and now comes to re-execute straight into the bomb site. Forest, oh, he gets turned around there. MBK will get the better of him now as NiP get counter flash back, and Shox is coming in for the kills right now from the back. They have delayed him successfully, and it's going to be a really nice entry from GetRight, but what else can he find right now? This is the GetRight show for NiP. He's the only one pulling out these frags, and you can see he's really struggling right now as NiP only have 3 rounds. They go down 1 more, making it 7-3 now.
The thing is, NiP did a really good job of baiting out all the grenades from the CTs there. Like, everything got dropped before they even went in. And then there's that indecisiveness. Like, they got flashed, and then everyone just started backpedaling and trying to get out of the bomb site. Even if you lose a frag, you need to be in there, getting it back and forcing the CTs into a difficult situation. They allowed the CTs to regroup, reload, and unfortunately that was just really bad execution after doing such a good job of baiting out all the utilities from the CTs.
Absolutely, and I mean, Forest not being able to find the first entry, it's just really became a bit of a slippery slope after that. So well done by Envyus on these defenses. Now Smith is going to be, again, they're going to play that 3 or that triple smoke there into the B area, which will allow, of course, MBK to be alone there if they wanted to go for that. Some teams try to fake that again as well. They try to leave 2 players there, actually. But back into middle, we're going to find a frag onto Forest. He's going to actually take down Smiths on the peak. So NiP now with a good start to a round.
Yeah, that's the classic shot we see Forest do over and over again. He doesn't fit any AWP at the top of middle. He knows he can out-aim them in those situations, and he's going to get the advantage in his favour. And this is the time they need to take this round. And Happy actually answers back with a kill of his own.
All right, they're going to actually charge straight up. Quad or NiP looking for the aim jewels, and it's going to be Freiburg who entries onto Kiyoshima. Shox, though, he's still alive, goes for the reload. And Happy, he's locking it down with that AWP from Library that he picked up from Smith. Gets the 3rd with the USP for the 4K. Happy made it happen there for Envyus, and that's the problem with his team. It's like he sees an AWP on the floor, dropped by Smith, he's going to pick that one up, and he's going to just wreck your team.
And what can you do when he pulls out 4 amazing AWP shots like that? Like I said before, Forest getting his trademark shot at the top and middle. They think against most teams that would have worked running up together, but when you've got players like Happy utilising the AWP so well, it's just so difficult to lock them down. And that's going to be yet another force buy for NiP. And this is looking almost like a mirror match with what happened on Dust 2, like stuck in the rut of the economy, trying to make anything work, winning 1 round here and there, but they're not getting any momentum whatsoever. It's going to be very difficult for them to get enough rounds on the board to lock down a team like Envyus, especially within this incredible form.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing to work with for NiP here. They've just got some pistols. If it was Envyus, you'd be like, oh, well,
yeah,
they're in this round right now, guys.
Absolutely. You just think, oh, God, here they come. They've got pistols, which are, in fact, more scary sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what can NiP get done here? They're just gathering in apartments. Again, it's pretty nice to open there with the pistols. It's all close ranges. But at some point, they're going to have to go into the open. But where are they going to choose to do that? They actually have Forrest, who's made his way up to Arch side. He's just going to go for the straight-up challenge, it would seem. But Smith is there with an AWP. There's a nice little counter flash as well.
It's difficult to work out what NiP are going to do with no nades and just P250s. Like, it's hard to believe them doing any sort of impact whatsoever. You can see Alu getting taken down there, but Forrest does manage to get a frag of his own. As long as the CTs hold back here, it should be a pretty reasonable clear up for them.
Yeah, it's really hard to remove these players from pits, but the AWP should be available, I think. But no, it looks like Shox will be able to get a kill onto Forrest, and Happy's got the position by the AWP, so they won't even be able to retrieve any weapons just yet, but they are finding an extra kill or 2, so really well done so far by NiP. What else can they get done with GetRight on that P250? He's going in right now, player on pit. Shox is definitely in a very good position here to just clean this one up, but there goes the incendiary. That's going to cause a little bit of issues, forcing him to peek out into the open. Ooh, they might just get the plant here. Shox does finish off the kill there, but very well done by NiP. Lots of damage and a bomb plant. It's always nice in a situation like that. It's very cost efficient.
Yeah, just as I was saying, it should be an easy clear up for them. Somehow they get 2 big frags, and the fact GetRight managed to get the bomb down there as well. Fantastic work from him, applying a bit of pressure, but ultimately it helps themselves. It doesn't really detriment the CTs at all, and you can see a pause coming in from NiP now, and I think that's a very sensible decision from them. They haven't been able to find great form here. They're relying on their classic tactics of walking up together, going for the opening frags, which they're getting, to be fair to them. Sometimes they are getting the first frag, but they're not capitalizing on that. They're not pushing onto the bomb side. The CTs don't seem to be feeling the pressure once that frag comes into play. They're still facing, they're still taking the audacious plays, getting AWP shots, and that's what Happy did before. Like, as soon as he saw his teammate go down, he picked up the AWP himself and has made it work. 4 frags in a row, and that must have been so difficult for NiP to swallow after that.
Yeah, it's been nothing can quite seem to work for them, and Envyus are just hitting all their shots. Their plays are working as well. We saw, for example, the way that they were playing towards B. They weren't doing it all the time, but the times when they were leaving MBK there just defensively, and he was saving his smoke to the last possible second. They're playing 4 towards A. It always looks like it's Envyus's CT round. It's their round, their map.
They're
basically
controlling the whole state of play right now. So the fact MBK can show the presence at the start with the early smokes and flashes, like NiP's natural reaction to that is just to hold back and let the smokes run down. But they've got the smoke to go across the map, land there, and it still holds NiP off. And MBK is playing that position where he's kind of just facing and getting enough information and not dying. So he has enough time to call, and he has, like you said, he has the smoke in his arsenal as well. He can chuck that down, delay them for another 10 seconds, and he can get the teammates over. And it's that kind of play that's really locking down NiP. What I'd like to see them do is go for a more strategic approach. They need to lock down these players quite early on. So we saw that it would have worked before. Had they waited for that smoke to bloom in CT spawn as they went in, they would have won that round, hands down. But a bit slightly sloppy from them, running in a bit too early. We've seen a lot of mistakes from them this round. Like we saw on the pistol round, they're running past key choke points without checking them. They need to slow things down, get the proper execution on the bomb side, let the smokes come up, and then go in together. Save the Molotovs for the post-plant situations. As right now, there hasn't really been any clutch real plays from them. The bomb hasn't been down. It hasn't been a one-on-one moment. They haven't even got themselves into that position.
That's actually very true. We haven't seen a lot of those like super late clutch spots.
Yeah, because the bomb's not going down at all. The only time the bomb's going down is when they force it on an eco round.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's, I guess, should be the first point of discussion, is that they're not getting bombs planted. Because, of course, that also allows you to have more options when you get the extra money going. You don't have to eco as much. We have seen a lot of ecos from them. And Envyus are always reading the money situation so well that they're always playing everyone super far back. Yeah. We did see three kills in a bomb plant in the previous one, even despite Envyus playing it kind of perfectly as far as their approach. But still, that's not going to be good enough here. 9-3, this is where NiP needs to just put their foot down and stop it.
It's the perfect time to do the pause though. As I say that though, like when you take a pause, right, like the other team gets that time to kind of reconcile themselves
like
as well.
What are they thinking about?
So like my idea, like
I
would suggest that NiP will try and do that approach or do something more tactical or execute a proper set piece. But if I was Envyus, this is the time I'd push down.
Mid, guys.
I'd rush down, absolutely. I'd take the AWPer towards B perhaps and go for the initial pick, see what they're doing. I'd send people down middle, smoke it off, cause chaos so they can't execute the new idea they've got to the table.
This is actually the time to do that, because we've entered like psychological warfare territory where clearly as you say, like timer comes in because there are problems.
Yeah,
they're trying to fix problems.
How can we fix this? You try to adapt to it, and that's the problem. You try to adapt to the situation, but the other team has got all this time as well to adapt. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how this one goes down.
All the money, they got the round buffer.
That's the thing.
They're feeling good. It's like they can just do something completely stupid, and if they win with it, you can just crush someone. Actually, you always get this feeling when you're playing a match. I mean, I've had this in like any game. It gets to a point in a competition where sometimes you realize that you're just in the guy's head. Like you can just feel that they're struggling. Nothing's kind of going right for them, and you can start taking like weird risks. And then if it works, it gets even worse for them. But you've got to be careful that you don't take them too early. You're in the wrong
spots. There's a fine line between a risk and a stupid decision, right?
Yeah.
So pushing down middle, like I said, I might have exaggerated a little bit what they should do. But if you can get a decent smoke down the bottom of middle and have the AWPer face into second mid, for example, just going for that early pick, even just taking down one player, completely ruins the new approach they had. Like he could be a key part of that strategy they're employing. So just going, basically you want to go for an early pick, do something to surprise the team just to kind of lock them down. You don't want to do something really stupid like I said, all 5 running down middle or something like that. You need to, there is a fine line.
Hey, well, I saw Gplay make that work a few times, so
that's true actually.
I mean, you can do 3 mid, 2 banana, with all the nades. Could work. That's actually interesting though, especially because if it also depends if Envyus, how often they've been facing Smiths on mid and how often NiP have been seeing that, and whether they even want to try to duel and take the risk to duel him in that situation. Because if you actually think, okay, actually, I don't think they're going to challenge us on middle straight away, you can do that play really safely. You can even push people down, and it's actually pretty safe if you feel like they won't actually be facing anybody on the steps, on the T-slope. So there's lots of little things for edges that Envyus can play with. It almost works out better for them to have this pause as well in some senses, although their momentum does get interrupted a little bit as well. So,
well, I'd like to see them like now. Envyus, I calling it right now. They're going to start mixing up the opposition. Smith will not be Arch every single round. You'll see him do something a little bit more crazy
or something.
Yeah, I'm calling that right now. That's going to happen just to kind of surprise NiP and like so they're trying to do. Is we have seen Forrest walking out middle. We saw the round he actually blasted Smith's head off when he had the AWP. So like they know that's there and they know it's an opportunity. So it wouldn't surprise me if Forrest went for that again. He goes, no, guys, I know I can make that shot. Let me try again. If he's not even there this time, it could be like something to throw them off their game a little bit.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, Envyus has never really been playing 3 at the start of the round on B, so there isn't a fast timing that NiP can say, well, we think they're going to do that now. I mean, that's a bit too risky, and that is actually a counter strat to some teams who do that quite a lot. It was an for ages, a time would do that player quite a lot, and it would be very effective, and you could counter strat it, but I don't think they're going to do that because they've been playing 2 on B. But what they could do is Envyus indeed they could actually put an AWP there because there should be more. The NiP should be trading better on Banana. I think that is like the most obvious thing. Because MBK has been getting away with a lot of stuff on Banana.
He has, and that's what's been so strong for them. The fact he can be left there alone and allows 4 players to be on the A-bomb site. It's really difficult to lock that down, especially a team like NiP who seem to be focusing so much on middle right now. They keep going up there, and they are making it competitive. The frags are being exchanged. It's just the blood we said before. The bomb's not going down. There's no clutch situation to be had. There's not even a 50-50 chance of who might win it. They're getting like they'll get the first initial entry frags, and then all of a sudden just get completely locked down by someone like Happy, who comes in and returns, picks up the AWP, and it all goes crazy. Yeah,
because I mean the other thing as well is that part of T-side play is being able to delay rotation, because it creates a situation where you'll have a high percentage to win the round on the post plant. Your team has more time to actually take positions, more time to work out who's coming from where, what's really going on, how to cover each other, like what's on the floor. Can I have time to grab this rifle that was dropped by the CT or something? You get all the time to play with, and that makes the retake much harder. But that's actually another thing that's happened, is that it's always been the case that Envyus is just always in their face straight away. The rotation is instantly coming in. There's no way that they've been able to delay it. They haven't been getting that guy in boiler. He's not been surviving for long enough. We'll see like a 1-for-1 maybe, but then it's an instant rotation. So lots to be done here for NiP. And looks like we're going to be going into the match here, unpaused. It's 9-3 right now. We just had a tactical timeout from NiP. Can they rein it in? Can they sort out their issues and bring back some rounds? Get it to 9-6. So Smith is on the up, but where is he going? Okay, he's actually going towards boiler side at the moment, or quad side. And Happy is close. Oh, he's actually going to just straight up peek there at the beginning and now fall back behind the smoke. Interesting stuff. Now there's a T-smoke as well on that choke point. So fast control of Banana, which is what we were talking about from NiP.
And now they've got that control. This is the position where they can get out middle together, because the CTs have no vision of what's going on. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw the CTs do a flash push here just to get that information back and see what the Ts are up to.
So we get these there's some flashes there from Envyus. They're playing 3 towards quad side. That's actually really strong if we see the A play come in from NiP. But they're just taking it easy at the moment.
That's what I'm talking about. They're so going to be so focused on Smith being there with the AWP. They've just moved his position. They'll think it'll be safe to walk up. But look at that setup they've got there. It's so scary at the top of the middle.
We're seeing the bomb move up Banana as well. So we have the B player that's going to come in, and the job of Forrest is to delay rotation, is to cut off these players, is to provide presence, and also to try to hopefully get some frags for NiP. But he's actually just not going to spot anything just yet, because we have no aggression from Envyus. He just has to keep himself alive, keep the presence going. He's tossing in the nades, and he is definitely distracting Envyus at the moment. But Shox actually is going to float back towards B, so they're kind of working this out. Oh no! Worst possible thing for NiP. They lose Forrest straight away. That's going to give away the play. There's a flank coming in. MBK onto Freiburg with a defensive kill. He's got a great position at the back of the site. Teammates coming in. Alu comes in with an entry though, and Shox over the top front coils with a spray down on the AK-47. Looking terrible right now for NiP. They just have get right. And again, Envyus they worked it out, and they just crushed it.
It was so weird. Like, Forrest had done his job. Like, the presence had been made, and the CTs had rotated. Like, as far as he was concerned, like, there was nothing more he could do there. NiP waited so long before they actually reacted and got in. Had they, like, once they'd been spotted and he kind of made the CTs fall back a little bit and they missed the AWP shot on him, that's the moment to go in. Go in fast. Like, don't wait for them to react. And, like, by the time they'd even started going in, there were 3 CTs over a Banana. So, like, it was such an obvious, like, play. And here we go. Shox now. This is what I'm talking about. They've got this position now. They can do anything they like. Go for frags. Unfortunately, Freiburg will take out Happy, and this is the position now. NiP on a forced buy need to capitalize on this.
Yeah, so that risk to just completely crush NiP has fallen short a little bit for Envyus, but they still have, of course, every opportunity to change this. They're playing 2 to a site. It's an early round advantage player-wise for NiP, so they can really just create a good situation for themselves. Now they know that there should be 2 players on the B bomb site unless Envyus are going for a gamble, but they have no reason to really gamble heavily on a bomb site here.
Well, they've got the AWP over on the B bomb site now, like we discussed about, but I'm not sure that's going to be able to be that effective, especially when the AKs are so close. MBK trying to get some information here. Will he be able to find a frag? And I think there's an overextension from him. Ali taking him down. Smith will be alone now on the B bomb site.
Yeah, so they're going to go for the split onto B or NiP. Now they can leave a player in CT as well to cut off the A players. This is a perfect situation for NiP. This is what they've been waiting for or trying to play for so long. But Smith, he could still make their lives hell as he takes down Freiburg. Looks for second shots here, but can't connect one just yet. He is known right now. His position really sucks. The flash comes in. It will not save him. Exist will pick him off finally, but in comes Shox. Oh my god, this guy is scary already. Taking down 2 players. Massive kills there from Shox. Just Get Right left. He will take down Shox. He's the only answer for this guy. Oh, and Get Right with the clutch. NiP, they'll take another round thanks to this man. And he really seems like the only solution for Shox at the moment.
God, that was really scary there. Like, Shox is just playing out of his
mind. Terminator,
He's so
the
sick,
French Terminator.
Guy. Yeah, like when you see him get in that position, he starts hitting 1-bullet shots. Like, it's really difficult to lock down. They're very lucky they managed to do that. Good start from NiP. There was a force buy from them. They had Tech 9s, they had Galils, managed to react to that Envyus push. They're very lucky they didn't actually, they made the right decision, got into Banana quickly. Like, Smiths was locked down there with the AWP. He missed a couple of shots there, in fact. Like, had he have been on form and hit those shots, that could have been a different story. But that was a good round from NiP. It's going to be a difficult buy for them again, but Alu has picked up the AWP now.
And Forrest is looking for the boiler pick as well, as we get a normal map control spread from NiP across the map. Banana control, apartments control. Now it's all about pushing the CTs out of middle so that they have no idea what's going on and they can make the A or the B play. But will they be able to do that? We do have Smith who's hiding. Oh, they got 2 arch side. This is actually really nice because you can play trades here. And you can Smith can bait his teammate to get some frags. Alu's peeking with the AWP though. He's looking for Smiths. His teammates abandoned him right now. He's going to hear the stepping. What is Smith going to do in this spot? If he picks the perfect time, he gets a flash. Oh, he's going to get a flash from Shox. He goes for the peek. Oh, he gets the instant frag onto Alu. Oh, and the second one as well. Forrest hits the ground. And NiP are left crippled. Smith, will he get away? Well, Get Right has something to say about that. He's going to pick up the kill. And we'll have a 4-on-3 in favor of Envyus. I feel like I'm saying in favor of Envyus quite a lot so far. And once again, we'll have NiP looking for that Hail Mary into B. Happy in a perfect position. It's going to gun down Freiburg as they make their entry. Once again, it's Get Right who's left alone. He's got 2 kills already. He's going to go in, take down the player on Pool as well. The Tech 9 is just running rampant there into this B bomb site. He has to go for the instant plant, but no, he's going to fake it. Can he get the fast frag? And a Shox? No! Shox will pick up the kill, and that's going to be another round there for Envyus.
Really strong half of them. That play from Smiths in the garbage area there was so strong. I loved that flashbang he did. He heard the footsteps, called him for the backup from his teammate, and instead of facing and like trying to react to footsteps, he actually called in his teammate. It was so perfect. Big 2-man spray down, put NiP in another difficult situation, forcing themselves into the B bomb site. But the CT still had all their utility. Like, they were just waiting for them. Smokes went down, carnage ensued again, and it was just another difficult half from NiP. Like, they never seemed that comfortable in it. The only rounds they won were like the really fast plays, and they kind of got lucky on the first picks, and we saw them win the round as well, where they had the 4 skills as well. So like, no real rounds being very satisfactory to them. They didn't nothing really were clinical. Nothing really went their way that frequently. But there we go. This 11-4 is not the worst scoreline in the world. It's still very winnable for them, but they just need to ensure they win this pistol, I think.
Yeah, it was very much Envyus kind of making the mistakes by taking the risks. And so here we have the pistol in and Get Right with the classic dualies, the smoke as well as indeed it's the classic combo.
I'm not a fan of these dualies. I haven't seen them do.
But they have the Swedish colours, my friend.
That's true. What was I thinking?
All right, here we go. We have NiP's Get Right with the dualies. He's getting close. He's going to be spouting them through the smoke. Oh, he gets the first kill. That's it, though. Traded immediately. And Freiburg has to keep himself alive right now. He cannot get overwhelmed by these T players with the Glocks. And he does have his teammate moving in to give him some aid at the moment. 3 teammates. They try to pick some shots through the smoke. And you can see Exist knows his angles very well through that smoke. So that's really nice, good homework there from him. But Kiyoshima close on the choke point through that door. This is going to be tough. Oh, the first shot there is fantastic. Wow. Oh, Kiyoshima going huge. 2 quick kills there towards construction, shutting it down. MBK gets one towards Paul as well, leaving it all on Exist as there are now 2 players left. He's going to make his way in. The bomb is ticking faster and faster. He's got a kit, but he needs frags immediately right now. But they're not peeking him. Oh, and MBK, he's going to finish the job and take the round there. And this looks like it could go quite quickly here as Envyus put themselves in a very strong position. Yeah,
really simple strat from Envyus. They're getting into the B-bomb so quickly, but this was the key moment. Kiyoshima actually had the odds stacked against him. He didn't have any backup there. He's in a difficult position. Somehow makes those 2 glorious headshots there, and that's what completely won them the round. And great stuff, and that's going to be one of the first nails in the coffin for NiP, and it's going to be a difficult situation for them now. They have gone for a full eco here almost. They've got some PT50s to hand, but PT50s, but there we go. Let's see how it goes down for them.
Yeah, I agree with the full eco, definitely. I mean, they need to get their full buy rounds in. That's the most consistent way that they can try to win this one. Because they're really good on their full buy rounds. I mean, we'll have to see if the 4-man stack with the pistols can actually give them some damage at least. But, of course, Envyus are scouting here. Kiyoshima's just trying to see what he can find, but he's going to get dinged, so he actually won't get much information there. They actually have no idea where the stack is at the moment.
As they look at it in middle, 2 either side, this could be deadly for Envyus if they go up that position.
MBK is actually going to peek out just now. He's spawning for Ali, but he won't see him just yet. Gets hit in the back of the head with a bullet from one of these CT players on Arch side, and he's going to just drop into the boiler right now. I don't know if he's spotted, so yeah, we're going to move in now as well. He needed some information, but we will have a cleanup coming in. Nobody dead yet for Envyus. A couple players low, but no frags. That's really, really sad for them. As NiP try to get it done. Forrest will get a think of his own. They're all so low. But only 1 kill here. And he will pick up the Mac 10 that he's found on the floor, though. He's got no armor. That's really unfortunate. Shox is going to try to find him here.
That was actually all about Smiths. Like, it looked like a difficult position for Envyus there. They were getting dinked all over the place in middle. He just made for a call to go into the B's bomb site by himself. Established, he got himself the kill and established there was no CT players there. That pulled the stack apart in middle, and that allowed Envyus to capitalize on that, get the initial frags falling back from the site. And so yeah, all down to Smiths there. That could have gone a different direction had they not got that entry frag into B.
Alright, so the bomb is just going to explode. Ali will try to save this Mac 10, and you can, of course, effectively use these SMGs now. Oh, did he spot Smiths? I think he did, actually. Oh, a bit of extra bank there for him. And, well, what can NiP pull out the bag now? They've got the second eco coming in. Oh, actually, they're going to force it up? Okay. They are going to go for it. It's not going to go for the full huge buy. They want to get it in right now.
This is make or break for NiP. If they lose this round, it's pretty much game over. The fact they've got 2 SMGs, well, 3 SMGs, alright, that's a UMP there. A FAMAS and M4 is a very important round. They're trying to take a leaf out of the Envyus playbook, I think.
And they have 3 players towards B as well. So Freiburg gets pop flashed in here. They have to rely upon him and his prowess on the B banana area. Right. Exits in a good position. Oh, wow, look at Shox. He's just going for it right now. This is Shox at his most deadly, just moving up. He's crouching through all the angles. Oh my goodness, almost going undetected. Shox entered stealth mode, but he will get taken out. And we have Happy and MBK picking up a couple of frags as well. So NiP losing a lot of aim jewels here, and it's really gutting right now. They should really try to save these weapons. Oh no, the bomb is down. It's taken away. You've got 2 players in pit with AK-47s. Kiyoshima running through boiler. They will hear him. Could get the frag, and there it is. Can he get the AK? He's going to try to play for that with the smoke, and it's going to happen.
I think that's all he's going to be able to get out of this round. Looking for a couple more exit frags there, but unfortunately for NiP, they went all in, and it hasn't paid off. Saving a couple of guns is the best they can do. They get right upgraded to an AK. It'll be very useful next round, but that's devastating for NiP. Like that, we saw Envyus do this against Dignitas, and it paid off for them. And that was the moment we said, had they lost that round, it's the GG. And this is the moment where NiP could be looking at another map loss and going 2-0 here.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be really tough on them at this point in time. Another force up. Been to the car boot sale, and they've picked up a random assortment of weapons.
It's so horrible. What can you do here?
Yeah, it's going to need a miracle now. Okay, Freiburg's going to spot a couple players. They are coming up fast there towards that B bomb site. They're not messing around right now. Freiburg should spot it. And, well, NiP are not going to overreact, which is smart. Just going to hold as they find themselves in the default positions. We get the smoke over towards Arch, I think that was for. That will allow Envyus to slowly take control of this this middle area, and already Smiths will get the entry. Forrest just randomly spraying through the smoke there, hoping desperately to connect something. But Alu's managed to find himself a position in the flank. He wants to get closer before he does go for the kill here on Happy. And there it is, he will find the kill. That's going to give Forrest a bit of breathing room right now, as he was getting challenged by Happy. And the entire lineup of Envyus switching up their bomb site to B. And NiP realized, but will they be? Well, they won't be fast enough here. So very nicely done by Envyus. This is so hard right now for NiP. I mean, this is going to be a retake if they want to go for it against 4 players that have all the time in the world to set up perfectly.
Well, they're not going to win this round. They need to just decide now whether they go for the massive uphill struggle, or they just kind of end the game right now. I would suggest. Well, to be honest, I think this map might be over, unfortunately, for NiP. They haven't really put up much of a battle, and they will be going for this. The guns will be sacrificed. Alu and Forrest, time is ticking away. What can they do in this situation?
Yeah. I think you're right, though. I think there was a really nice moment there where they could have just saved. and just try to play with the AKs on the next round. Because it still would have been a better buy than what they had.
Is it worth the effort at this stage of the game?
You think they should just get Inferno out of the way, where just leave it as a distant memory?
I know it's a pessimistic thing to say, but like if they're going to get back into this one and take it to overtime, I just don't believe the current form Envyus are in. They've got such a cushion to play with. They can just do crazy rushes for now. They're going to win around eventually.
They had enough for actually some nades with the rifles as well, so it wasn't as bad as we thought. So well, NiP, they're going to be trying to do it with Alu here. Oh, fast round here from Envyus. They're going straight up quad. Will they actually catch NiP out of position? Almost. Forrest does get behind the blue truck just in time. Can he do his stellar play here? We're so used to seeing, but no, Kiyoshima will take him down straight away, only after a single frag. Assist with a big job to do. We'll drop the bomber straight away as they go in, surrounding him right now. It's looking so hard here for NiP. Once again, 3 players left for Envyus as Freiberg and GetRight are going in right now, but the bomb will be planted and GetRight is going to go through the smoke and see what he can find. He sees they put a gun there, but they will double peek him, and it's all on Freiberg. In with the M4, gets the first kill, but that's going to be it, 16-4. And NiP with another very convincing defeat there. And Envyus look so good right now against NiP. And this is what we have seen in previous NiP Envyus matchups. There seems to be almost a mental block.
It's really difficult to tell you what's going wrong, like from a tactical point of view. Like the fact is, NiP are running the same strats they do against every other team. It's just the situation is that Envyus are fragging them every single time. The playbook of NiP is walking out together, player for player, getting the frags and out aiming the players. But when you have players like Shox, Happy, hitting everything and like not backing down whatsoever, it's very difficult for that playstyle of NiP's to actually be effective. You can see the GetRight is head in his hands there, working out what he can do to get back into this. But I think they need to go for a more tactical approach now. They're not going to out-aim these players. They need to pull out the playbook and see what they have in there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be going on to Cash, and I mean, Cash, the problem is that out of the first 3 maps, I would have said that would be the best one for Envyus. I would expect like a really strong T side. That's and that that would really tax the fact that the CT side is where NiP usually get it done. So I do believe we have the analysts standing by, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we're waiting.
Oh, we're waiting for them.
Dan.
Sorry.
Come on, be professional.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to throw it in there. But yeah, so they're going on into a Cash situation where this is out of the first 3 maps, this plays most to Envyus. So what do they do here? What do they actually do?
This is the problem. Like Cash, I think we all thought like that's Envyus map. They're absolute monsters on that. Like it's their home turn. I believe they're one of the best teams next to VP on that map, of being the best in the world on Cash. If they get a strong start and they get the CT first, like it's just going to be impossible to shut them down. It'll be more of the same, unfortunately. But NiP, I think they should use this time effectively. Take a little bit of a break. Work out what's going on. They're currently 2-0 down the grand final of the best of 5. One more map and like going away for them is going to be in a loss and another defeat at the hands of Envyus.
All right, guys. Well, we will take a quick little breather, a little break, and then we'll be back with the analysts.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Gfinity Arena. I wanted to say we're all tied up 1-1, but my quick observations are two things. They were even on the pistols. Both teams won one pistol each map. That's where the evenness ended. Yeah. And then what really struck me is odd, and when we get to the second map, definitely want to talk to you guys about it, but NiP uses a tactical timeout, which I love the idea of. Great stuff, get a chance to reset. But they don't call that timeout till they're already down 9-3 on that first half of Inferno.
Well, I mean, to be fair to that, I guess you've got to give it a bit of time to realise, we are in a bit of a hole here. And I know you only got 3 more rounds to play with, but the difference between 9-5 even, 10-5 and a 9-6, but the difference between getting just a couple of extra rounds there can be vitally important. But that said, I mean, it's like NiP don't know they're in a final. I came here and I still think in my head this is what made sense based on what we'd seen unfold over the course of the tournament. That Envyus they hadn't hit that champagne Counter-Strike that we can see them do from time to time. They'd really laboured. They looked absolutely awful on Dust 2 against Dignitas and beat them 16-8. That shouldn't be happening ever to Envyus. That's one of their strongest maps. And then NiP have just been poor. I mean, Get Right looks like he's in his own personal hell right now on the stage because he's playing incredibly well. He's still doing what Get Right does, but everybody else on the team's let him down. In particular, I've got to say, we talked about how Exist had that little break, a little holiday, from calling. He came back refreshed. He started fragging again. He's got 15 kills on 2 maps. This is a final. You cannot not show up like that. And NiP right now got the backs to the wall, got it all to do. And let's be clear as well. I mean, Envyus have just looked ridiculous. Just absolutely imperious. This is the best they've played all tournament. They've saved it to the right time.
Yep.
Yeah, the problem is, when we were discussing like conditions, what could NiP do to have a chance in this? I did say one light at the end of the tunnel. Get Right, if he does play top level Counter-Strike like he has been doing the last few months, he can be in the conversation for like one of the best players in the game. At the moment, he's the second best player in the server. The problem here for him is the 4 people on his team aren't even close to the other players from Envyus. So it's true. Shox is playing he's playing some, especially on Inferno there, some Unreal level CS. He's very, very good. But the thing is, he's not on his own. He's been joined by almost everyone else. Even Smiths was sort of styling on those guys. I mean, on that last map there, the domination was so much for Envyus. You might not have noticed, Shox had 25-8 in kills to deaths. So that's over 3 kill to death ratio, which is like ludicrous numbers. Because usually you're supposed to die as well as get your 25 kills, So that ratio is supposed to be going down.
Not today, baby.
I mean, 18 kills just with the AK, just absolutely mopping up. And obviously he's just taking that AK. He's not dying. He's just taking it from the terrorists and just killing everyone. So Get Right's doing what he could. He actually won him a couple of rounds single-handedly there. Otherwise it would have been even worse. The key thing to point out here is, remember, NiP won the first pistol round. But immediately Envyus came back. They force-bought and they just won out immediately. So yeah, it's kind of tough to see if you NiP what's going to change on the third map at this point, because these first 2 have been so dominant. The first one, fairly dominant, and then this one, just absolutely dominant.
And look at that stat there as well. Keep in mind, they've won 4 rounds. Well, Get Right's kind of clutch for 2 of them. do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's unbelievable how...
and Envyus have won 0 clutches on that.
Yeah, well, they've never had to.
Yeah, and you even
never had a clutch.
And like Kiyoshima did bottom stack on his side, but like that pistol round of his, and killing those 2 guys in construction, that's round win right there. Amazing stuff.
Exactly, but I think as well what was perhaps disappointing from the NiP perspective is they haven't even really been beaten by any tactical genius here. This isn't... The Envyus haven't saved some sort of tactics, and the reason they were bad earlier in the tournament was because they had an ace up their sleeve that they were desperate to deploy in the final. They are literally going wherever they want on the map. They're not even grouping up. They're going like, we'll send 1 or 2 over. We're going to get a kill. We're going to get an entry. And do you know what's been particularly good about them? The way they're trading. So even if NiP managed to get a kill, that's all they're getting. They're getting that 1, and then it's a trade, and then the site's wide open. And that's reflected in the statistics by the fact that actually the disparity in kills, on both maps for Envyus is pretty close together. I mean, Shox obviously godlike, but Smiths has been amongst it. And basically, if you look at NiP, stark contrast, you've got Get Right, and then by the time it gets to the bottom, it's actually quite an embarrassing gap between the amount of kills. So, and not even getting into double figures, some of them. But, people like Arlu as well, who we've talked about how he's got to step up.
He's been pretty disappointing, actually, in this final. In this tournament in general, the funny thing is, he's going to seem like he isn't, if you remember, because you remember the crazy rounds he had on Cobblestone. But first of all, that was against SK. That wasn't against the top-level teams. That was against the worst team in the tournament, basically. And then Since then, I think the problem with Alu is his first few months in NiP were so stellar that you were like, wow, because he'd always been one of those like stars in a bad team. You were like, wow, it turns out he's legit. He is a legit star player. He's a top 10 player in the world. And he was, at one point, the one rock they had. Then Get Right joined him, and you were like, right, well, they've got, they don't have Forest anymore, but they've got a new two-man tandem to go.
Here we go.
And the problem is, as the months have gone on, it's not that he's bad, he's just having less and less impact on the game. And so in terms of numbers, he's not having the impact. But also, he doesn't get those like super clutch AWP kills he used to get. That was the thing. He used to just be really good under pressure with the AWP. He wasn't like the best AWPer, the one who hit the craziest shots. He was just really good under pressure. He's been a non-factor on both maps here. So I feel like he has to at least join Get Right if they're going to have a chance. Forrest's been okay. He's had these odd times, but aside from Get Right, no one else on NiP's playing like this is a grand final. They think they can win this final even. Some of the other ones, that's what's so shocking about Exist, is that if you just, Exist's never going to dominate the game, but if you get him into some of those scenarios, get him into a 1v1, a 2v2, some of them, then he actually does have like a winner's mentality. He'll take over, he'll win that 2v2, and you'd almost think he doesn't know that he's not a star player, but he's been non-existent. He's invisible in this game at the moment. Meanwhile, the guy I usually think of as the worst on Envyus is Smiths. And Smiths is like, he looks loose as anything. Like, hey, listen, all my mates are here. We're all wrecking everyone. So as a result, hey, I can do this as well. I can kill people here.
Rifling.
Yeah.
Rifling
Doing anything he wants to.
Yeah.
So obviously, do or die time for NiP on cash. Not something to be happy about.
Not the map you want to do it on either.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, for me, the only window of opportunity, and this is a feature of Envyus, is when they get so far ahead in games, when it is this easy for them, there's this almost contemptuous air about it. Like, this is, look, this is beneath us. Like, actually, we're not even playing against an opponent of an equal level here. So when you have that, then sometimes the mistakes can creep in, the errors can creep in, the force buy after force buy after force buy after force buy, and suddenly their economy's wrecked and they lose a map and they think, what was that about? That is literally the only way I can see NiP getting back into this final. I don't want a 3-0. I don't think the crowd want a 3-0. I don't think anybody wanted a 3-0. But right now, this is one of Envyus' best map. Yeah, well, yeah, okay.
And so does
Apart from Envyus. Oh, yeah, and obviously the prediction lord over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, this is a real tall order for NiP. They've got to have a godlike game here.
Yeah, actually, it's similar to what I said before the show started. I predict 3-0 because I look at the three maps and I say I think Envyus is going to win them. But I said, in a weird way, it's like they should lose a map just because of their character, who they normally are in these series. And so that's the only scenario I see for NiP to get back into this, is to get this next win because Envyus is overconfident or they just don't care and they'll force buy away and they won't just say, right, we'll play conservative to try and close the series. They'll think it doesn't matter, we're going to win anyway. The problem is, even if that happens, that might not be enough at the moment. The gap is so large. If someone makes a mistake, sometimes that's not enough. You have to be able to capitalize on it as well. And right now, who's going to get the kills when they do these bold plays, etc.? It actually feels like it's not that Envyus at the moment have been playing totally recklessly. They play a bit recklessly initially when they kind of have like the room to. But then if they do get into like a 3v4, the people who are left over play reasonably sensible at that point. So as long as they keep it within bounds like that, and they're not just like absolutely rushing out and going through every single smoke and every single Molotov, sitting in it forever, then they should still win. I mean, in general, this level that Envyus is at right now is actually reminiscent, not of anything in this tournament, not of anything in Star Series, but of the old Envyus, the one that was the top 2 team in the world. So, I don't know. This is somehow on the very last day, in the very last match, they've found that form. You know, you can't let them get to this point. Dignitas, you could have put them away.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see, can NiP win a map, keep their dream alive, or is Envyus going to sweep them and take a 3-0? Again, bringing you the action once again, Henry G and DDK. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so it's cash, Henry G. It is cash. Please.
I'm not believing that.
Please make a prediction.
I'm really not believing.
Sounds good.
I like
give us some hope.
NiP,
give us some faith.
unfortunately, the hype is not there. Like, they're getting out-aimed in every situation. NiP, like, against almost every other team beneath them, like, they can out-aim them, and this play style they adopt of walking together, out-aiming players, it works fine. But as soon as they play against a team that can outskill them, they look completely lost, and that's what happened there on Inferno. Like, there was no moments I thought, okay, this could be a close game. They're gonna get the bomb down. Just to touch on that, like, you looked on the the heat map there, it tells you how many clutches went down. 0 for Envyus. 0 clutches
yeah.
required. The bomb didn't go down once in any sort of situation. And to me, that suggests that there's not enough execution going on. Like, if the fragging's not working for you, you need to start deploying the smokes, the molotovs, flushing the CTs out, and evolving your game. And I think that's been a big problem for NiP in the last, ever since their most dominating days, when that playstyle, when they were the best team, like they could rely on that. But now there's teams that are better than them. They need to change their game up and their playstyle completely. So Dcash, Envyus' map, they've got all the momentum. They're the ones playing much better. It's to be, like Thorin said, I actually really agree with him. This is going to come down to Envyus making some key mistakes rather than NiP doing something to outplay them completely.
The other thing as well is that it tells you a lot as well. I mean, firstly, the individual style, especially on the T side, it's one of the reasons why they struggle on the T side, because it's inconsistent. That's the first thing. Like,
Absolutely.
With an execute or map control plays, you know what you're going to get from it, and sometimes it can go well, sometimes it can go a little bit wrong, but you always know what you're going to get from it. Whereas if you like just try to peek, like raw peek people, and just go for the one-on-ones, if you're consistently losing those, or you're having a bad day, or something's happening, or you're just running into players that are just generally better than you, and it's already an unfavorable engagement, there's definitely a problem there. And I think we're starting to see that. I think the bomb down, the no bombs being down, no clutches is a huge indicator, just as you said. So hopefully they can fix it here. I do know on the T side that they do like to go for this very pick-based style as well, though.
Oh, here we go. NiP will be starting as the CT side, so this is a chance for them to get some momentum and get back into it.
All right, so what pistol round are we going to see here from Envyus? They're going to go for the straight up B play. This has been quite popular of late, and they are going to get the first entry. Forest, oh my god, he gets completely crushed. The Molotov didn't even need to do anything there, and they'll still get the frag immediately. Alu is just up on the ramp here, trying to see what he can get done, but he's got to wait for his teammates. He can't just peek alone. He needs some kind of distraction from that position, and Happy's there in the vents as well. This looks like a terrible start for NiP on the CT side. Happy holding down the flank here as Exist comes in. Can he win the duel? Oh, well, it's not looking too bad. There's a lot of damage going in there for both players, but it will be Happy who wins that one. So Get-Right just sitting in like, guys,
again,
what just happened?
This has been the story for the whole game. Like Get-Right being left in horrible situations. The thing is, though, that's such like a common tactic right now for the T sides and Cash. We see it almost every land. Like teams just glocking up, one player getting utility to kind of smoke off the choke points. You just get in there, and the team who can frag is going to win. And it's the first frag that's so important. That entry frag. If the CTs can find a silent USP kill as the team run in, they will normally win the round. But Envyus on the form they locked down the 2 frags almost instantaneously. Like there was no looking for the CTs whatsoever. And then since then, the bomb went down. The only kit holder was Alu. He got taken down pretty early as well, and that just looked almost desperate for NiP. And now we can see a force buy from them. Get-Right getting his famous shotgun out. This time he's going for the Nova instead of the Max 7. But in true Envyus style, they're going for a submachine gun setup. Happy with the AK, and they're just scouting on the map. Look how fast this is. Shock's just showing no respect whatsoever. He is running up highway and trying to find out all the information he can.
Oh, this is so fast. This is a nice play. And split immediately here. Already getting the entry. Shox is jumping on in. He's going to go down here. So some good kills initially, but it's going to be the cleanup from Envyus. Kiyoshima just rolling in with the Mac 10. And Freiberg here with the Deke. He's got to get a 1-on-3 for his team. Will actually just go down to MBK. So not much luck found by NiP there with that force up. So just well, actually wasn't a full force either though. So that's okay. They will have a lot of money going into their buy round. And depends what they want to invest here. How much are they going to throw into this round? Just a few pistols. So yeah, it's still going to have a lot of cash going into the buy round. So they should be able to get the AWP on Ali straight away if they want it.
Yeah, I think they'll have to. They'll have to adopt that style of him picking random points on the map. They need to stop this pain train coming in from Envyus, which looks like he's about to arrive at the station, coming in next round.
Yeah, it's definitely arriving into that B-bomb site again. They just know that they can trade super well because their timings are so quick there. And it's going to work out again. And Happy, just same role as that pistol round, just holding into the vent, just denying any access from these CTs. And so far he's able to call everything as well. He's able to call a play going through. Exist will get a nice frag. Ooh, oh no, runs out of bullets. And that's very unfortunate there. Exist could have had that frag. Can he still get it though? No, he won't be able to. Smith will pick it up, and Smith is really making a lot of bank with the Tech 9 there. But it's Get-Right who makes a quick kill, but only 2 members down for Envyus. And okay.
Here we go then.
Here we go.
Everyone calm down.
This is it.
Take a deep breath. Work out what we're going to do. And this is the NiP's time to get the momentum in. Like we said, Alu has taken the AWP. I'd assume he's going middle first. That's the position he favors, the AWP. But a lot of teams know he does that. They smoke him out, force him to the sandbags area, and that's when he finds trouble there. It'll be very interesting. And fluff smoke there from Envyus, actually.
That could actually give NiP an opportunity here. Yes, it will. Alu has a clear shot, clear vision. Forest with the spray down, takes 2 players out who were up on that boost spot. And there you go. We've got a big advantage, and that is a key mistake from Envyus with the messed up smoke that gave Alu the first kill and gave Forest the ability to have some angels. But can NiP bring this into a clean round? That's what they need here. They need to build that economy straight away. Envyus, they just want to throw a wrench straight in there. Now, we've got Kiyoshima just over by middle. And Happy, he's going to get the frag against Get Right towards A as well. So what extra damage can they do here? They've got NiP down to 3 players now. Thoris is really weak. Alu's spotted in mid. 50 seconds left on the clock as well. Lots of options here for Envyus with 2 players left, to be honest. And they have a Molotov on Happy as well, so they could actually, if they can get into B, they can use that Molotov very effectively. But Freiberg with a great position here outside. Looking for the first frag, gets the angle, perfectly done there by Freiberg. Can't get the second one, but that's okay. He'll make the call. Unfortunately, though, Forrest is on 3 HP, so Happy could very well clutch this. Alu has to hit the shot. He cannot let them go past. Oh, and that grenade was perfect there. Happy able to get himself across the choke point. He wants the fast one-on-one. There's 20 seconds left in the round as he goes and crawls forwards there, just trying to find that shot, and they're very well done by Alu, not trying to face from spawn, instead going up the ramp. So well thought out play from Happy, but NiP, they survive with 2 players.
This is the thing we were talking about before the game. Like, any rounds at the moment that NiP are going to get is going to be down to the mistakes of Envyus. And we saw that smoke being fluffed at the start of the round. That allowed Alu to get the opening AWP frag. And fortunately for NiP, that's great for them. Now they've got a decent bankroll. It did come down to a clutch situation yet again. Happy did look like he almost played that perfectly. But he will be able to do a full buy this round. He's got the AWP himself. Alu managing to save it from last round as well. And it seems like a change of pace here for Envyus. They seem to be sending like a setup here for a mid boost, maybe an explosion. We see them do that quite a lot, sending a few players up onto the roof.
Yeah, and we have Alu spots the pixel there. Oh, what a flick there from Alu. That was fantastic with the AWP. And now, an early round advantage for NiP. This is going to have them feeling pretty good here, and this is nice. You'd never really want to smoke A main too much against Envyus. They will set up against executes behind it. So this is a really nice angle here for GetRight to make an opening kill. And if they get them down to 3 players before they push onto a site, that's perfect for NiP. That's exactly what they need to win this round well. And they're so close to making the picks. Oh no, GetRight, just as they move. The timing. Oh, the timing. We've all been there. Okay, so still just waiting to see what Envyus are going to do right now. There's 45 seconds left, and they're going to go for that push through. And oh, wow. GetRight, that's such a nice spray down. He saw the trajectory from those grenades through the smoke. And GetRight, he knew exactly how to play that one. 5 versus 2 now with 30 seconds on the clock. And Envyus are searching for some damage, but Alu's going to shut down MBK in middle by short. And it's just Kiyoshima who's left alive. So this looks pretty good, Henry.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we're talking about. The NiP, I don't think we've seen him string together 2 rounds at all yet in this series whatsoever. The first 2 maps, like, they never even had this control. Now, it was a very clean round for them. Alu finding some form in middle, taking down Happy very early on. Oh, sorry, was that Smith early on? And then GetRight finding those 2 amazing kills through the smoke. Like he said, he saw the trajectory of the smokes flying in and just used his game sense, took them down. That's a great round from them. And that might push Envyus into a difficult position in terms of their economy. Yes, so we can see this is a round is so dangerous from Envyus, right? They get the Tech 9s, the armor, a few smokes, and they run out, and 90% of the time, actually, they win this round. It's so difficult to hold, especially if they can just get the entry frag as well.
But I think NiP are predicting this. They're actually playing way back here. And GetRight's already got the incendiary there. Exist, that will be the point of contact. So here comes the kind of running fast execute from Envyus, and it's really fast onto the side. They won't isolate a player on the side because NiP, by design, they've not left anybody there. GetRight goes in close. Oh, Smith drops Exist straight from the top there. Forrest goes in close. He's got 1 HP. Oh, he gets a second kill with 1 HP as well. He gets a significant damage onto MBK, and bomb is down by the crate. Just taken away there. Sorry, it's just flashing away there as it's not yet been planted. And this looks like a good situation now for NiP, despite being 2-on-2. MBK will pick up an AK. Oh no! Happy finds a fantastic angle onto Freiberg from above. And now he's going to switch up for the AK, but he's going to reveal himself to these T players. Happy still above there. Oh no, MBK, what a peek from him. Finds the instant headshot, and that is a round, a devastating round, as you said. And the money for NiP, oh no.
How do they get away with that round every single time?
Yeah.
Like you even said, NiP was set up for it. They knew it was coming, but it's just so hard to hold. It's so explosive. I think on that round, you need to gain some more control. You can't allow them to do it fully. You need to show some presence at the start, maybe stop the rush completely, like maybe even Molotoving at the start, getting some control and actually pushing them back. It's just every single time they seem to win. I don't know how it happens every single time.
They even delayed the plant, but we're going to have a really big push coming in from GetRight straight for the door, and he's going to go down straight away, so it's a very hard situation indeed. Yeah, usually delaying the plant in that spot is awesome.
Yeah.
You can win the round after that. They're stuck on the side, they don't know what to do, they're in bad positions, but either way, we'll see a quick frag there from Exist before going down towards the A-bomb site, but that will be a plant for Envyus, and they're looking quite strong at the moment. to say the least. And Freiburg's creeping with that Deagle. Now Shox is on the a very nice off angle. This is but Ali's going to spot it. Very well done. That's a very good game sense there from Ali. And Freiburg will finish off the kill though. So Shox goes down and AK-47 will be claimed by Ali. Freiburg finds a 1 Deagle onto Smith as well. But Kiyoshima will take down Forest. So they might be able to get another weapon here as well. Oh, I think they're trying to boost Ali into a nice position to guarantee the save of this weapon, but he'll be spotted. So good damage done here towards the end of the round by NiP, and Freiburg even wins the duel against Kiyoshima there, so every little bit helps.
Just as we were saying, like NiP getting back into this, finding some good form a couple of rounds in a row. They get ecoed once, and all of a sudden it looks like a horrible situation for them. On the CT side, a very CT biased map is Cash, especially when you play it properly. But now Envyus have 5 rounds, and it puts NiP against this massive mountain to climb again. This has happened on both maps so far. Like, they have to dig themselves out of a hole, and right now the way they're playing, they just don't have the skills in their arsenal to actually do that.
And Happy's on a timing right now. He might find the quick pick there towards B storage, but I don't think he did. I think they managed to get past the angle just barely in time. And Happy seems to be looking for those timings a lot. Oh, Ali will win the one-on-one there over by the boost. So NiP holding on to middle. This is good. This is good for NiP. Exist picks up a kill as well towards Shox. So they have managed to hold on to these key positions. The map control plays did not work out for Envyus, but there's still 3 of them left alive. And there is over a minute left for them to play with. The Gary's been quite good at holding down the A site on that angle, even with just a rifle. So will Envyus try to pick him? Happy's going to go for the door position. And if there was a pop flash from a teammate from Kiyoshima, they might be able to get him out there.
Well, Freiburg's got the information now. He's pushed B storage. He's seen that there's no players there. NiP just need to force a plant here now. They don't need to push anymore. Run the time down and force the T's to come onto the bomb side. They've got the man advantage now. They don't need to give anything away. Freiburg here playing a dangerous game.
Yeah, he's going to fall back. It's very smart of Freiburg there, just not facing after spotting the player. Makes the call to a teammate, but Kiyoshima finds the kill onto Ali. Oh no, MBK, what a shot there onto Freiburg. Is able to even things up, and now Getright. He's got to step up and deliver, but that Molotov was perfectly placed. It was completely set up, and Happy picks up the kill. Exist going to roll in from short though to see if he can actually do some damage here and slow down the bomb from going down. He gets some nice tags here, but will he get any kills with that M4? He's running out of bullets, has to reload soon. He's actually only got 2 left.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness. This is awkward to say the least. In comes Forest though. Maybe he can make things a little bit easier for Exist here. He's going to go in. Oh, nice shot though from Happy again. As it's just Exist with his 2 bullets. Has to go for the pistol. Oh, the running shot there. Tries to switch out the weapon, but he is not going to get an opportunity. Kiyoshima takes him down. And Envyus have 6 rounds now on the T side to the 2 of NiP.
What can you do though when you're in a 5-on-3 situation and you're still losing those rounds? It kind of just suggests you're doing something fundamentally wrong. Those situations, like the T should be the ones hunting for the frags. They shouldn't be giving them on the play. They can't just face angles and being given the opportunity to kill you. That's what I'm saying. You have to make them come to the bomb site, make them work really hard to find you. But again, like Envyus just had to wait, and then NiP just dished it up on a plate for them, and now they're in this horrible situation. Another eco, and this just seems to be the story for the entire other series.
Yeah, Kiyoshima in a very good spot here as well. They try to challenge him for the frags, but he's getting a lot of damage. Wow. Oh, that's a nice follow-up. This guy can shoot dudes. He's pretty good at that with that AK-47, and that's a 3 kill for him. And so Getright will be spotted. And getting some damage done there, but it's a clean round overall for Envyus in the end. 7-2. And NiP will pick up the AWP on Alu again. So what is the solution here for them? They're really struggling.
They need to just go back to the fundamentals of their game. We saw Alu getting the picks in middle. That's working for him. I'd like him to change his position, perhaps go for that A main pick. We know Envyus likes to go towards A storage and set up for an execute there. So I'd like to see him kind of get a bit more dynamic and locking down this strategy from Envyus. Alu's actually go for the B face here. So he is changing his mentality, but actually loses the battle there as he's the one that takes most of the damage.
Yeah, no one going down though, interestingly. But we have Forest on the AWP, so the double AWP, so that's very strong on Cash. Forest needs to make sure he hits the shot. Oh, very nicely done by Forest. Takes down Happy. And another nice start here. And Getright can go over the top of the boost here for info. He's got to be careful that they're a man up at this point, so you don't want to give away the advantage, but he's going to go for the big risk. He's going to go for the big play. And that just Getright things right there. Nice timing into that push on A main. Oh, great flash as well. He's going to take down Smith. Getright with a huge play. He will deliver a very strong round, or strong chance to win the round to his team. Kiyoshima is still alive though. He's got 50 seconds left to play with. He can still do a lot of damage to the economy, but Ali will find the kill. Very nice angle with the AWP. And again, Getright has to pull them into out of the abyss and into into something.
You can see the look on his face there. He looks almost fed up, even after getting a huge 3-man there and saving the round.
Yeah.
Like, most people would be celebrating and crazy at that moment, trying to cheer his team on. But as you said, this double AWP setup has come up for NiP, and I said it's most of the time when they do this. Forrest is great at holding angles. He can hold off whole bomb sites by himself and allows Alu to move around the map and do like excited, creative things. But it looks like a very fast A execute here from Envyus. As I said, they actually get locked down with the flashbangs. They've got one player over towards the B storage, and I wouldn't be surprised if he can just hold the players there and allow his teammates to kind of get into the bomb site quite easily. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to go for it straight away. That's a really good incendiary there from GetRight. It does force the player on Squeaky back, but he's going to go down immediately with no frags to save for it. And NiP now 3 players. The 2 AWPs trying to come in here. Oh, there you go, though. Freiberg moving up from short, able to pick up a frag as Forrest is also working in onto them. But now it's a 3-on-3. The bomb is ticking away as well, so that's going to add a nasty dynamic here for Forrest and the rest of his team as they make their way in. Happy on A main also. It's a decent positions here for Envyus to play with. Very scary indeed, and in comes NiP. Freiberg up top. Kiyoshiba running from behind the smoke. Oh, he goes for the spray, and I guess incredibly large amounts of damage onto this CT side. NiP just have 2 players left. That bomb is ticking so fast. Happy has the perfect angle. They have to go for the smoke defuse. They go for the body block, but he sprays them down there, cuts them to pieces with the AK-47, and the bomb will explode. 8-3. Envyus are not stopping anytime soon. After
just winning a round as well, NiP go and lose the one after, and this is going to be in a very difficult situation. You can see the economy. Some players can buy, some can't. They're going for the force, and when you're 8-3 down on the CT side of catch, I think that is the right call. They need to pull something out of the bag. They need to start getting rounds on the board, and it's just going from bad for worse for NiP. It looks like Envy really have found their form, and they're winning every single situation thrown at them.
Absolutely. We've got Kiyoshiba moving in there, but he does get challenged by a quick push from the CTs. We get the kill from Forrest, and Alexis comes into play with his rifle as well. Alu down to 1 HP though as Envyus go for that push onto the A bomb site, but GetRight is in a nice position. Oh, Alu's got a bullet with Shock's name on it, and in comes GetRight with that Max 7, doing excellent damage. And Alu actually has a really, really nice couple kills there, despite being so low on HP. So they will pick up another round, but again, it could be the wrong round to lose as they don't have a lot of money. They have to spend everything again because they lost a few players in the last couple of rounds.
Well, you can see that Envy actually don't have money
themselves. True, yeah.
So I think they'll be okay, but they've got the Tech 9s again. They've got the armor. They've got the smokes. You know what's coming. And it's the hardest thing to hold off I think I've ever seen in Counter-Strike Go. It's just so strong. And here they come, going towards A yet again.
We have a more up-close setup here from NiP. That means that they've got to deliver on the spray downs. First frag from GetRight with that flash. Oh, great stuff again from GetRight. 2 quick kills. Unfortunately, though, Alu went down with nothing to save for it as well. Happy's in connector there, just causing issues, but the bomb goes down again. This gives Envyus so many more buys that they can consistently rely on bomb plants and a lot of economic damage to the CTs. As the retake attempt comes in. 3 versus 2 for NiP as they look to put their 5th round up on the board. But Shox is, oh my god, what on earth was that? Shox picks up a crazy kill. But still, it's just Smith who's left, and he will be finished off by Forrest. So good stuff there from NiP with the cleanup, but they did sustain some damage.
A much better hold from them that time. They knew it was coming. They anticipated it. GetRight in a perfect position. Got 2 big frags of his own. But unfortunately, like you said, the bomb went down again. They managed to pick up 3 frags. It was still a devastating round for the CTs. They have got a decent bankroll, though, so it's not going to be too devastating. You can see the T's actually having to force a little bit themselves. The Tech-Downs are yet again, and this is the time that NiP need to get that momentum going. So far, they've had 0 momentum. It's 1 round loss, 1 round loss. I think the most they've got in a row is 2. So they want to kind of finish out these last 2, and if they're going to have any chance of converting this map into a victory.
Absolutely, but this is actually a smart play from Envyus because they have the majority of the players towards Squeaky. You can get out very fast, and we see that pop flash. They got the single player there, the Shox. He can put the pop flash into quad. So if there is a player in quad, which there isn't at this point in time, that is going to completely destroy him. But GetRight's actually moving to that position. I don't know if he's going to get flashed, and they're going to go in right now into the fire of Assist, and GetRight with the fire is going to also burn one down. So really nice hold here so far, and Envyus can't get it done with this little force up of theirs, it would appear. So good stuff here from NiP. Very well done indeed. So
absolutely.
6-8 now.
Seems like GetRight's playing out of his skin again. He seems to be picking up 2 or 3 frags almost every single time. Have a quick look at the scoreboard there. It's sat on 11 frags. Forrest actually picking it up a bit as well. And it's kind of evenly spread up for Envyus. No one's really carrying them. Shock's having a pretty quiet game here compared to the last 2 maps. He's only got 5 frags on the board here. So the Shock's factor is not being as impactful as it was before. And we can see an actual force buy from them again. So this shows how the game's been going. They're so confident in their ability to get Tech 9s out and just go for it every single time. That's 2 in a row now. And they're going towards A yet again. It looks like they're quite spread out, but I wouldn't be surprised they went for a similar execute we've seen so many times.
Oh yeah, like, it really makes sense for them to do these forces in this situation against NiP. because it's just been so strong, and they've been doing so much damage consistently. And I like how they've handed the AK to Shox. A single AK, Shox has the responsibility to get the kills with that, and they're going to go for a delayed mid take, it would seem. Will they go for the wall of smokes? They don't actually have any smoke, only one smoke actually on Happy, so they're just going to run straight out. And there's Shox with that AK, can't get the fast frag. Is looking for it still there, but he will try to make his way into that checkers area. They're going to try to swarm down Alu and Freiburg, but they're defending fairly well at the beginning, but now we get the trades coming in. Alu is close with the orb, so this is pretty much impossible for Happy, and there you go. NiP actually come back with a lot of rounds, but the T side is usually their problem.
Absolutely. Well, they seem to find some great form there towards the end. You can see actually 4 rounds in a row for them. It got Envyus on the ropes, made them force by every time. They started adapting to that A push they were doing. Like earlier in the game, you saw them actually quite convincingly win those rounds with the Tech-9s. But this pistol round's going to be very important. We know a lot of teams like to rush B with the armor and the one smoke. I don't think NiP will be able to get away from that. It's like it's been done so many times this event, and I think Envyus will be ready for that. And you can see them actually sending over 2 players very fast. Shox getting a set up for a B rush here, but we can see NiP actually making their way out middle. What have they got in store here?
Yeah, looking to just run around along the railing, but Smith is going to pop off one already with that USP. Can't get the second one. Nice trade there from Alu as NiP try to work their way into that B play. They've got Alu actually flanking as well from CT, so this could be really strong. Shox is in the Envyus box now. They need to check that at some point, because this is the problem. He's going to go straight in right now, trying to pick his shots. There it is. Gives away his position, gets 2 fast frags. Shox coming out massive with that very nice position, and they are notorious for playing this one, and it's delivering once again. In comes Happy from B storage, and Getro's got the bomb. He's alone now. He's been the star player in this series for NiP. He's seemingly unaffected by whatever curse Envyus has put on the rest of the lineup. And he's going to go for the fast plant here. Now, he can defend this from a multitude of positions. He's going to go for the short defense. And he's against 2 players. The odds are horrible, but he's going to pick up the first snap onto Shox. And now it's just Happy as Getro gets into a perfect position. But Happy's trying to use the smoke here to get himself an interesting duel. He's going to go over the top right now. Will Getro predict this? It's all on this right now. It's so fast up over, and Envy's Happy. He doesn't actually have a kit right now. He's going to go for the defuse, and Getright has the damage. Oh, nice turnaround. And I think he's got just enough time. It's going to be close though. It's going to be close. Oh, he's not going to make it happen. So very well done there by Getright again, managing to make the clutch, and that is such a scary situation. Every key second, Getright was able to delay. That
was really good. Like, do you see what Shox did there? Like, it was so calm in the checkers room there, allowing 2 or 3 players to be in front of him, executing 2 of them. Getright had to make the decision where he takes on the battle or ran to the A-bomb site. He took that decision to go away, and it was perfect play from him. That great snap-on shot he did under the first CT player got himself in a great clutch situation. He played it perfectly. Like, the fact he got himself in that position to even allow the bomb to blow up was fantastic from him, and that's going to be very, very important to their T campaign right now.
Yeah, we might have some sneaky stuff here from Shox. He's waiting just behind the smoke. Oh dear, these 4 starts with the pistols are always putting in problems. Now, how much damage will it do? Shox got himself in mid, actually. He's behind Alu again. This is crazy. He managed to fall behind him. Oh, again, Shox is coming in. Alu has not spotted him. There's another player there as well. Shox is in a key position. He can just completely destroy them. Goes for the first shot. Can he get the second one? No, Exist is going to cover them from the boost. That is so key right now. Shox could have completely destroyed the round for them, and Envyus will back away. They have the information that middle has been grabbed up by the NiP side, and NiP are trying to work into that B split now. But there is Kiyoshima in a really sick off angle. This off angle is very powerful.
Yeah, this could cause a lot of trouble right now. If he's smart like Shox and doesn't take the first bullet, yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to allow the teams to go past. Ow, it's not going to pay off. Getright won't take him down, but Kiyoshima still alive in his position.
Oh no, how on earth did he do that? Kiyoshima gets a second one. This is so devastating. That's the bomb down as well. That's going to put in key seconds where they get delayed, and now the rotation comes in from the CTs. This is looking horrendous right now, but Smith picks up another kill. Oh my god, Envyus, they do it again. They do it again.
I feel a bit sick.
There was 2 situations in that round where players from Envyus are behind multiple players from NiP. That is just horrendous for NiP.
This next frag shouldn't have happened right now. Forrest should be locking that down. He should be like just pre-firing that spot. He knows he's low HP. The fact Shox like only got 1 frag there as well is really interesting. I thought he was going to take 2 or 3 in that situation. Yeah. So again, Envyus forcing up the pistols and winning the round yet again. They're so fantastic at that. And here we go again. A little B rush coming in for NiP, and it looks like Smith will lock this down. It could get interesting as next frags exchange.
But it looks like 3 versus 2 here for Envyus as they manage to hold down things fairly well. It's Exist left over with the M4, but this is absolutely clutchable. But that bomb is down in checkers, and Happy's going to spot his feet, and he's going to shoot them. And this is very hard right now for Exist. He still makes the frag, but got the trade instantly from MBK almost. So
An
MBK will
interesting
save the
push
day.
there from Happy. That could have gone really wrong had he not had his team to back him up straight away. But NiP trying the force at Tech 9's there with the head armor. They got a few frags, but ultimately they didn't win the round. That's the most important part of it. And you can see themselves now in a very difficult cash situation. It's going to have to be the Glock buy. I can't see if they've got any nades at the moment. So they've got one flashbang to execute on with a load of Glocks and a P250. Not really sure they're going to make of this. Like, it's not going to have the same impact walking out away with Glocks, I'm afraid. Like, you need the head armor just to protect yourselves as you run out. So it looks like Happy is going to be clearing up here. MBK with an MP9 as well. The perfect gun for this situation.
Yeah, he could be making a lot of bank here. MBK gets one with that. Happy might get overwhelmed, but as MBK just multiple kills on the spray down. That's 3 there found by his MP9. So that's going to be $1,800 in the bank for him. So he's pretty rich right now.
So we can see the NiP economy not great. There's not going to be enough to bring an AWP to play. So Alu is going to be on the 5 rifle setup. No AWP for Envyus as well, which is interesting. I think they're going to be quite happy, keeping it quite dynamic, pushing into a lot of positions. We know they like to flash push into A storage a lot and get that control at the start of the round, surprise the terrorists. And we can see a lot of teams going towards A now, trying to work a pick. We know Exist likes to face A main a bit and trying to work out where the CTs are playing from.
Yeah, one CT round we see sometimes from Envyus is the 4-man push on A where they send 2 Squeaky and 2 A main.
It's really cool.
So that I'm sure that's going to happen at some point, but they're looking to play it passively to begin with, it seems, as we don't have anything crazy from them. It's a pretty normal setup. They got the boost on Happy, behind the red container on A. They have a light presence on mid, fence, and white box, and one guy on site on B. So pretty standard stuff from Envyus with the rifles. And we get the delayed mid take potentially here from NiP, but will they execute this with good coordination? If they do, they can actually get quite a few frags, and they might try to go for the A split. They've got a player in B storage as well, so they can do pretty much anything after they take middle. And Exist is going to get challenged. That's exactly what you're talking about, that pop flash play in.
Yep.
Oh no, Exist cannot win the duel. Great stuff there from Shox, as Kiyoshima now tries to get some info for Envyus, as they are now a man up, and NiP have taken over middle, but there comes Envyus' Kiyoshima with the first frag defending the vents. Smith now knows that B is going to be under assault. He repositions towards the headshot area. Is there a grenade for this, or is he just going to lay down the fire? Looks like that's exactly what's going to happen, and Happy will come in and help out, and that's going to be another round for Envyus.
That's what I was talking about. The A pop flash you can do. It's such a strong play if you can time it well and you have the game sense to get in there. You saw them pick out that first frag, and as soon as they can see they've got that player down and there's no one else there, it's pretty obvious that the other team are going to be either in mid or going towards B. And that's exactly what they do. They tried to execute the B split there. A Molotov went down in the vents and it was complete carnage there. Get Right did pretty well to get the return frag as he dropped out, but ultimately that's going to pit NiP in a very tricky situation. I think they've called for a timeout now. I think it's the second time they've done it this series. Yep. You can see themselves looking down the barrel of a grand final loss yet again at the hand of Envyus.
Yeah, I mean, Envyus can do no wrong in this series. As we were pointing out before, every time it just goes back to that individual skill play, Envyus always find a way. And this is, again, one of the reasons why they're so deadly with pistols is because tactically, on their in-fight situations, they're very smart. They make all the right moves, they get all the crazy frags, and that's one of the things that can really tax you when you're expecting... Everyone has expectation. You say, okay, I've got this position, it's good, and then all of a sudden a guy blows you out of the water with a pistol, or maybe even 2 players. Then you're like, oh, this didn't go to my expectations. What do I do now? I have to have good crisis management. I have to make a really fast decision that will actually work. And Envyus keep putting people in that spot. So that's so difficult to deal with.
I'm trying to work out what NiP will be doing now. Like, what can they say to themselves to get themselves back into the game? Like, we've spoken before that they have a lack of executions, and I think that's going to be difficult for them on this side as well. Like, they need to kind of work out what they can do to get back into this. Like, what do you see coming after this pause?
Well, as far as NiP goes, they do have executes. I mean, they've never been known for having, super tight executes. They're a team that, again, somewhat similar to Envyus. Envyus they removed a bit of structure. If you go back to their really early days, when they were LDLC, when they first kind of formed this lineup, before they had a lot of structure to their play because Happy was leading. He's like, okay, this is how I made LDLC great with lesser players. And then he's like, actually, you're all really amazing at fragging. So let's let it loose a little bit. Let's get everyone just using their individual skill and using that as the main edge. And we can see that this is the result now. So NiP, that's not really the approach they can. I mean, we've already discussed this. It can't really work against this team. So do they just go for the executes?
They have to. I mean, like the fact we're not seeing the bomb go down again. Like, I think the only bomb I can recall going down is in the pistol round when Gerra had to clutch 2-on-1, and now they're in a very tricky situation. Look at that money. Is this going to be the Tech 9 force or P250 force? Like, is this the right call considering how this has been going down? I'm not sure, but like I guess that is using this round to kind of work out what they can do. They should be able to buy next round, considering the loss bonus is going to be incurred here. But going towards A yet again, Happy's going to be in the perfect position for this. I don't see this being as strong as the Envyus A take.
Let's see if they can make it work though. They are going to leave the opening unsmoked. That's a nice spray down coming from Happy. The Molotov helping out massively. Looks pretty good here from Envyus so far, but there you go. We'll find 2 quick frags there, and it's just friberg left, but he's got a CT very close. That should prevent the plant actually. Sox it is moving in from the top of the red container. This is a really hard spot for friberg. He's going to back away, and Shox has a great angle. Now, Henry, what I want to see is, I think this could work because I don't think the raw execute is going to be a good choice. It's like shoving it all in from them straight away. But I think the delayed kind of picking play, playing it defensive in case Envyus do a 4-man push towards A, and then going for a delayed mid take, and then trying to assess whether the A split or the B split works. That's a good default. NiP could rely on that.
Yeah, we know Envyus are going to push at some point. That's just what they do. They try to get map control. They try to get information. So that's why NiP can slow it down and just work out what's going on, and then go in and execute and actually have a chance to get the bomb down. That's when they're going to win rounds. They need to make a clutch situation. We've seen Get Right be phenomenal in these clutches. They do very smart plays. That's what they need to allow them to get into position to do.
Yeah, so we do see a passive setup, but it's defensive, trying to look for any aggression from Envyus. But around the 1 minute mark, the 45 second to 1 minute range, you would expect them to make kind of their first map control play. Would like to see that delayed mid take. But there is 3 players there for Envyus, so they need a good kind of execute, good coordination to make that work. But it looks like instead of that, they're going for the A execute, the delayed A execute. It's a very telegraphed one, though. You can actually fake this and go into middle for either an A split or a B split. But looks like they're just actually waiting right now. And the reaction will come from Envyus. It's going to be Shox over the top with a bullet in the brain for Exist. Is now... It's Ali moving in, but MBK, he's taking position. And once again, we find ourselves in this position where Envyus get behind NiP's attack, and it's going to be friberg standing alone against 4 players. Great flash from a teammate Envyus to allow friberg to get a nice kill onto Happy. 3 more players to find, though, as they start to wrap around him, and it's going to be Kiyoshima with the killing blows. And it's 14-8, 2 more rounds, and Envyus will 3-0 NiP in this grand final for the Gfinity Summer Masters. And a complete whitewash.
What can I say, Dan? Like, we kind of called what NiP were going to try that, obviously doing a different approach, but it was so telegraphed. Like you said, that's not the way you need to execute onto A bomb sites anymore. When you see those smokes flying over, it takes so long to happen. It's just not a good play anymore. And you saw Shox getting boosted up there as soon as it happened. They lost a man, and it all fell apart at that point. And now this is a very crucial round, obviously.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Forest going to win the duel against Happy and Squeaky. So there's a little edge that they can use. And... oh, okay, Forest gets another one. He's like, I've had enough of this. Forest gets the 3rd kill as well. He just moves straight into the bomb site. He's like, I don't need any fancy plays. I'm just going to move in and shoot everybody on the A bomb site. And it's going to be Envyus now. I mean, they might as well go for it. They should have loads of money to play with, I think, in this situation. Actually, they don't have a huge amount of money, so they could consider saving in this spot. Just get some exits in there. And to make sure that NiP are going to struggle on the buys, even if they're winning rounds. But that's not going to happen. We get an execution there from NiP, and they're going to get 9 rounds on the board.
Yeah, much better form from them, like actually expecting the pushes from the CTs. We mentioned before that like the rounds they're going to get is going to rely heavily on the mistakes made by Envyus, and I think that was a push they didn't need to commit to. Orb going into Squeaky Door, get taken straight down, allowed Forest to get into the map and find 3 more amazing headshots. We saw on Dust 2 as well, him do the same thing. And now we've got NiP back onto a full buy, and they need to find that momentum now. They lose this round, it's going to be a very horrible situation for them to get into.
Oh no, now Smith is on the quad position with the AWP. We haven't seen him there very much. We've got 3 players here for Envyus on the A bomb site at the start of the round. They've given up middle control almost completely. Now, maybe expecting a quick rush timing, trying to be safe against that. We'll probably see 1 player drift down to short in a moment. And, well, NiP, they're playing it slow right now. They're going to go for that delayed mid play. Can Ali find a pick here? There is, of course, a player towards the CT connector area. There's Shox just crouching behind the smoke. We get flashes over for NiP to go for that play, get some map control going for themselves. But at the same time, Envyus could just push into A main as well. We've seen that happen before. Forest in the boost spot there. Shox is just hiding. He could really just ruin the lives of Envyus, of NiP, sorry, as they go in for this B split, but actually they're going to completely circumvent him. Down to Smith now. Frag on to Get Right straight away. That nice reposition early on the Envyus box from Kiyoshima. He takes down 2 players with the spray of the M4. Looking at phenomenal right now. Shox comes in from the back, and it's just going to be down to friberg. He's going to get the bomb down. He's stuck on the bomb site. There's the pot flash over the top. Needs to make some fast frags happen here. friberg has to play this perfectly. Shots coming in from all sides. There's the first kill. Oh, the shot from Shox just jumping over the box there. And that's going to be 15 rounds for Envyus. They are on match point, series point, grand finals points.
Here we go then. That was such a devastating round for NiP to lose. We can see they got the bomb down there, so they should be able to buy it. The money situation is not too bad, but the fact is now if Envyus have got this cushion to play with, the match point, and about 6 rounds to go, they can just do this crazy stuff and go for the big plays. Envyus there just want to hold on be there. So look at this crossfire and teamwork from Shox. There's great chemistry between the team, leaving Freiberg in an almost impossible situation to win.
They got a Molotov that box at the back of checkers. Envyus are notorious for always putting a player there on their defenses, and it's caught them out twice now.
This is great from Happy, like just changing the setup, like surprising NiP. It's difficult to get a frag here, and Get Right actually going to be on the Tech 9 instead of a full rifle.
Oh, he gets the dink as well, but that's that frag is not going to happen. Shox picks up one towards mid as well. He gets a really deep angle there on middle. That's a very risky angle from Shox, but he actually wins the one-on-one. And of course, you know, he's got so much confidence running in into his system right now, and it's going to pay off there. 5 versus 3 now, so NiP need a massive clutch. Make that 5 versus 2. Shox is just taking all the lives away from NiP. Alu needs something right now, and we got Kyoshi moving in. Oh, the flash play is going to result in a nice quick kill onto Alu. The dedicated sniper is down. It's all on the in-game leader of NiP. Exists with the AK-47. It's all on this one. And there goes Kyoshima for the duel, and Exist will win it. But there's only 4 more players left in 40 seconds for Exist to try to make this one happen. As he moves around, he's going to hit the vent play, and he's going to go down, and that's going to be it. That is going to mean that Envyus are the Gfinity Summer Masters champions.
What a great way to finish. 3 maps in a row. It never looked like for 1 second they were out of that. Just absolutely phenomenal play from them. It was just a great display of individual skill. Not necessarily in terms of tactics or being a great team, essentially. It was just players like Shox stepping up and absolutely destroying them in the aim battles. And NiP never really arrived to the gunfight, unfortunately, for them. A suggestion from me, they need to evolve their gameplay, need to get the more set pieces down and have more things in their playbook for when this situation happens.
Yeah, definitely something that NiP have a lot to learn from, taking this defeat. But for Envyus, it's going to be great. They've had, of course, they just lost to Na'Vi just last week in Star Series, so to claim a finals is going to feel really good for them, having had so much in their play go into flux. Who plays where? What style do we go to? They've gone back to their old style. But finally, they bring themselves a result. So great stuff there for Envyus and NiP. Well, they had a pretty good run into the grand finals, but it is going to be the French that will walk home victorious. You can see the trophy there as well. All the glory to Envyus. So, what's the summary here, Henry G?
I'll say it again. They just look like NiP need to have something to react to. They need to know what they're going to do when they start getting in that deficit. It's very hard to watch when they do so well against the lower tier teams, and it's event like when they can out aim the players so much. It's just when they get in a difficult situation, they're pitting up against the wall and it's not working. They need to have something else in the plan. But here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for your champions of Gfinity. It is Team Envyus.
All right, so there it is, the 40 grand, a pretty hefty prize.
Absolutely.
Going to be pretty happy with that. I'm sure those guys are completely relieved. And well, I wonder what's next for Envyus after coming off of this win.
There's a huge campaign of LANs coming up in the next few weeks. This is a great base for them to start on. Like we didn't see like the world's best teams here. Like we didn't see TSM or Fnatic. I think this is a great almost a warm-up event for Envyus. Like it hasn't been a complete perfect run for them. So they've actually been tested a few times, dropped some maps throughout when they've been going on. But what an amazing run for them. That grand final. Would you say it was a disappointing final for them, for NiP especially?
Absolutely. I mean, again, the thing is about this is that Envyus perfectly highlighted their weaknesses. If NiP were able to patch up some of their weaknesses in the series, which clearly was, okay, they have the individual skill. You know, of course, Envyus right now, they're super hot. We've got Shox playing out of his mind. Happy, of course, is just out of his mind. Every player from Envyus is incredible on the skill-wise. We saw Dignitas giving them trouble. Dignitas, of course, a team that put way more executes in there. There's a lot more coordination into the plays, way more clutches, way more bombs down. So, well, Henry, we do have some analysts, some very smart people who can work this stuff out for us, so we're going to throw to them.
Counter-terrorists win.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Again, not the final we wanted, especially if you're a
Especially
NiP
not
fan.
Henry G, who picked NiP to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Again.
But congratulations to James Bardolph. The dark horse won, so well done, James.
dark horse
my,
won.
my pick
Who
for
saw
champion,
that
of
coming,
course.
though? Who saw that coming?
But again, I mean, credit where credit's due. I mean, not only did Envyus win the title, but they won it convincingly. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I mean, getting to the final obviously wasn't that convincing at times. They had moments that looked shaky. Obviously, the semi-final, really, they could have gone out there. But once they got into the final, that was a totally different ball game entirely.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, this is what I mean. I didn't expect to be that extreme. I thought NiP could compete on the maps. There should have been strong maps for them. But that's why I say stylistically it's a mismatch. And then in terms of the map pool, unfortunately, the maps NiP wants to go on are the maps that Envyus loves. Remember, of those 3 maps that NiP just lost, 2 of those were their picks. So...
Yeah. But I mean, let's think about what we saw before we got here. So Envyus drop a map against Cloud9, right? That's not good. Drop a map against Mouse Sports, all right? Maybe within the context, that's good. Then you drop a map against Dignitas, your map, the map that's meant to be the best map for you ever of all time. Then, well, that's not good. But they don't drop a single map in the final, and they absolutely dominate NiP from start to finish. So they've really pulled that from nowhere. I don't know if it was just a case if they were just literally playing within themselves up until the final, and then it was like, okay, it is game time, or whether they got so rattled by the Team Dignitas game that sort of just snapped them out of the coma they were in, because it was like watching 2 different teams, frankly.
The thing is, this has happened before. Like, this reminds me of the other 2 finals they played this year against NiP, where they played in the Star Series final and the Gfinity Spring Masters 1, where they were totally dominant. In those 2 best-of-5 finals, they were also crazy. But that, to me, all that happened here is that they can't play at this level every time. They won't play at this level next tournament, if I had to predict. But this is what happens when almost everyone in their team is really just like almost at peak level, you know. Everyone's just on all cylinders. Because since they're such a skill-based team, usually they get by having one guy have a game off and the other guy goes. But you saw in this game here, everyone was just nailing it pretty much. And so as a result, you're not going to be able to play with them unless you're one of the very few elite teams in the world. And so, I mean, actually, I have to correct something. When I was counting up in my head before, I misremembered a specific tournament where NiP hadn't actually got to the final. They lost in their lower bracket final. So it was only 6 finals to 0 that Shox was undefeated against NiP. But he doesn't like me to be wrong. So, you know, we have like a kind of relationship. You know?
Now it's 7.
Yeah. Now, so he made it 7
nice.
for me.
So
like,
nice
cheers,
of him.
Shox, you know.
What a nice guy.
I did predict it. You predicted it. You made it.
So we'll chat a little bit more about it, but right now, Chewy is actually standing by with Smiths down there for an interview. So take it away, Chewy.
Thank you very much, Scoot. Yes, here with Smiths, huge congratulations. A convincing win there over NiP in the grand finals and crowned the Summer Masters 1 champions. You've got your title back after the Spring Masters 1 championships, obviously. Simply first off, how are you feeling after that win?
I feel super great, and all the team feels super great. It's really nice to have won this great LAN again. So yeah, we are super happy.
And you seem to enjoy playing at Gfinity here. This is, of course, the second time that you've won here. What's it like playing in this arena? Do you have good fun here? Is it a nice venue to play in? What do you think about the Gfinity setup?
Yeah, it's, like I said, the first time I came here, it's really original to play in a cinema. And all the public are really kind and they really enjoy it. And yeah, it's really nice. It's really, really nice.
So, obviously, earlier on, you played Dignitas in the semi-finals, and you were actually 3 rounds away from being knocked out of the tournament. How did you regroup, refocus, and get ready for this big final against NiP?
Yeah, we knew what we showed against Dignitas was not really us. We knew that we had to step up for win this final, and I think we did. So I'm super proud of the team, and yeah, I'm just happy.
And so going into the games, obviously 3 convincing results on 3 different maps there to close it out in good style. Can you just tell us a little about what you planned for the map, how you managed to counter-strat NiP and make sure that you secured the win in such convincing fashion?
We didn't so much prepare the match, we didn't have time. But Happy had his plan, when he really loved playing NiP. We knew that the 3 first map would be really not easy, but like it was our best map against them. But we knew that if we lose one map on the free first, it will be like really difficult because like the two last map was like Cobble and Train, and we knew that it will have been like 50-50.
So now that you've got this win in the bag and you are crowned the champions once again, there's a run of tournaments coming up. Are you feeling confident going on into the future now? And obviously with the Summer Masters #2 coming up in a few months' time, do you think you'll be in good stead from now on?
I hope so. We showed not a poor performance, but we are really inconstant at the moment. We can show like really good CS or really poor CS. So I don't know. I hope like we can play like this match like every time. We just need more practice and to be more focused. And if we have this level, like I think we can manage to do good result for the future.
Well, once again, huge congratulations. Thanks to you for taking time out after your win to come and chat to us all. Back over to you, Scoot, and the guys behind the Gfinity desk.
Thank you very much, Chewy. I think you got a new career, Chewy. You're definitely an amazing
nailing those
interviewer.
interviews.
Yeah, really good interviews
Nailing
all
those
weekend.
interviews. Keep it up,
Chewy. And good stuff from Smith. You know, and even in that, he's like, didn't play so well. Maybe I don't know.
Well,
you know, it's like,
I mean, I've got to say, you know, Smith's in the past has been associated with teams that were perfection, literally just didn't lose tournaments. You know, the only people that could really sort of theorize how to beat them were people that had formerly been in the team. Like, say, famously, a guy called KRL, he made a team called Nameless, which was made up of some of the ex-Very Games players, and they used to go at it together. It was, you know, a great time for the French scene. But anyway, like I say, today, he's kind of right. Envyus haven't been great. This wasn't vintage tournament Envyus. This wasn't the same Envyus that was, you know, as Thorin says, #2 in the world.
Yeah.
But
this last match was.
This
getting
final,
to it was
yeah,
a tough road.
This last final, all of a sudden they managed to flick a switch. That's a great skill to have. That's a great ability to have. It sort of contrasts to NiP, who seem to have it the other way. They look great until it gets to crunch time, and then people that we were highlighting and talking about the resurgence of Freiburg had a terrible final. It's got to be said. He wasn't really up to snuff. Arlu, somebody that we talked about right at the start of the tournament, saying, "Oh, can he be that X factor? He's such a good AWPer on his day." Yeah, it didn't even show up really at any point in London. So,
Yeah.
and that's the problem with it moving forward. Again, the parts of the machine never work how they're supposed to, all together in unison.
Yeah, and again, like one thing I wanted to point out is, you know, I don't know recently how many times, you know, I've seen matches where the positioning of Envyus put them so many times where they were staring at the back of guys.
No, that
you know,
Cash particularly.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And what's key is, notice every player instinctively understood never to kill the first guy.
Yeah.
They always abuse that and exploit that and get, if not one, at least one kill. They never fail to get the kill, but they always at least give themselves a chance to get more as well. You can see these guys just have like a champion's mentality. I mean, this is the thing you have to realize. Here's the distinction between these two lineups. And when I say lineup, I mean this specific 5-man unit, okay, is that Envyus is already one of the greatest lineups ever in CSGO history. Like, they're already top 5 at least, and you can probably argue there where you'd fit them in. You know, they've won many titles, they've been in like 10 finals or something since they formed. You look at this NiP lineup, and as I say, that's the 5-man lineup, not the 4 and then the 1. This NiP lineup is not one of the greatest lineups ever. They've actually only won one tournament, which was the Asus ROG Winter. And aside from that, listen, they've made finals.
And that was with Makalele.
They've made that's true. Yeah, in fact, they've never won any tournaments. But they've made finals with this lineup. They've made semi-finals. Yeah, they've had runs, but they've never looked like a team that at any point was going to be the best team in the world. They've never even stolen a tournament. Like, even like a Na'Vi could steal a tournament out of nowhere. Virtus Pro can get one when it's the right day. Unfortunately, with this NiP team, it's always the case that it's like they can be good up to a certain point, but they've never closed the deal out. There's got to be some reason for that.
I mean, I still say it, and there's people now. I was lambasted for saying this at the time, and people are maybe starting to come around a little bit. It wasn't that Makalele was necessarily better than Arlu, but I remember that moment there. I was out in Finland when they won that Asus, Republic of Gamers Winter Invitational, and Makalele turned up he was in the semis and the final, MVP. Everyone chanting, cheering his name, people queuing up to get him assigned T-shirts. You know, he was readily accepted by the NiP fans, and they looked great, actually. Everybody on the team was playing really, really well. And then, for some reason, you know, people said it was an attitude thing, you know, that they just... he was a bit too temperamental, a bit too emotional, and they needed a calm and stable playing environment, and that's why they basically pushed him out and brought Arlo in. Well, it's got to be said now, and this is unequivocal, they've never looked as good, not even on Arlo's best days, as a team as they did at that time on Makalele. That doesn't mean Makalele's a better player, but sometimes chemistry, balance, it's weird like that. It's not necessarily how you feel, it's not necessarily how you play, it's how everything clicks and works together. And, you know, I'd be at a loss to explain exactly why it was, but you know, if you think back to that moment, what would happen if they hadn't changed? Are we still talking about the same NiP here?
Yeah.
Do they come to finals and win events like this where you haven't got a TSM, you haven't got a Fnatic, and you should probably be saying if you're an NiP fan, it's ours to lose.
Well, let's take a look at the final placements. We've got it all figured out. Who's taking home all the money? And again, as you all just watched, Envyus is taking home $40,000. There you got Ninja in Pajamas. Not a bad payday at 20 grand for the weekend. And then obviously Dignitas Mouse Sports splitting, getting 5 grand each. And then everyone gets paid something. So all the way down to 8th place, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, $2,500 for all those guys.
Yep.
And again, a rock solid finals by Envyus. And it's like you pointed, like good teams separated by great teams. Good teams will lose some of those, but a great team will turn it on when they have to, get through the mud, if you will.
Yeah.
And they, today at least, they absolutely did what they needed to do.
That's also like a mark of a championship team as well, is that how they played in the first series doesn't matter. As long as they get to the point where in the final, then they play the great Counter-Strike. Like, you can afford to creep by people as long as it's basically, I always think of it the other way around, okay? When you're playing badly like that, like a team like Dignitas, to me, the way that series went when they played Dignitas was like, Dignitas was better than them most of the time, and they were just hanging on by their fingernails, but Dignitas waited too long and let them wake up, and then once they woke up, you could never win then. You had to get it done fast before they came alive. And not only that, Dignitas, by letting them get through that series, now they just supernovaed when it came into the final. Whereas, you know, I mean, it might have been different if they'd have played a different opponent earlier who could have taken advantage of that. Like, actually, I wonder now, obviously, it couldn't have played out this way, but what would have happened if they'd have played a team like a Virtus.pro, wasn't actually in their group, but a team like that, a Titan, I guess, at some point where that team could have knocked them out.
Well, I mean, a Titan wouldn't have been a bad shout, actually, in terms of the matchup, because, you know, Existence...
I guess Virtus.pro wasn't their group, but they couldn't get past Mouse.
You know, while Titan are absolutely woeful, and what we've talked about how terrible they've been and how they've been in freefall, when they come up against Envyus, actually, stylistically, it's always pretty tight, pretty close. It's always been that way when it's, you know, French on French. And, of course, Existence seems to go that extra yard because he's got so much personally invested in beating some of his former compatriots. So that would have probably been a better matchup. But you're absolutely right. Dignitas should have been in that final, and then I think NiP are like, yeah, this is going to be a clean sweep. I don't even know if NiP were maybe watching it, thinking, right, boys, we're going to play Dignitas. You know, like, we're in. It's going to happen. We've got the matchup we wanted, and maybe just having to play Envyus, watching Envyus come back from the dead, did that throw them? Did that unsettle them going into the final? I don't know, but I'm just at a loss to really sort of address the disparity between the two teams once the final happened. They've looked equal up until the point they've met.
Yeah.
And that's pretty impressive if you can win a tournament and win a final best of 5 3-0 when you're not even on your best day. This isn't like the best Envyus we ever saw, and you're like, wow. Like, it's not like if this was a new team, we'd be like, these are going to be the next world number ones, and they're definitely going to... No one even knows now if they're even going to get from 3rd spot or higher, if they're going to drop more. And obviously last weekend, they lost a best of 5. So they're not even in their best days, but that just shows when they do turn up for that big series, they still are one of the best teams in the world.
All right, final thoughts, gentlemen.
I mean, we just saw Envyus become the first 2-time champions of this tournament. Two Gfinity titles for them. I think actually the tournament on all levels delivered in terms of my expectations initially, which was like, okay, we couldn't be certain going into it who would win because there was no Fnatic, there was no TSM, so it was going to be wide open in terms of who would win. And obviously, in the end, people like VP, who a lot of us people were picking to win the tournament, don't even get out the group stage. Upsets were obviously like the prevailing theme at all levels. I think even the mid-level, even some of the underdogs had chances at times. They took maps. So yeah, definitely a different Gfinity than we've had before.
Okay. Yeah, and for me, you know, just about upsets, enjoying the evolution of Dignitas, even though there was a little bit of a choke. Mouse Sports, for me, the real talking point of the tournament, making it into the semis, are looking really good. Props to God B. But ultimately, I think the tournament just proves there's a bit of truth in the old joke, which I'll recite to you now. Why are Ninjas in Pajamas such good lovers?
I don't know why.
Because they never come first.
Oh, all right.
Night, mate.
No, all right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, obviously, for that. Well, that's going to be a wrap for us. But before we go, I do want to do some shout-outs and some thank yous. Obviously, first and foremost, thank you to you guys that are in the audience and showed up all weekend. It was great to be talking to you here live. Obviously, everyone at home on all the various streams, whatever language you were watching, whatever channel you were watching, absolutely thank you for the support. Again, that goes right back to all the remote casters as well that were providing all that information to you. Our casters here on site, thank you, thank you, thank you. Interviewers, Chewy, all those guys, DDK, the whole crew, even James, Henry G, Kyanite, great stuff. Banks, we missed you. Sorry you weren't here. Big shout out to Red Eye and the production crew. Obviously, we did their very first one at Copperbox. Go watch the Copperbox VODs. You will see a dramatic increase in the level of production value that this company has brought in a very short period of time. So, as a production guy, I love coming here. Every time we come, it's a little better, a little tighter. This time, don't get all sexual on me, you two. Love wins, I know, but
no more tears.
but really good stuff. I mean, they keep improving. Red Eye is doing a really good job of listening to the crowd, what people say to him and trying to add stuff. So I imagine when we come back, we will be back unless you guys screw this up for me.
We'll talk about that afterwards.
August 14th and 16th is the next Summer Masters, Summer Masters 2. And as of right now, we have all been booked. But again, when the feedback comes back, maybe none of us will be here. But again, on behalf of myself, these two yahoos over here at the desk, been an absolute pleasure, as always, gentlemen.
Same to you, mate.
We'll see you in August.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
Envyus.